just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to an episode of Bloke in a Bar. And listen, I get it. The husky tones you hear right now, I know they're turning you on. That's for sure. But yes, my fucking voice has been fucked for so many weeks now, and it is because of my kids. But you know what? I just keep turning up, baby. I just keep turning up. It's my flu game. This is technically my flu game, so you can rate how well I do. But you're welcome, by the way. You're welcome. Could have called in sick. Got plenty of sick days backed up. I'll tell you that much for free. But I didn't. I'm a Queenslander, and the Queensland spirit will get me through today. Don't forget, guys, the NordVPN Defense Play of the Week is back. It will be in the show. But let's just get straight into it, shall we? Let's face a bit of music, proudly brought to you by our friends over at Sportsbet. Okay, Knights v Dragons, correct. Tom, Dragons plus 10.5 start. Guru, Knights 1-12.
Lovely.
Okay, incorrect. Myself, It's got Guru twice. It's got Guru 13 plus. Okay, no, Guru was incorrect. Guru 13 plus.
I was 1-12. That.
Matty, not 13 plus. And Hammy, who's Hammy? I've forgotten about him already, to be honest. Moved on. Tigers v Dolphins, correct. Quite a few of us. Guru at the line. Tom got the Dolphins 13 plus.
Brave.
Matty, the line for the Dolphins minus 8.5. Myself minus 8.5. And Hammy, Tigers head to head. What an idiot. Titans versus Panthers. Tommy's nailed it. He's gone Titans plus 12.5, $1.90. I went Panthers minus 12.5. Guru went Panthers 13 plus, Matty 13 plus, and Hammy 13 plus Panthers. Bulldogs versus Manly, all incorrect. I went Manly 1-12. Ooh, so close. Manly 13 plus for Guru. Tommy, Manly 13 plus, I think. Matty, Manly at the line, and Hammy, Manly 13 plus. Incorrect, all of us for the Warriors versus Cowboys game. I went Cowboys head-to-head. Guru went Cowboys 1-12. Matty went Warriors 1-12. Hammy went Warriors 1-12. And Tommy went Cowboys at the line. Storm v Raiders. Correct. Hammy, Storm minus the line. Matty, Storm minus the line. Incorrect. Raiders 13 plus is me. Guru had Raiders with the start. And Tommy had Raiders head-to-head. Roosters v Sharks. Correct. Myself, I had Roosters at the line. $1.90. Minus 5.5. Tom had the Roosters 13 plus 250. Matty, Roosters minus 5.5. Hammy, Roosters at the line, and incorrect is Guru with the Sharks 1-12. Scoreboard this week. Tommy Bomb takes it out, $8.80. Well done, son. Well done. Matty, $5.70. Guru, $4.40. And myself and Hammy at $3.80.
He's getting close to you.
Yeah, okay.
He's running you down.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like he's made $5 on you there.
Yeah.
I think you're only at $60. If he does that for the remainder of the season, he will get you.
Yeah, listen, I've got I am doing it more for content this year. You know, I just felt like last year was boring. I was just winning shit. Like, I had Matty winning stuff too. That's all like the company winning stuff. I thought, you know what? Just fucking throw the towel in this year. Make it fun. Okay, it's time for the Code Sports Story of the Week. The Terminator is here. How you going, brother?
I'm good, boys. How are you?
Very, very good. Thanks, mate. What's the story of the week this week? And don't forget, guys, use EOFY for Code Sports subscription for $19. This discount, this is the last week to use it. Just freaking use it, guys. Don't message me after. I can't do anything. It's not me. I don't have control of the code. Don't message me after. So make sure to use the code this week. You will not regret it. Okay, what's the story of the week?
Yeah, look, boys, I thought we'd be off kind of an origin story, but we are not. We are full in. There is word going around that Laurie Daly, no matter what the result is of this year's series, is going to walk away, leaving that job vacant for next year. Now, all of a sudden, we had the Matty John show last night where a little bit of talk came up about who could be next. The hot word is that Ivan Cleary, when he steps away from his Panthers role, pretty much could walk into that Blues job straight away. But there's a bit of support now behind an Andrew Johns, Matty Johns Blues takeover in the coaching reins from next year, which Matty said last night. He said, if Joey does it, I will help out. That's it. Ask Andrew. Andrew's the man. So I think, look, as a Blues fan, as someone who's been, I guess, a bit disappointed the last couple of years, that excites me.
But you're used to that because you're a Tigers fan. So.
Okay, well, look, as Benji Marshall said, we're 7-7. Okay, long season to go. We're in the fight.
I'll go to you straight away, Roo. Thoughts, mate?
I would love to see the Johns boys do it. If they haven't already, why now? Is my question. I don't think they will, personally. I think Matty's.
Could it be because it's a one and
saying
done
that.
because of Ivan? Could that
maybe
propel them?
Make Ivan the coach next year. That's what I would do. You've already got Peter Wallace in-house at the Penrith Panthers. He's going to take over for the foreseeable future. You've already put your backing in him. Why not give him 6 to 7 weeks to come in and do the job? I kind of think it's at the point now, and maybe this will change on Wednesday night. I'm not convinced it will. I think almost for Nath's legacy to some extent, I think Ivan needs to come in and not win the series for him, but just give him the basic fucking pieces. Just don't make it a washing machine around him. That's what I think will happen. I think Ivan will come in. I think for the 8 weeks he'll be the coach. We've decided for whatever fucking reason it's a part-time job anyway. I'd rather give it to Ivan than anyone else right now. And I love Joey. But Joey has been in there except for the last 2 years. He was there for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
right?
he was Brad Fittler's right hand man.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I can't see Joey doing it personally. I think it's a bit of a pipe dream. I think Matty Johns knows exactly what he's doing on that show, just to generate a bit of a chat. I think we bring in Ivan. I think Peter Wallace takes over as the coach for those 8 weeks at Penrith.
I just want to say, I know I've said it before, but that part-time, how do you make the head coach of something that generates, I'll just say $100 million. It could be $50 million.
Imagine if we were watching the Soccer World Cup right now and who's favourite, Spain or whatever. Imagine if Spain were part-time coach. You just coach. You don't have 4 years to prep. We're giving you X amount of... it's insane. It is... It's the jewel in the crown of rugby league.
And also, it's not just about the coaching side of things. What Freddie will never get... Well, we give him credit for all the time, but, probably wider audience may not realise that half the job was going around and galvanising the state, getting them up and about, connected back to the jersey. As a part-time, the message that sends, I'm sorry, that just sends a subconscious message that this doesn't mean as much to us as Queensland. It's just is that simple. In regards to Matty and Joey, I personally love it as a 1 year thing. Let's say Ivan Cleary for some reason, not for some reason, it'd be pretty standard. The Panthers no, it's your last year. We need you locked in here. Then you can go do it after. I love it. I think it's kind of what, I know they don't have the same record or whatever, but Mel and Wayne came in and did their thing. Calling Billy Slater in when he didn't really want to be a coach, but just to serve the state. That's been I just think if you could say to them and they could say to the New South Wales Rugby League, it's 1 year, it's only 1 year. After that, we're not in for the long haul. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it because it's just rugby. I can't stress enough how much Origin, everyone that gets to Origin can almost coach themselves. It's about the intangible emotion. That's what you need in Origin, in my opinion, not having played it at that level anyway. And I think that the Johns brothers could draw that out of the state, whereas Billy Slater does it all the time.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting because I personally think we're probably going to have 2 new State of Origin coaches next year. I mean, it sounds like Billy Slater's every chance to take over at Melbourne next year.
I've got a feeling that Billy will, internally, they know that this is his last ride.
I think they know as well.
And he will be at Melbourne next year.
I reckon there's a chance that internally they know it's Billy's and Cameron Munster's last series. I reckon there's a chance it's both their last series.
Because, if you're an Origin coach, why would you stick around? Right off into the sunset. Go sit in the hill with your bloody animals, Bill. Just enjoy it, bruh. I know obviously the head coach is way more intense, but at least enjoy it I just think that there's a shelf life on Origin coaching. Yes, Mal, got lucky's the wrong word, but he did get lucky in regards to
it's not the exception.
You don't want to sit around for 8 years. Tommy Bomb, thoughts?
I'm actually with Ruben on that. I think Ivan should be the coach next year. I think the Panthers will be sweet with it. And I think if he's going to want to do it long term, if he's got ambitions to do 3 or 4 years, Ivan, next year makes sense. And I think it would actually add a lot to his legacy at Penrith if he was to say, not even necessarily win a comp, but have another successful year next year where he also steps away for 6 weeks to become an Origin winning coach.
Can I be a party pooper? Can I be a party pooper?
I think I know what you're going to say, and I actually...
Please, poop on our party.
It is...
Go.
I understand.
You're just guaranteeing that Ivan's going to be a good Origin coach.
No, we're not guaranteeing. But who else do we...
No. I'm just what I'm saying is I would go Ivan, but I think there's this general expectation. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's just going to come in and kill it. We know another coach who is the greatest coach of all time.
And I 100% agree. But I think it gives us our best chance.
Yes, I'm with you.
I think our biggest, last few years we've been so consumed with going all in on this Penrith attack and the way they approach, and I think we should move away from it. But I don't think they're going to anytime soon, realistically. I don't think they're going to have the balls to not pick Nath Cleary in the side. So if you are going to do that, I think you might as well lean in entirely.
Yep.
It once again goes against what I said earlier about having a full-time fucking coach.
Yep.
But who else are we
who else is
who else is going to do it? I get the John's idea is fantastic, but Matty and Andrew could have stepped in and done this at any point over the last few years. I don't know what all of a sudden changes this year. Maybe it is that it is a 1 year thing potentially, but I'm still not convinced that's our best answer.
See, but I don't think that Ivan will just give us Penrith at Blues level. Like I think he's a very smart guy. I think his temperament will suit Origin. Like you're right, Kempy, like it's not proven yet, but I just think he's got the right manner for it. Like we've spoken a lot about Laurie's body language, game 1, game 2 in the box. Like Ivan's a complete opposite. He's level-headed. He knows how to motivate. Like I remember watching some of the jersey presentations he did for some of those grand finals. Like even though he comes across very like level, he obviously emotionally does connect with these players. They love him. They care for him. Like, I think he will suit it. And I think he'll also be ready for a new challenge. So I also think we're going to see Billy Slater do what, say, like a Gus Gould has done, where I think he will come back and coach Queensland again at some point.
Yeah.
I think he'll step away this year, and I think at some point down the track, whether it's after he's had a stint at Melbourne or whatever, I think he will be back. Like he's so young and he's so good at it. So.
And I know New South Welshmen are sitting there right now going, oh, you're just hating on Ivan. I'm not saying whether he can or can't. Like I'm not sitting there saying he's going to be good or bad. I'm just saying just because you're a GOAT club coach doesn't guarantee success in Origin.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying. He probably will go in and really well. I tend to agree with you too, mate. Like yes, his dynasty is built on fitness, but he's way too intelligent to go into Origin thinking, I'm just going to play like Penrith and
I think it's more so people. Well, in my opinion, I think it's more so that Blues fans are just who else is going to.
Yeah, for sure.
We're Blues fans. We've learned Craig Bellamy, one of the greatest coaches of all time, couldn't handle Origin. Like we've seen it time and time again, realistically. But yeah, I just don't think there's a better option out there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Now, in regards to selections, it's like the impact some of these guys that you've brought in now have made it like a nightmare when it comes to selections for Game 3. Whereas, like for example, I'll just use the Moses situation. If you had to go on Strange Game 2 and played that way, you could just go, boom, Moses is the answer. Bring him a very clear answer. Now you guys are stuck in this really like Liam Martin or Olakawatu, Dylan Lucas. Do you just drop him after one game? What's the word around selections?
Few different things from different areas, right? Laurie came out straight away and said, he had a lot of fatigued bodies, a lot of tired bodies and that. But if you're having tired bodies after having a week off of playing any footy to go into an Origin game, there's concern there.
Wait. He said the boys were tired?
Yeah, the day after the game, so the Thursday, he said, there was a lot of mentally fatigued and physically fatigued guys. We've got to reset and go again.
From the game though, not before the game.
Well, yeah, I think it was more the whole process. He was justifying why things happened the way they happened. That's a question for Laurie. I can't.
I just want to get the quote right because there's two different. If he says they were tired from the game, fair enough. But if he says they were flat before the game, like that's a story.
Yeah, well,
could you try and find that quote, please, Matty?
It was the morning after the game. He got it was outside the hotel, but. Hamole Elakwatu actually spoke the other night. It was an interview that was conducted at 11 p.m. By one of my colleagues, and Hamole said, he likes to think that he will be back in that picture. He said that him and Laurie have been chatting, and there's, I guess Laurie appreciated the way he took the Game 2 situation, but it then runs the risk of what do you do with Dylan Lucas? We haven't heard much from Dylan Lucas. We expected him to play all the way up until kickoff on Friday night. He didn't. He ended up sitting out. So I guess the next couple of weeks are really important. Liam Martin as well. I think if you put Liam Martin in, or from what I was hearing, if you put Liam Martin in for Game 2, he may have been a little bit underdone, but he's had, I think, 3 or 4 games under his belt now.
Yeah, I could understand Liam Martin not being put in for Game 2.
Since returning. So I think
which is weird because you could say the same thing about Mitchell Moses.
Yeah. But he...
actually worse, because he actually played, didn't he, before Origin 2?
Yeah, Liam Martin did play before Origin 2.
And he's played more Origin than Moses has.
Yeah, he has. So I think Liam Martin's a good chance at coming back in.
Not picking Liam Martin, in my opinion, makes total sense.
Yes.
In a vacuum.
Yeah.
When you put it in with the context of other selections
it
makes no sense.
Zero.
Yeah. Well, it makes this double standard that we've been talking about since essentially day one of there's certain rules for certain players and other rules for other players, and it's been quite confusing. Apologies, mate. Keep going.
No, it's all good. The Latrell Mitchell news is obviously one that's very important. He was also on the Matty John show last night. Kind of said, if he can get through, he's ready. But the situation with Latrell is he's been at training this morning. We're expecting him to get through training in order for him to play this week, and Latrell did the warm up and then he's come off the field. So there's a little bit of cloud around Latrell Mitchell. That was right as we've gone to air. So that's, I guess, a watch this space. But like we said, I think the Blues were taught such a valuable lesson. I think they know that as well. They taught such a valuable lesson in the second game on bringing guys in with not much game time and the consequences of that can happen. So it's going to be really interesting to see kind of those guys that are picked.
Matty, did you get a chance to find it? Okay, so fatigued in the game. Yeah, defensively. Okay, so it was about the game. It wasn't about before the game. Yeah?
Yeah, it's hard. It's very...
Can we just hope that it is and just assume that he hasn't said that going into the game we've got guys that are fatigued?
I mean...
But this also
is part of the
comes
problem.
back to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I think it's very evident Laurie Daly, for as good player he was, he's a pretty dreadful communicator as a whole.
And that's been my issue and all of our issues since day one is the lack of communication from camp and the mixed messaging that creates more headlines. Like even like little things like taking Mitchell Moses off with 10 to go. Like I feel like a smart coach would go, oh, that's actually going to create a fuckload of headlines and a lot of talking points. If he's good to go, he's good to go. And if he does do his hammy in the last 10 minutes, then like we thought he was good, you know?
Yeah, the other thing that I was thinking about too is like if he's taking him off for that 10 minutes at the end of that game, like is he saying to Parramatta, hey, put him in ice again for me?
Surely not. I think it's obviously he's almost going, look, thanks Parramatta for not playing him. Here's me taking him off. Maybe.
So I don't know. I think it suggests to me that he's going to go with Mitch again in game 3 and he's keeping him safe. Like he's looked at it and gone, the game's done. Let's get him off.
No, I think that, that's what I...
That's what scares
and
the shit out of me.
Which again confirms they were so scared that it was going to go. Like they're so scared of him not being able to play in essentially 3 weeks' time that they're like, get off the field.
But also, like, did you watch the game? Like Ethan Strange had like 2 runs, looked unreal.
Yep.
Like it just says to me that while the game was still unfolding, they've gone, fuck, you know what? All good. We'll get Mitch off and get him ready for game 3, which that's what annoys me the most. And just to go back to the coaching thing before, like, that's why, at least with Ivan, you know whatever it is, you're going to get a plan.
Yep.
You know he's going to come in with a plan. I don't know what the plan is here, Tice. Like even talking about selections, like you came in here last week and you told us how he said that it's worked out well because Mark and Appy would have been there game 1 had they not been injured.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't put Appy on.
Then Appy sits there in the yellow vest the whole time.
Appy actually got up to warm up at points during that game as well. So I don't know what actually happened. We haven't had a chance to really speak to Laurie. There was a couple of journos obviously up in Brisbane, but it wasn't really discussed in too much detail. But Appy seemed like at times they were getting ready to put him on, and then there was a change of heart.
So what's the mood or the vibe you're getting from everyone you've spoken to? Will there be mass changes or not? Now I know you can't answer that because we don't know, but like, what's the vibe coming out of it?
I think they're going to be the vibe that I've gotten from people around camp is with those big names, like I mentioned before, Latrell potentially up for selection, Stephen Crichton, Tom Travojevic, all guys that I guess have missed out due to injuries and other things. Because of that factor, there is a little bit of a mood for mass changes. But also from speaking to guys around Laurie and what Laurie's mood is, it seems like Laurie's going to try and stick strong with a few guys as well. Like you guys mentioned before, the Mitchell Moses, pulling Mitchell Moses off with 10 minutes to go does probably indicate that he's leaning towards Mitch again. And there is still this hope around the Blues. Like we've seen 2 games of Nathan and Mitch together. One of them, they won 18-6, and the other one, we kind of lost it in the second half. But imagine what it would be like if Mitch is 100% and Nath is 100%.
But if he's not,
he's not right. That Mitchell Moses needs to play footy in the next month. In the next couple of weeks. If Mitchell Moses misses footy, he has to have a line through him.
So I've got to ask you, Rube and Tommy Bomb, if Latrell plays one game and plays really well, what do you do?
If he plays well and he's not showing any signs of injury and he gets through the entire 80 minutes, I pick him.
Yeah, I'm the same. He'd be my left centre. I think there'll be a tough call to make on the right wing out of whether you keep Cooler and Marky Mark. In terms of right centre.
What about Critter? Doesn't get selected or ruled himself out, but
Critter was selected in the first team that came out. He was
ruled himself out, but didn't. But we don't know. Comes in, moves into 6, so his clearly body is decent enough to play 6 and wins the match for the Doggies.
That's what I mean. I think right centre, we've got a few options there. We've got, like they had Stags there, obviously. You got Critter. You got Turbo, who's come back into the equation if he's playing. The other guy that I would be seriously looking at, I know it's crazy to properly debut someone in a decider, but the way he's playing, I just love him at the moment, is Jack Bostock. I'd be seriously eyeballing.
What about Bradman Best?
Oh, he's another one that's come in every time he's
Yeah.
been there for us. He's done a job.
And he's got that aggressive.
Yep.
I thought he was pretty good
physicality.
on Friday as well. He was one of Newcastle's better players when he first came back.
Yep. I think.
You know what's
from
crazy as a Queenslander? Apologies, I know I'm going to put the boot in here, but like, we have to play players out of position just to get a fucking.
Yeah, I don't know why you apologise. You're not fucking.
Whereas like you guys have like McLean, Kohler could get Staggs, could get Bradman, Best could not be there. Tommy Turbo might not be there. It's just crazy.
I think
bro.
Turbo is going to be an interesting one. I think from what I saw on the weekend with Turbo, like if he played that game this weekend coming, I couldn't pick.
No, I don't think so as well. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we're going to need to see more from Turbo.
he
this
actually looked a
weekend.
bit underdone.
He
in this
looked
game.
very
Oh,
underdone.
and
Yeah.
playing quite conservative.
Yeah,
He
playing
did a
within
couple times
himself
when
a
he
lot.
ran,
Number of times
yeah.
they made half breaks where usually you would see Turbo just lurk up, just wasn't in the frame. If I see Latrell have a game like that, it's probably not enough for me. As much as I just want to punt on Latrell, I just don't think I could in that arena realistically.
So
Yep.
I want to see us lean into for game 3. Like one of the main areas I think Queensland bested us was with like the contestable kicks.
Man, he's blowing up. He's throwing shit at the back.
But yeah, like you could go with Bostock, you could go with Critter. If Marky is the right winger, like you got 2 guys there that are proper kick targets. I think that's just where we got
Yep.
absolutely bested.
You know what I like about Kohler being there as well is like with Kohler, like he's fit and he's playing like he's at 100% essentially. Now obviously he wouldn't be at 100%. He'd be some little niggly injury, but like every time he runs the ball, he's not holding himself in. He is fucking balls to the wall. And so I'd be picking blokes every run. I want to see you fucking going like as hard as possible.
And that's where I sort of feel like if Latrell, Turbo, Critter, all these guys are available, unfortunately, I think Kohler probably misses out, which I would almost argue I think it's harsher than Olakawatu missing out. Like
I like
Olakawatu was
Kohler.
great in game 1, but like,
Yeah.
you know, he wanted an 80-metre back rower. He didn't go the distance. I don't agree with it, but I can understand
Yeah.
Laurie's point of view. Kohler has done nothing fucking wrong.
Do you stick him on the wing?
There's the option, but then do you drop Mark out of the side?
I think
Brian.
that's more plausible. Like, I think that's more fair enough. I think Mark still gets a bit stiff there, but the reality is that, and I said this to Tice before, like they did let in like 4 tries down that edge. Now that it wasn't all Mark's fault. Like if you actually watch it back, a lot of the decisions he was having to make, he's reacting to the guys inside him a bit. But
It's still a reality.
Cool is rock solid. He's got speed, which we've lacked. Like that's what my back 5 would more lean towards is having Toto on the left wing, Cooler on the right.
My only other, counts to that maybe is, and I wouldn't have had Mark in the side in the first place, but, we just had a 70-point origin. If you're going up there for a decider,
Yeah.
we're going to have to score. And I'm not saying Kohler can't do that. Obviously, he's extraordinary. But there's one of Mark.
Yep.
He'd
And
have
that
won a
crossfield
fucking
kick
one.
is that you. I didn't think was there a single crossfield kick to him in game 2?
Don't think so.
No, he got a lot of his ball and a lot of his impacts were just running and getting there himself. But
But it was, here's the football, you create
Do
something, and
something.
he did every time.
Yeah.
There's a concern though, and it's interesting you guys mentioned the crossfield kicks and I guess the options of scoring points. Brian To'o, for as great as he has been, was out jumped in game 2. He was definitely a target, and it's not the first time he's been targeted in the Origin arena for his height. So if you went with a cooler To'o wing combination, you've got 2 relatively short guys.
I think Kohler's shorter than what people realise too.
Yeah.
That
Powerful.
would be a problem, yes.
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
think that like they should look at doing like what Queensland did really well is how they'd go 2 passes wide to bring that edge all the way up and isolate, like we saw on the Jojo Fafed try, just to isolate Toto like that. Do you on the line? Do you swap and get Toto to defend at centre and drop back? Say like if you got a Critter there next to him or a if it was like a Bostock or even like a Marky Mark, like I don't know how we counter that, but I thought that was one of the best things Billy Slater did going into game 2.
Just going off what it says on club profiles, so it could be wrong, but Kohler, 2 centimetres shorter than Brian Tyler. I don't think people realise how short Kohler is.
And people also assume Toto's smaller than he actually is.
Yes.
Because he's essentially 180, I think.
Well, I mean, for human beings, he's tall.
Yeah.
For NRL players,
It's true.
and there's a huge difference between the two.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, mate? Anything else going on?
Oh, mate, just watch the space on the Latrell Mitchell stuff. It's
Okay.
super interesting, especially after how positive he was last night. We got to get to the bottom of this injury news.
Okay. All right. That's us done and dusted for Code Sports. Make sure end of financial year sale, EOFY, $19 for the entire year. You will not regret it. It's $20 for the whole year. Trust me, do it before it's gone. This is the last week of its use. All right, now it's time for the UE Verified. UE have this new initiative called UE Origin Verified, which puts New South Wales and Queensland fans through a series of verification challenges once you do these challenges, you're given a fan status, which is essentially a tier. We've all done it, and this is the tiers we've landed at. I'm at the die-hard stage. I've got a few more questions I need to answer to get to. And so it goes, the tiers are Immortal at the top, the die-hard, the loyalist, the casual, the bandwagoner. I'm a die-hard at the moment. I just got a little bit to go to get to Immortal. Immortal, what do you, mate?
Yeah, I'm a diehard as well, but I think with time, immortality awaits.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm actually at loyalist at the moment. I just punched out a quick 10 out of 10 this morning.
Yeah.
Just building towards.
Yeah, okay.
I've got my eyes on immortality, boys. So
Okay.
I'll get there.
I got a question for you. Because you've only won 5 Origins in the last 21 years or something, can any New South Wales fan actually be an Immortal, if you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what hurt the most about the questions, Kempy, is they were all Queensland based and I got every single one. So didn't miss a beat. Who scored the try in 94? Mark Coyne. Bang.
Yeah,
like
boom.
that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
nailed that one. So that's the question I want to ask is because you've only won 5 out of 21 years, could you actually ever qualify to be an Immortal Origin fan? Is that a thing?
We'll get there.
Is it like a participation award or something like that?
This is really uncalled for.
Yeah,
so
this is just-
uncalled for. It's disrespectful.
We're a state.
Nothing else.
Yeah, well, I'm hurt.
In
and-
hour 1 of a 4-hour podcast, it's a huge play for
No,
the
Rue,
host.
I promise
huge
you.
play.
Rue, I promised you we're going 2.5 hours today. I promise you.
I promise you we will be too.
I thought it was
stayed in morning.
Yeah, I thought it was safe from Origin chat today.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
safe
Never.
from Origin chat.
Okay, it's time for us. So go to the good news. Everyone can get involved, guys. You can all go up against your mates. Head to nrl.com/verify to complete it. It doesn't take long, and you'll be given your official fan status. Across the series, a live New South Wales and Queensland leaderboard will track which state has the most verified fans with participants competing to unlock exclusive rewards, prizes, and arguably more importantly, bragging rights. One of the prizes is a trip to Auckland, State of Origin, next year. There is more to be won, so head to nrl.com/verify today, and we'll be back next week with our official fan status. Alrighty, team of the week. I will say, guys, team of the week was really hard in the outside back, so there's a couple that are going to miss out that should be in here, but unfortunately we couldn't get them in. Fa'alongo at fullback, Warbrick and CNK on the wings. We moved Marky Mark into centre because he was so good. Then Gagai at 3, Nikodima at 6, Harrison from the Titans at 7, Nafahu White at 8, Egan at 9, Harry Grant or Egan could have been there, Stowers Smith at 10, Lemuelo at 11, Thomas Cant at 12, Trent Leoro at 13, Fletcher Sharp at 14, Tavita Nafahu at 15, Harry Grant 16, and Lindsay Collins at 17. Okay, let's just get straight into it, shall we? The round review. And if we're a little bit shorter, guys, it's because we spent so long on Origin. So apologies now. And even when I do apologise, there's still comments getting angry that we went shorter. But anyway, I do it. I still let you know I'm sorry. Okay, Knights v Dragons. Knights defeat the Dragons 22-20. Look, with the Knights, it's kind of look, just get the win. It was messy, it was scrappy, it was nowhere near your best. With the Dragons, it's oh, man, you were so much better. You were so much better. And unfortunately, you had the Val Holmes miss kick. Then, just at the end there, you could have won it. That's tougher than the kick that Holmes missed. If I'm a Dragons fan, yes, it sucks losing when it was so close, but there's a lot to like about the progress that's being made.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think even from a Knights point of view, mate, I think you look at 22-20 over the Dragons and you go, they should have won by more. But the Dragons aren't the same team they were 6 weeks ago. They've come a long way. They're not easy beats anymore. I also think credit to the Newcastle Knights are so often in the modern game with, 27-game season plus finals, rep football, all this sort of stuff. I cannot believe how many of these guys back up after Origins. And I thought for a moment there Newcastle were going to put KP and Dill Lucas out there. Credit to Newcastle. I think it also, mate, in the modern game as well, with how long the season is, injuries, suspensions, all this sort of stuff, I think you need to also just take opportunities to play without these guys at times and make it fucking work and trust the rest of your squad. And I like that the Newcastle Knights went down that avenue, especially with guys like KP and Dill Lucas. We said it after game 1. Guys that have had a lot of, soft tissue injuries over the years. I think it's just brain dead to put these guys out there so quickly. So credit
Especially
to the
when
Knights.
you're riding as high as the Knights were. It's not like they're desperate to make the 8.
You're not desperate to make the 8. You're not desperate. But even if you were, if you're desperate to make the 8, the last thing in the world you need is a KP injury.
True. Very true.
So I credit to the Knights and Holbrook just for backing in their system.
Yep.
It's round 16. You should be at a point where you can take 1 or 2 players out and you can manage.
Yep. Tommy Bomb?
Yeah, you mentioned 2 key blokes they were missing, boys. I'm loving with the Knights at the moment, though. Just the shape they play out of their own end. And I think for them at the back end, I think we can lock them in for finals by now, right? Like at least top 8. I think they're going to be sort of pushing more for top 4 by the end. I think they need to lean into that completely. Like that, they're one of the only teams in the comp that can essentially score from anywhere on the field. And some of those early shifts, especially earlier in the games, I thought were really exciting. Like your two halves. Well, sorry, you end up playing fullback, but you got Fletcher Sharp and Dylan Brown both running for nearly 200 meters there. Like I love seeing them lean into that style. The other thing that I thought was interesting was the way they use Phoenix Crossland off an edge. Like obviously he's their hooker, but they'll use him as a ball player sometimes, which I think is a good way to free up a guy like Dylan Brown with a bit more time to lean into his running game. And to your point, Rue, like watching them play the Dragons, like you said, from the outside looking in, it'd be easy to go, oh, they should have won by more, but it's more the way that they're playing at the moment. Like I think if they can just tighten up their defense a little bit and just nail the completion rate, like the footy that they're able to play, like they could trouble some of these top tier teams. Yeah,
it's definitely an expansive style of rugby league, and it's like what I like about the Knights as well this year is a very clear identity as well in the style they play. Whereas like there's some teams that are even in the top 8 where I sit there and go, I still don't really know what style of footy you play. It's like a mixture of new and old or whatever. Whereas they've lent all the way in. Let's talk about Dan Gagai. Like I can't believe, and look, we spoke about it at the time, and granted it was under different leadership or whatever. But there was a time where they weren't going to pay $400K for Dan Gagai on this side. The fact that, look, at the moment, it seems like he's doing a retirement lap. He's getting jerseys or whatever, but he's still playing pretty good footy. He was outstanding on the weekend.
Yeah, he was. And yeah, I think about a month ago he was carrying an injury, and I thought that was pretty evident. But I heard one of the reporters up in Newcastle say about 2 weeks ago that Gagai's getting closer and closer to being fully fit now. And when he is fit, he's playing great footy.
Yeah.
He looks sensational. And I think there's a number of teams out there that has he re-signed for next year or not, or there's nothing at the moment.
But there's a number of teams could use him.
Mate,
if he wants to go around again.
Who's a team like I watched the Melbourne Storm each week, and I'm like, how the fuck are there no edges down there?
Yeah.
Nick Meaney going, like, I wonder if it could be a great little 1 year, 2 year thing.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Down at the Melbourne
Even if it's
Storm,
like depth, I know it sounds disrespectful to Gagai, but like let's just say it was a $350K signing.
Yes.
That's not a lot of money in
No,
today's
it's not.
cap.
No. If for 1 year the Canberra Raiders could get him out there for a bit of strike and they're outside backs, like I think there's a lot of spots that he could elevate if it's going to, like even a Canterbury would be unreal to free up maybe a Stephen Crichton to play fullback or move guys around. But most of all, if I'm Newcastle, keep him for another year. He's playing great footy. You got your Toby Winters of the world that are coming through and whatnot. They will be ready in good time, but it's probably not a next season thing. I think there's a lot of spots that he could land and do really well.
And also, like, if you're a new coach, and let's say Dan Gagai is fully, on board with Holbrook, it's really good to keep senior players around that clearly are sending your message to the playing group. You just, let's say you get a young gun in there, you lose a bit of leverage. You lose a bit of power as a coach to go, okay, well, let's say I've got 4 guys that are senior players that send the message that I want. I now have 3. And I might have a young guy that doesn't listen to what I say, So, yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think they've got to sign him for another year. If he wants to go around again, that is. Like
if he wants to, yeah. But, like, if Queensland had bulk injuries this weekend and they pick Gagai, I'd sit here and go, fuck.
Yeah, I'd be
I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I'd be happy having him in for sure. Absolutely. Fletcher Sharp, boys. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Opened the game, first 10 minutes, 2 tries, ended up being more than just the difference. It was like a lot, half their points essentially. The worst thing about how good he is someone's going to have to make way in a year, or like maybe you could get away with pushing Fletcher Sharp out to an edge, to a wing, or wherever you're going to put him. At the moment, it's kind of worked in their favour. They've had all these kind of like little injuries here or there, but he's playing so well that he'll demand a lot on the open market. And it's like, I hate to say it because I actually think he's been great signing, but he's probably going to be Sandon Smith that makes way for him.
I think so as well. I think Fletcher Sharp being a Newcastle junior, Cessnock Goanna, all that sort of stuff, you have to keep him. I think it's burn the village if they lose him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think that they're aware of that too. Like,
yes,
he's the kind of player that clubs don't say, oh, sorry, bro, we don't have enough money. They just go, okay, you want to stay for a reasonable amount? We have to move someone on, unfortunately.
Yes.
Now, I don't mean they have to move Sandon Smith on off their cap, but he probably goes to the bench, mate, at full strength.
Yeah, I think you have to. And once again, Sandon Smith has been fantastic. He's been a really good signing, but Fletcher Sharp is, like, he could be one of the better players in the competition when he gets, a long
If they put him
period
at 19 for Origin, I know selections or whatever, I'll be like, he'll kill it.
Yeah, he'll
gets
kill
on.
it. Yeah, I have no doubt whatsoever. Yes, he's got a bit of Ethan Strange to him.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. So, yeah, he's a great player. Obviously, had a blinder the other night, 2 tries in the first 10 minutes. It is going to be interesting to see how his career does play out, what position he plays, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure, well, I always thought anyway that by the time Fletcher Sharp was getting to be like an established, 50 to 100 game first grader, KP probably wouldn't be at Newcastle.
I thought that for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think, dare I say, I reckon Fletcher Sharp thought the same thing.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah, the needle has moved a little bit there because KP is not going anywhere.
Has he convinced? Because, like, for me, if you had to ask me at the start of the season, I said out and out best position fullback. Has he convinced? At least he's convinced me more now. Where I'm saying, oh, okay, hang on, 6 probably is his best position.
Yeah, he's not the. From what I heard a few weeks ago, that it was very close to Fletcher Hunt being the second choice fullback at Newcastle.
Okay.
Now, obviously the needles moved there a little bit, but I know that was conversations happening up there anyway. So I agree with you. I thought him playing in the halves because he's so good at fullback, and I think people forget when he played on the wing, he killed it.
Yeah.
That's like guy. He was sensational. But the more you watch in the halves, and I think. Not that he's lucky this has happened, but I think it's timing. The game has moved towards him as a ball player, which is the big difference, I think.
Yeah. Because if you were asking him, let's say mid 2010s to like set plays up and like maybe he could learn it for sure. He's so talented, but like the style in which he plays right now is very suited to today's game. Yeah. What do you reckon, mate? How do you reckon they're going to juggle this year when everyone's fit?
So I think he is 100% your 5'8" when everyone's fit. I think the thing with Fletcher that's so interesting, and everyone knows this, like. He can beat you in so many ways. Like they actually said live in the commentary, like at one stage he took a run where like he kept getting like 5, 6, 7 post contact meters, and they're just like far out. You forget how strong he is because of everything else that he's got. I think though, like I think we have to park the idea of obviously he's a guy because he is so versatile. When there's been certain injuries, like we've seen a few games this year where say if Dylan was available, but say if KP wasn't or whatever, where they'd play, or if a centre wasn't available like Bradman. They'd move him to centre, or they'd play him on the wing. He'd become the fullback to like replace KP. I'd be fully leaning into now. He's your 6, Dill's your 7. I wouldn't move him. Like even when, like, let's say if Bradman does go down again, or if Gags has an injury, like you got guys like Fletcher Hunt, who you mentioned before, Roo, like I actually wouldn't move
because you can run into the concern. Because I know what you're alluding to here is like every game you move him away from his preferred position is a game he can't get better at his preferred position.
Yes.
So, and we've seen that. How many careers have we seen where a coach has put the team's need over an individual's development's need? He gets 4 or 5 years into his career and he hasn't learned a single position because he's got moved around a lot, even though he came through the grades as like a 6 or a 1 or whatever.
Yeah, and I think we're at a point now, like, at least in my opinion, I think it's actually in the team's best interest. Like, I think when everyone's available, like we know, like, sounds like they actually went really close to playing KP and Dill the other night, but Sandin can step in and do a job there. And then, Fletcher can move, but I'd be leaning into he's your 6, Dill's your 7, and then KP, obviously, we've seen him in good ball. He almost plays like a 7 anyway to free up Dylan and Fletcher. So I think that sort of style is the style that's going to be most likely to get them towards a prelim final, grand final this year.
Okay. And just quickly before we move on, guys, I think enough time has passed. Trey Mooney has absolutely been a great signing.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Like lock it in. Like I wanted to believe it before he arrived that he could be the big dog. And look, Saifiti's still the big dog, but you know what I'm saying? A guy that come off the bench, really impact games, and he's playing better than he ever played at the Raiders, which says something about Holbrook's coaching and also says something about the bloke that he clearly enjoys more accountability and more responsibility. I think Trey Mooney's been phenomenal. Like, just so good for him.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And I think just before we do move on, we said, 22-20 over the Dragons. It's not the most impressive score in the world, but I think you also need to keep in mind, I think Dragons scored 4 tries. I think 3 of them were off kicks as well. Yep. So there's a bit of context
and they're
there.
missing Dylan Lucas and Caleb Ponga, who are origin players. From a team that not all of us, I don't know if you did, but I had them in my bottom 2 to start the year. So, like, when you put it all into context, you go, it's actually, like, I know the standard has been risen since then, but it's actually a pretty good win. Good win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess a good little segue to the Dragons as well. They were one of 2 teams that scored more tries in their opposition this weekend and lost the game.
Oof.
Same as Manly.
Sucks.
That sucks as a fan if you're like, Jesus. Look, if it's every try's on the edge, you're like, okay, it just is what it is, but ouch. But yeah, look, once again, Young, Marju, a bunch of meters. It is actually really interesting to see the difference in styles of footy. So if you look at the Knights, Dom Young, 188 meters. Dan Gaga 151, Bradman Best 166, Greg Marju 216, Fletcher Sharp 175, Dylan Brown 195. And you go across to the Dragons. Oh, sorry. And then the forwards is like essentially like 90, 40, 130 Trey Mooney, but 90, 70, 15. You go across to the Dragons and it's the flip reverse. So 185 at the back for Gutho, 198 Setu 2, but then you go 95, 116, 76, 63. But then you go into their forwards and it's 122, 163, 107, 168, 142. And I like the fact that Dean Young has identified, okay, where does our strength lie? It's in our forward pack. So this new age Penrith style of forwards really, they can make a lot of meters at times, but we're going to lean into our outside backs to get a lot of the meters. And I just think this young forward pack. And I got to the end, it was about the 70th minute and the VB hard index came up. And it's not the be all and end all. However, this is at 70-minute mark, maybe even a bit later. VB hard index comes up. Couchman at 1. Toby Couchman at 1. Ryan Couchman at 2. Hamish Stewart at 3. Thomas Cant at 4. Setu 2 at 5. Like, if I'm a Dragons fan, I'm focusing on that. Like, yes, you didn't get the win, but look how hard the boys are working. Like, these are 3 at the top. You got Toby Couchman, Ryan Couchman, and Hamish Stewart. These are 3 guys that are, between 18 and 22 years old, and they're the hardest working players on the field. And I think Dean Young's lent into that, and I just think this young forward pack, if they can just keep their heads on straight and not get carried away and keep them together, there's something there. There really is.
Yeah, there's something there without a doubt, and sort of, the inverse of what I said before as well. I only just realised when I had a look at each of these tries, 7 tries in this game, 6 rough kicks.
Wow.
Like the only time the Dragons actually got skinned was on the first Fletcher Sharp try where they went down the right edge. So positives to take out of that as well for Dragons fans. Mate, I think 8 weeks ago you could question effort in some of the Dragons' performances. You couldn't possibly at this point.
No way. Like, they've gone toe-to-toe as a forward pack, just if you're isolating their forward pack, for the last 4 weeks, essentially every side they've played, essentially. Now, granted, they didn't go on to win all the games, but, for example, the Warriors game where just the young forward pack was on, they were actually winning field position in that game when they were all on young, and then the changes were made or whatever. Like, that's super, super exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. Once if they're competing in games, which is when you add Keon, Drinkwater, Metcalf, Connor Watson, if you're competing, there's enough strike there to be a proper football team.
If you add Scotty Drinkwater to this team on the weekend, they win.
Yeah. Yep.
Literally. Like, maybe by 12 points. Like, that's how many points he can put on for you.
You add Metcalf to it, they probably win as well.
Yep. Even Keon. Like, just one of them. Just one of them, they win this game. So I know it's tough right now as a Dragons fan. It really is. But, geez, there absolutely is light at the end of the tunnel. The only concern I have is, like, the Dragons administration. Now, I understand it's a relatively new administration in place, but it's kind of been their Achilles heel for a while now, the administration, where they get these young guns in that are some of the best of the lot. And for whatever reason, coaching and administration-wise, their development just goes like this, just boom. Now, we actually have seen evidence of some young guys coming in and killing it, so that shows that development is decent. But I don't trust the Dragons administration to create the best environment for this playing group just yet. That doesn't mean I'm saying they can't do it. I'm just saying right now, I don't have enough trust that they'll do the right thing by this young group.
Yeah, which is fair, where I think you just got to sit here and hope that Dean Young, being a junior, everything that's come through, can be a guy that can make the difference there. But you're lying if you're pretending like it's not.
Yeah, and it's, to be honest, it's like not even like Shane Flanagan has been a big part of a lot of these guys' developments. It's not even really that. It's just it's almost above them to as well. Like, now you're right in regards to Dean Young. He's a young guy that came through, so hopefully he has enough power in the club to be able to like push things along. Now, I think they got a new CEO like last year or something like that.
Yep.
So that is something. That is something. So yeah, just administration-wise, I hope they can create the best environment for this group to continue to improve. What do you think of the Dragons, mate?
Well, I think there's 2 sides to it, right? Like, you got, obviously, you guys just spoke about who's coming in next year, and I look at what they're doing at the moment with that forward pack, and, you throw those guys in, as you guys alluded to before, a lot more points come from the guys that are coming in. But in the meantime, I actually really liked what they were doing on the weekend in terms of doing what a lot of teams have started doing, where they'll play out the back to Flano, out the back of shape, early kick. That's how they score the Val Holmes try. Like, they're not spoilt for choice with how they're going to be able to create points at the moment. So I thought, leaning into that, off the back of having a really hard-working forward pack that can defend it when it doesn't work out is probably the way to go. Like when Leilua was out there on the edge with Val Holmes, some of the variations they were running, I didn't mind as well. Like whether it's Hamish Stewart or Egan that's on the other edge, I think there's a lot that you can do with those guys too. So I think in the meantime, there's probably a bit more that they can get out of their attack, but I don't mind that they're trying to build a brand that they can add. They know they're adding to it next year. Like the reality to me is you're not going to add heaps to it with the guys that you've got right now in terms of attacking flair and upside. So build that base of just grit, hanging in games with the guys that you got now. And then, like you said, you drop in a Connor Watson, you drop in Keon, Drinky, Metcalf.
We didn't even say Connor Watson, did we?
I did.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, man. Appreciate it.
My bad. Apologies.
The whole thing changes, you know. So yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to, and in 3-4 years' time, like you're definitely gonna be looking at a consistently competitive side.
And I love that Dean Young's gone. Leilua, Kerr, Blake Laurie, you guys are playing 25 minutes. I'm leaning in.
Yeah, all the way.
We're learning. We're getting all the experience we possibly can with this clusterfuck of a season, so we're ready for next
Do you
year.
think they're sold on Dean Young now, moving forward?
I think he's. Considering what you're comparing him to, so obviously the Ben Hornby is named up now. You know, Ben Hornby is also an assistant coach. It's like I feel like you just go, you know what? Here's a 2-year deal. If that doesn't work, Hornby's probably going to be available. You'd have to assume.
I'm sorry. Like after going out and signing Watson, Drinkwater, how the fuck can he not be a coach? Metcalf, like how can you not?
Yeah,
be a
like
coach next year?
as in he's done a good job.
He's
at
had
convincing
conversations with those guys.
Yeah,
He's obviously
fair.
got a link to Drinkwater from the North Queensland Cowboys.
That's fair.
If I'm drinking them and I'm signing and someone else is the coach,
I agree, but I think that, like, do you think they've had these conversations internally then, that he is the guy? Because I haven't heard anything, and I reckon based on what we're seeing, he is doing a great job. It's hard when you got Foz, who's like sort of the exception that proves the rule. But like, I think there's a lot of value even in the fact that you spoke about the signings. The fact that he's in the shit with them now, and like he's sort of leading him towards light. Like I think there's a lot of value in let him build what he started. Like
I think that's a good point you bring up, Rue. Like, he's the one in the meetings with these guys. Like, the Dragons have recruited the best of any club in the competition. Like, it's literally that simple. No one is who's recruited better than Dragons for next year.
no one.
And he's been the head of that.
Yeah. No
like,
one's been in a worse spot to recruit.
literally the worst spot. And it's probably the best they've recruited since Mary McGregor.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument the
Since
guys
they
coming in
signed
might
Ben
be better. Like, Metcalf almost won a Dalian medal last year. They're lacking spark. Drinky, he's got his downfalls, but he might be one of the most entertaining players in the league.
Yeah.
Keon's the other one that we never gets a shout in this Blues conversation. He should be playing Origin, in my opinion. And Connor Watson, who fucking fantastic utility.
Yeah.
You're losing Damien Cook. You literally need a 14. You've probably gone and found the best 14 in the game.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think once you bring that point up, I'm like, you know what? A 2-year deal's almost owed to him to a degree.
I think so.
Yeah. We've got to speak about it. We've all been positive, but I can't wrap my head around. Like, Val Holmes is one of the best outside backs of his generation, and legend of a bloke. I don't know what's happened this year with him.
The last 2 weeks, he was pretty good.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, in saying that, I was about to say it's been up and down. It's been down with 2 weeks of up. Now it's down.
It's usually like he'll have 1 or 2 weeks that are really poor, and then he goes back to his good stuff.
He's having 1 or 2 weeks that are really good.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. It is insane to watch. I do wonder if once you get Drinky in there, you get their little crew back together, if that might help Val Holmes lift it up again. But yeah, I don't know, because his performances, like if his name wasn't Val Holmes, he wouldn't be in first grade still.
He would have been dropped quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to just always go, there must be something else going on, but that's the only thing that makes sense, that there must be something off the field that's distracting him.
Yeah, because
He's never done this in his career. Like,
No.
never, ever.
No. Even like, I know it's just a small thing, and we might want to call it just a one-off thing, but like, even missing that kick the other night, mate, Val Holmes is one of the most confident footballers I've ever fucking seen.
He's nailed from the sideline in Origin.
You
in
know,
a packed
like big
Suncorp.
moments, that they don't worry Val.
Yeah.
For him to miss that, I thought that was wild.
pretty frustrating as a goal kicker. Like even you said, Rube, like how confident Val is. Remember him kicking that like drop kick from the sideline in the 9s?
Yes.
Imagine being able to fucking nail that. And I reckon he could nail that like a fair few times out of 10.
You, me, and our 2 other cousins remember that.
Yeah.
No one else, but yeah.
And then you miss that kick the other night. That like, I mean, I saw you miss a few of those at North Sydney last week. Like it happens, but You're not Val
Didn't
Holmes,
get
to be
close,
fair.
to be fair. Hammy's still tight if anyone cares.
I was at that game, Tommy, in the Nines over in New Zealand. That was literally to take the grand final into extra time.
You know what's hilarious? It's like essentially you are the only 3 people that remember that shit in this whole fucking country.
It was quite the moment.
I think the great Matty Evans might have played in that one.
He did. Yep.
That's a niche one for you.
That is niche
Shout out
as it
to you
comes.
Newtown Jets fans.
Holy shit. Holy shit. In regards to some performances from the Dragons, mate, I thought Hamish Stewart was outstanding, but I thought it was Dylan Egan for me. I thought he was great. I was really good. He's got that mongrel in him. He's aggressive.
He's a dog.
He loves it. He loves it. That whole forward pack loves it. Like, I'm trying to recall a game where I felt like they got physically dominated, and I don't, like, maybe that it has happened, but it doesn't happen very often, this young forward pack. Like, they go toe-to-toe with anyone, and they don't take a backward step ever.
Yeah, and I think it also goes back to your point as well, mate. Like, when you're looking at Dean Young, he's the guy like, Dapto born and bred, Dragons Junior. He's actually one of the guys that these guys would have watched win a premiership for the club. And, you know, with all due respect to Dean Young, he wasn't the most talented in the world. Like, he was sort of a lock, hooker.
Tough as anything.
Just fucking tough as nails.
Yep.
I think I think it is someone that this young pack can follow.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually in the Dragon squad when he was still there.
Of course you would have.
Great, yeah, great bloke. Great bloke. Old school, but old school in a good way. Not like back in my day, this was like old school and like principled. This is what I stand for. I'm very clear about it. I even liked that he came out and he said, like, this is such smart coaching, because he knows the young fellas would read it. Someone kind of said to him, "Oh, you're picking the young fellas for next year." He was like, "I'm not picking the young fellas for next year. I'm picking the best 13 that live up to the standards that we want." And he knows the young fella's going to read that and go, "Fuck yeah!" Like, he's backing us all the way in. Whereas, like, there is a bit of a subtle diss in the idea of like, "Oh, you're just getting picked because we're building towards next year." But Dean Young's smart enough to go, and look, I actually think he believes what he's saying. So I'm not saying he doesn't believe it, but to verbalise it publicly, think of the confidence that would give those young fellas.
There would also have to be an element for these young guys that, you know, like, surely when the news comes out, Drinkwater's coming next year, they must be sitting there going, "How the fuck did we get Drinkwater?"
Yeah, and then like Keon as well.
Connor. Here.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a tough sell, the Dragons, and like I wouldn't obviously do this because you don't want to be bringing other clubs into it. But like, if I'm this young forward pack, go look at Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas. Now I know it's different. Like, the Broncos, they should have never even gotten close to a spoon with that side. But the reality is, you can see images of essentially Paddy Carrigan crying into fucking Payne Haas's chest. Now I'm being exaggerating a little bit, but they stuck together, and both could have got massive offers elsewhere. Like, both of them could have left so many years ago. They chose not to, and now they're a part of one of, if not the greatest ever finals run you've ever seen.
Sure, and if I'm also this Dragons pack, like, I'd be pointing at the team they played on the weekend, the Newcastle Knights, going, on paper, I'd probably argue our forward pack is better than theirs. They've just got the strike out wide. We're starting to get those guys into this squad now.
Yep, I'm with you.
Like, when you add Keon to this side, like, it's a proper pack.
Well, because at the moment you've got, the good thing for Keon is I feel like sometimes he is very polarizing in the sense of he's either the workhorse or the game breaker. I feel like with this forward pack, they take the workhorse stuff off his shoulders, and he can almost be brought to the club of like, we need you to do a little bit less work, but we need you to skittle blokes and offload and create a bit of second phase. And I think Dean Young will lean into that, because like, although it is awesome that Keon can play 80 minutes and run for 250 meters, like, you don't want him doing that every single week.
Yeah,
get the guys that's physically built to do that, which is the Couchman brothers. Like, you know, there are things Keon can do that those boys. I mean, look, maybe not. Maybe they could, but he was an edge back rower, so you would have to assume his skill set is a little bit more wide ranging. And so I'd be basically leaning on Couchman brothers, Egan, Hamish Stewart. They're my dogs in the forward pack, and Keon, take a bit of pressure off his back, create a bit of momentum for us with some offloading and footwork.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like, even if you have a look, you know, a little bit further into this squad, like, there's also a lot of guys running in reserve grade that are talented. Like Tui Pelotu played on the wing in reserve grade. Another guy that could come in. You got David Valle, who we've seen in the trials for Penrith and Dragons for the last years, who looks good. Like Jacob Halangar, who's still in reserve grade. Harm Saleh's still there. King Tongia, we've seen that he's talented. There's a lot there to work with.
Interesting thing about the money man, he's actually not asking for more money. He just hasn't been paid yet. The invoice is about fucking 2 years overdue.
He doesn't have email, so he's just...
He's like, can I get my fucking invoice done?
I reckon you're going to see Connor Watson and Keon form one of the great combinations to next year.
Oh yeah, that's sexy.
I think that's going to be so exciting.
And
to
just
watch.
quickly, just to be clear on one thing, I'm not saying Couchman brothers are just battlers. I'm not saying that at all. Because you actually go to the Dragons game, they went toe to toe with Payne Haas, and was Paddy Carrigan playing in that game? And Xavier Willison, like Toby Couchman's stats weren't like they were close to those two stats. So I'm not saying that's all he's got. I'm just saying like there's certain things, certain roles, certain players can play really well. And that's a role that he can play well.
And I think for both those Couchman boys to at least show in these first year or two that they can play that role, then you can, like I always look at, like Kai Pearce-Paul when he came in, he wasn't offloading, he was just tackling his fucking dick off every week. Now you're seeing, obviously he's injured, but before that you're seeing him now start to add other elements to his game. I think you'll see that with the Couchman.
It's a good foundation to have.
Yes.
It's a good, because the thing with being a workhorse is in NRL, sometimes shit just not working for you. So you can just fall back on, look, I'll just fucking work my dick off and get through it. So really good stuff. Man, let's say like, I think Kyle Flanagan's actually kind of thriving a little bit under Dean Young. Like, I know it's a very touchy, not touchy, but like Shane Flanagan has come out and talked about how personal things got.
It is a bit touchy. Like, let's be honest here, he doesn't have a target on his back now.
Yeah, and like I thought against the Knights, he was good, like inside balls and creating space.
Yeah, he had a great game. I actually disagree with that. I think he's still getting targeted. I saw some bullshit that was like saying how he dropped a sitter over.
Oh, there was one story.
What are you
talking about? Like, fuck, you serious, bro? Like that's the thing that's frustrating. You know, yeah, you're right. I think you brought this up because so there was an article. I don't know if you've seen this.
Didn't say it.
So there's an article basically saying that he bombed a try to win the game.
Bombed a sitter. Like
A sitter. And so like the thing that's frustrating about that is that critique, which is fucking nonsense, gets lumped in with fair critique of like, okay, he didn't do this well, didn't do this well.
it's such bull. And you know what? Like I hope for the sake of whoever wrote that shit, like I hope they saw it. They didn't watch the game. They just saw a still shot of maybe when it did hit his
Land
arm
on
on
his
the way
arm, yeah.
down, and they thought, oh, maybe he did drop it over the line. Like, there's no way you could have watched that live and thought that it was a sitter.
Yeah. The only time it's a sitter's, it's never a sitter. But the only time I could ever get a little bit frustrated if that was an outside back, a winger, where it's your job to make those big plays. And I wouldn't be angry, but I'd be like, you know what? In video session, you'll probably get said, like, as a winger, you've just got to find a way to make that. He's a fucking halfback.
Yeah, and he didn't have sight of the ball as it came towards him, and he was falling, and it was over his head. Like, you know, it would have been a crazy play had he been able to do it.
You know what? I reckon, like, I don't know who wrote that article, but I highly doubt they've played rugby league at all. Because if you've played any rugby league, you're looking at it from a camera angle like this. This guy's, he's essentially looking at it, it's like, it's there. You know what I mean?
He's at full speed. He's got these massive blokes. Whoever wrote that article probably spirals the ball the wrong way. And that's always a dead giveaway that you're a bit of a clown, in my opinion.
And intentionally throws floaters to the boys, which pisses you off. Like,
Yeah,
mate, just fucking end over end it, please.
Thinks it's funny because he's never been smacked.
Jeez. And like when you're doing kicking and catching, he just does floaters the whole time. You're like, all right, listen, bro, there's time for floaters and there's time for end over enders. We're just trying to get through the session.
Exactly.
Just relax. It's not all about you.
The other thing too, just quickly on the Couchman brothers, like I think they will develop that stuff in terms of like the upside in their game. They are workhorses, but I've seen them wear jean shorts. Denim shorts.
The same pair of jeans.
Like
Same
hot
pair of
pants. Are we
jeans
talking
shorts.
hot pants or are we talking...
No, we're talking about hot pants, like as in like below knee length shorts.
So
you-
jorts.
yeah, jorts. And if
You've
you've got
seen-
workhorses wearing jorts, that tells me that they'll get through work, but they can have a bit of fun. They can create. So
Well, they've come prepared to either party or just have a normal casual day.
yeah, like you could put them on the tools on a farm and they're dressed for it.
Yeah.
Or we could be going to like the Newtown Hotel and they're good to go. You know what I mean? So that's promising for the
I
Dragons.
told you
fans.
when I met them in Vegas, I met one of them, I'm not sure which one it was at first in the lobby, and I was talking to him and stuff, and then the other one walked over and they were wearing the exact same thing. Like not Dragons
Yeah,
kit,
just other shit.
but
Like
exactly.
civilian
I
clothes.
thought it was like the old
Yeah.
Josh Morris, Brett Morris prank that I was getting done with.
And they do, you know what else is good about them? They do classic stitch-ups. Classic stitch-ups. A few weeks ago, the brother comes in for an interview.
it's the best.
That's good old-fashioned. That's just Aussie larrikin.
And there's more of them coming through. So
Yeah.
hopefully they all do look similar because we can have a lot of fun with that.
Because you're
over
the
years.
fourth. Are you the fourth or fifth brother?
I'm the fifth, actually. I can. Hey.
Well, you can confirm that.
Wait, yeah.
Didn't the old man actually cement this?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
reached
yeah.
out?
So the Couchman's dad sent me a message. Ben, shout out to him.
Shout out Ben. Wouldn't you call him dad?
Yeah, I responded as dad.
Bouchman.
Actually. Yeah. Bouchman. yeah. But I think there's like, because he said he was at the live show at the Caxton with the actual fourth brother. And I was like, holy shit, there actually is four of them. And now there's five of them. I'll have to get a pair of jean shorts.
Speaking of those jorts, I used to think I was the coolest cat in town. There was these like spray pants and they were, the zip off ones. And I was just like, bruh, these are hectic. Like I can be cool, but then I can just go sprinting anywhere I want. I was like, what genius thought of this shit?
Did they ever come in handy? Were you ever like on a night out or something and then you had to hit legs?
Oh, don't think so, to be honest. Don't think so. I think they were they SMP, Sex, Money, Power? Good old, when you used to have the skate belt coming out? What happened to fucking SMP skate belts? Bring them back. And you had the belt that hung down the front. Fuck yeah.
Did you ever wear wheelie shoes?
Wheelie shoes? Nah.
Shoes with wheels?
But I did wear etnies, and I used to because I couldn't afford new shoes, and I had to have the same shoes for 5 years. I used to paint them white with this just basically paint and
it's like watercolor paint.
Yeah, but eventually they'd be cracking, so they'd be white as shit, but they'd be cracking everywhere.
That's awesome.
Used to wear Sean John and Data and shit sometimes. Far out, bro. Nike spray pants. Just a gangster, bro. Just a gangster.
Just a gangster.
Okay, time to move on. Dolphins defeat the Tigers 36-22. I got to tell you, once again, the Dolphins in those championship rounds, that last 20 minutes, they just go to another level. They are just, when they switch on and lock in, they're almost unbeatable. Tigers, I thought they were brave. I think if you had said to me at the start of the year, Dolphins are a heavyweight premiership. They're a heavyweight and a premiership threat, and they beat the Tigers 36-22. I know it's at Campbelltown, but I would be like, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So I'm not too critical of the Tigers. I just think the Dolphins are the real deal. I really do.
Yeah, you got to remember as well, they rested Isaiah Cartara in this game as well. Going down to Campbelltown, I actually said to Sowie last week, I reckon the Dolphins give it to him. He goes, just always be careful with Campbelltown. It's a weird ground. You sort of... He sort of described it as it's a further drive than anywhere else you drive to.
Yeah, okay.
That it sort of becomes a bit of a weird spot to play. Tigers obviously up and about off the back of last week. Obviously Hamiso didn't play in this game as well. Trey Fuller comes in, who's a tremendous player, but Hamiso and Isaiah Cartel are out. This is what the entire franchise was built on, realistically. Mate, I think they're the real fucking deal this year, Dolphins. I'll tell you, I know we're reviewing this game, but I'm so excited for the game coming this weekend, Dolphins-Warriors.
Oh.
I feel like this is throw the silver medal in the middle for now.
Yep.
See who's the second best team in the comp. It's up there in Brisbane. And I'm obviously the Warriors have had a few injuries with Jackson Ford as well. I reckon the Dolphins have got the potential to give it to them. I really do.
I think so too. I think the Dolphins as a team are the only team on paper, at least, that I could confidently say could go toe-to-toe with the Penrith Panthers.
Yep, I agree. And I think they are. I had the Warriors as probably the most likely team to beat them 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think it's the Dolphins now.
Well, it's the Tanner Boyd injury and the Jackson Ford,
that's crippled them.
It's massive. It is so big, and I know.
Same as the Roger one. We'll get to the Warriors, but it makes their edges very weak.
And you lose 250 meters a game.
Yeah.
I think the Tanner Boyd. I will get into the Warriors, but it's just the kicking. I just watch him. I go, geez, when these big games get big and you can't get out of your own end. Anyway, mate, the Dolphins, they're exciting. Thoughts, mate, on the Dolphins-Tigers game?
I reckon, one of the most exciting guys I thought, you mentioned before, the whole franchise built on Hammer and Katoa. Schneider comes in, doesn't miss a beat, sets up 3 tries. I think the only knock that I would have had on the Dolphins in terms of people throwing them up is heavy, fuck me up as well. Premiership heavyweights got there. The only knock I would have had is their depth. What happens if Katoa does
as
go
in their
down
halves,
or whatever? Yeah.
Everywhere else depth is hectic.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, their halves depth. And watching him come in now, obviously it's not the same as Katoa.
Yep.
But it was cool to see their system sort of just keep rolling. I also think, is there a better centre pairing in the comp?
Not right now.
No, there isn't.
No, not right now.
I don't think
it's actually not even close at the moment, to be honest.
It's crazy. So there's so much to like about what they're doing, and I like that game. They just scrambled pretty well at different points. Tigers were definitely up for it, and at one stage, Buller comes down with a bomb, and there's 6 of them just in the picture to stop that try. I think that the more and more this season goes on, and seeing them win during Origin without guys, and I think their style will actually disrupt the Panthers at the back end.
It's 7 on the trot, I think, as well. It's not getting spoken about. You know what? It's not getting friggin' spoken about. I don't think Nikorima is signed for next year.
Yeah, well, when he got injured probably 6 or 7 weeks ago, he wasn't playing great footy going into that injury. I'm not sure if they thought, because you got George Williams arriving there next year as well.
Which I cannot understand. Like, because they were the best attacking side last year.
To be fair to them, I'm pretty sure they actually made that signing before last preseason. So I think they made it a lot earlier, looking at the situation, going, Nicaraema's getting older. Is he still younger? Like I think that Izzy's rise has almost sort of taken them by surprise a little bit. So I still don't agree with it, but I'm pretty I heard about this at the beginning of last season.
Yeah, and
I remember at the time going, I don't mind that. Young halfback, Cody's getting older, but the way it's aged and with how the players are going and where they're at in their career, I think George Williams almost going to sort of walk into that back line and maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah,
experienced guy arriving.
Yeah, like if they're going to go to a grand final, it's not a lock in. But let's say they make a grand final, and this is no knock on George Williams. I thought he was good at the Raiders. How that all ended sucked. But it's more just like it's a good lesson for the Dolphins. Like maybe don't sign so far out. Like don't make these deals so far out because you just never know in rugby league. Because Cody Nicaraema, he is the unsung hero of the Dolphins.
Yep.
Like he is the unsung out of all of this. Every single person we talk about, essentially in the Dolphins, he's usually like one of the last ones, because of his age and he's getting a bit older. But like, does Katoa flourish the way he has flourished without Nicaraema? I don't know. We're talking about a team that the best attacking team in the comp last year. You could argue they're going to be the best attacking team this year. The six is the tip of the spear. Your six is supposed to be essentially your best attacking weapon. Essentially, like you could argue six or fullback, but six is the guy. When we have good ball, make something happen. And Nicaraema is that guy. And so he's actually our battler of the week. The Bush Ranger Battler of the Week is brought to you by Bush Ranger. Power equipment, tough, reliable gear built for hardworking Aussies, even though Nicaraema is a Kiwi, but he's been in Australia for quite a while. Whether you're on the tools, on the land, or sorting the backyard on the weekend, Bush Ranger is built to get the job done. And we know the Bush Ranger, the Bush Ranger Battler. It's an Anzac thing. Brothers in arms, built to get the job done. Let's get the Battler of the Week. It's Nicaraema, and I'll tell you what. So game I think was essentially done, like it was won. I can't recall the last time in the 75th minute or whatever that an attacking team had 5 supporting players around an inside ball play. Like the attitude. It's one thing to have a lot of support, or not support players, but like players running back for a tackle. Because that's the thing that gets praised on the video sesh. It's like, it's the thing you talk all week about. We scramble. It's another thing to have that, but then also have 5 people around the ball and you just choose whoever you want to pass to. And that shows you where the Dolphins are at. Like regardless of where they are in a game, winning, losing, drawing, 70th minute, 10th minute, they keep their legs moving. It's exciting times. So that's the battler play of the week for me. Nicaraema's try.
Yeah, for sure. As you said, mate, or as you alluded to, it sort of just shows a good positive attitude coming out of this side. They're all on board. I think like the best teams in the comp look like they show up and they love playing rugby league together. And I think the Dolphins absolutely personify that. I think sometimes the Penrith Panthers can look a little bit robotic at times. They've sort of freed the arm a little bit this year, but mate, the Dolphins just look like they love what they're doing.
Well, and I'm not saying this is like being disrespectful. I say this is a compliment. Right now, the Dolphins are the Broncos of Brisbane. And it stings to say that. But when you think about it, look at the depth they've got. What do Broncos always hold their hat on? Like we have stars for days.
Yep.
What do the Broncos always hold their hat on? Having multiple people in the Queensland origin side. Now, I know it's an old school way of thinking. I get all that. But the reality is the Dolphins have Plath, Flegler, Gilbert, Hammer, and someone else. Someone else is in there. Fini Fuaki. That's 5 Queenslanders in their side.
Yep.
And that's a scary thing as a Broncos fan. Like we're looking across up the road, and we're going, their depth is way better, and they have more Queenslanders in the Origin thing. Actually, they might even have more Origin players than the Broncos do.
I think
right
they
now.
do. Not to mention that, realistically, Tom Flegler, who you mentioned, he took the spot of Tom Gilbert essentially.
Herbie Farnworth would be playing Origin as well. He's just not eligible.
Yeah, Bostock's in there too. Like he was on the 6-man bench for the Blues. I also think like what they're doing at the moment, it's easy to normally be one or the other in terms of you're either a team that when you're on, you put bums on seats and you're entertaining and people love watching you, but you don't win games, or against the better sides, like you get towed up. Like they are one of the better sides, and I fucking love watching them play every week.
They are prime time TV.
The
So
way they play.
look, I'm not sitting there saying, look, it's Broncos to the death as fucking forever, but like it is a little bit worrying as a Broncos fan. You know, yes, as a starting side, we have these absolute juggernauts. Now we've lost Payne Haas. So that's just like, I cannot, like, it still fucking hasn't hit. You know, it
really
is a little bit
hasn't
worrying.
hit, Like, even me, I pinch, like, I remind myself that he's not going to be at Brisbane next year. Like, it hasn't settled in for me at all.
How would you rate Broncos' depth compared to the Dolphins' depth? And
It's
been
dreadful.
In the
We said this for ages, but the thing that covered it up was you won the comp last year. So you went, oh, yeah, nice call, dickhead. It's like, there's no one there. Like, especially in your back row and your middles.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Like, and yet you look at them and they've got guns everywhere. Just like Kurt Donahue can't make the 17 at full strength.
Yep.
He's on our bench every week. Guaranteed, locked in. Just like, yeah. Anyway, so it's a compliment to the Dolphins is what I'm saying. Like, I just think that they are in such a strong position. Even like the intangible traditions that you would want a Queensland side to have as a Queenslander. And I know it's old school way of thinking, guys. I get it. But it just is what it is. And look, the thing is, we did win a comp last year, and that's awesome. But the next 5 years, we do need to sort out our squad and our depth and everything. I know we've been decimated with injury. Anyway, I'll speak up the Dolphins. Who stood out for you for the Dolphins, mate?
I was just about to say as well, and we'll obviously get to it more at the start of the next season, but George Williams arriving there. Like, I remember when I was over there for the Ashes, he was there 5'8". And like, I sure looked at that side and go, fuck is George Williams playing 5'8" for? But mate, all the English fans over there, they all say to us, they were saying to me like, no, you guys were idiots playing him at halfback. You made him be a controller of a game. That's not what he's like. He's a natural, like, I don't know I wasn't sort of aware of this year. How many games he's played over there in England?
How many?
260.
Wow.
He's played over 300 like first grade games between England and over here.
Yep.
Of those games, he's only played 70 of them at halfback, most of them when he was in Australia. So the vast majority of his career has been at 5'8".
Wow.
And, you know, whether the English got it right or wrong, I love to give it the more shit than anyone, but he has played 5'8" the entirety of his career. And I just, with how well this system has gone, everyone that's stepped in there, how good they've been, I do think there's a world where we are sitting here next year going, fuck, George Williams, what a signing.
I mean, I trust Christian Wolf, I'll tell you that much for free.
Yes.
Like, he has developed the fuck out of this playing group. Like, they're all playing better than when they were under Wayne Bennett.
100%.
Like, under Wayne Bennett, they were like a battler side. Now, and, you know, Wayne Bennett's resume speaks for itself, but now they're showstoppers. Like, they are true across the board.
Can I put my devil's advocate hat on for a second? Like, don't poo down my throat.
No.
Is there a world, you said before that, like, we're sitting here saying what a signing. Is there a world we're sitting here and George Williams is on a 6-man bench or playing Q Cup because, like, let's say Nicarima and
for sure.
Katoa push through?
Absolutely.
Because then
Hopefully they resign him, though.
he's the English captain, no? George Williams?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Imagine having the English captain playing, like, a role on a 6-man bench.
And Schneider will probably still be there as well. So you got both backup for both.
So Cody's 32 years of age.
Right.
He was born in 94. He's actually the same age as George Williams.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
Could have one of
interesting.
the best halves getting about on the bench.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, surely they've got to get this deal done with Nicarima. Surely.
Well, it makes sense why they haven't now, though. Like, you got the English captain coming to your side. But that makes way more sense now why they haven't got it done with
Yeah,
him.
but I think Cody, his football is demanding.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But that's what I'm saying. It makes more sense now why it hasn't been done quicker is they've also got an international 5'8" coming next year.
Because who have they lost for net? Like, Jermaine Sarko's leaving. Is that it? I don't think
Nafar
anyone-
who goes all right too. So
And he's been
He'll be
planned
on
to
the
take
sting,
over.
yeah.
He was outstanding on the weekend. Outside of that, I don't think so. Like, Trey Fuller stayed.
a lot of them are off contract. Was that you?
I think he's about 7, yeah.
Next year.
I mean, you know, the other side of the coin is if they do keep them all there, like, yes, you got him sitting on the bench, but if, like, I personally think they're in a premiership window right now and next year might be the year for them. To have that sort of depth is sensational salary cap balance.
If they can somehow keep Nicarima, and I'm concerned that it hasn't already been sorted, because, like, as if Cody wants to go anywhere now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, crazy stuff. Who played well for you for the Dolphins, mate?
I think it's, mate, just sort of becoming week to week with the Dolphins. I could throw a dart at this team list and hit someone. I think, you know, we look over the last 3 seasons, and I think the conversation's always been, you know, Herbie's in the top 2 centers in the game. Are we putting him in front of Critter now? I think we have to.
Oh, it's locked
He's
in now,
been
mate.
fucking unbelievable last.
Yeah.
Like, it was only injury that stopped him winning it last year as well.
Form-wise, I think the last couple of years he has put a bit of space between him and anyone else.
Even like from a point of view of Herbie, and I understand like Critter had those years there where he achieved more on bigger stages and had moments, but just week to week performance. Herbie's last 4 years, like I think you'd have to go back to like the Jamie Lyon days to find a guy that week to week was so fucking good every single week and was so important to his football team.
Yeah, he's like the Teddy of centers, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like essentially center of the year for 4 years now. Whether he won it or not, Teddy didn't win Dally M fullback of the year every single year.
Yeah.
It's one of those real rare, and don't get me wrong, because Tony Staggs kicked on and they won a premiership, so you can't say it was the wrong call. But it's just one of those rare sliding doors moment. The Broncos went Staggs instead of Herbie. And
isn't there so many moments like that when you look back at without getting onto the Broncos that you just look and you go, oh, it was the wrong call, but we won a comp.
we won a comp. So
We
it's
won
like-
a comp. So maybe it was
It's
right.
it's the least sense making comp win ever.
Ever.
It's just like it's crazy. Anyway,
Nafahu, who you mentioned before, obviously with Osako leaving, I feel like we're going to say it most weeks, but he is an outstanding footballer. And I think this is where the Dolphins have also built, as we've spoken about, their depth. Then there's the tier below that of the young guys that I know they are hyper confident with. Like you've seen a bit of the Brian Poynews and these sort of guys, but they are in an unbelievable spot heading into the future.
yeah, that's like great. What a great club. This is their 4th year in the NRL. And they're stacked
fourth,
beyond belief.
Wow.
Like, think about how long the Titans have been in the NRL.
Yep.
It just shows you how important having a strong club that's been around forever, it does for you. Because they've just gone, no, we already have better pathways than nearly any NRL club in the comp. We don't have to worry about development. We've done it for 100 years.
And before Titans fans throw their phone out the window, the Titans obviously made finals in the first year or two, but then fell off immediately. Whereas the Dolphins have just built steadily and look like, to me, they're going to be the real deal for the next 5, 6
And I will say, and sorry to be too harsh, but like, was there ever a year, and maybe there was, and I don't remember, where we were like, Titans can win the comp?
2010 was the closest.
Oh, early days, they were pretty good.
Okay.
2010, they had
It was a
prelim-
short period, though, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
prelim
So there
against
was
the
genuine
Roosters.
times where you're like, they could win the comp.
I think that
Like
that
they're
one
second best team in the
10,
comp.
11,
2010 was the 1 year where they were in a prelim against the Chooks at Suncorp.
But
like a home prelim.
but they weren't as good as the Dolphins now. I don't think.
I agree with you.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
comp
They
form.
weren't at this level. They weren't as well set up as this side, without a doubt.
They went on a run sort of late that year. in
Yes.
terms of
Yeah. I'm just,
But the good thing is, for the Titans, we're going to get to them. They're improving.
Lot to like.
There's a lot to like. So we'll get to that. Anyone else with the Dolphins, boys?
Donahoe, again, coming off the bench.
He was playing like a 6 role to a degree.
He's a motherfucker. I love him. He is just, I absolutely love him. I walked away from our Origin show last week and you said, do you need more rogues? He was the first guy I thought of.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got 10,000 dudes to pick from. Donahoe was the first one I thought of.
Yeah. Just to get out there and fucking rip.
Is he a blue, is he?
Yes, he is. Newcastle kid.
Of course, that actually makes a lot of sense. I ran into some boys at the pub like maybe a month ago, and they were like, "Oh, we know Kurt," and I was like, "Oh, cool." All of a sudden, I'm on FaceTime with Kurt Donahue. Like, I know I've never met him in person before, but yeah, it was mad. He was a champion.
He's a gun. I thought Finney Fuaki when he came on was good. I thought Lemuelu has almost been a little bit underrated this year because of the explosion of Finney Fuaki, but I think Lemuelu he's really established himself as a solid edge back rower.
Yeah. Where's his contract at? I think he's another one that I don't think they've re-signed long term.
And he started as a centre, didn't he?
He's 2027, so November 1 he can talk, much like most of the squad.
Jeez, he'll be a good signing for someone if the Dolphins don't keep him.
On contracts, like you mentioned before, but you got guys like Oren Keeley, Morgan Knowles, Kurt Donahue, Ray Stone, like these sort of guys. Like, do they have to lose one or two of those in the next couple of years? Like, if so,
Just to put it in perspective, Tommy,
yeah,
22 players are either off contract next year or can talk November 1.
Yeah,
22 out of
I
30.
remember you saying that the other day, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But like, that's what I mean. Like, who are you looking at there? Like, I look at Ray Stone and Kurt Donahue. I'm like, fuck, I wouldn't want to lose either of those guys. Are there guys above them that are probably going to be worth more coin by the time it comes around? So do you let one of those guys above them go, and then let those guys come through? Like,
Without circling back to it, if you have got George Williams and you're confident in his ability, maybe it is Cody.
Oh, I just think he's been too good.
Mm.
Has
who
George,
hasn't been too good? Like, you have to lose somewhere.
Yeah, but like, has George Williams played as well as, like, I know they made a grand final, but Nicodemus has been so good. But yeah, maybe that is where you have to
Like,
give.
it's salary cap. You got to lose somewhere. You
Yeah,
can't keep
yeah.
all these guys.
Did Tom Gilbert come off the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Weird optics this year.
that's how stacked they are, though. That they can go, oh, we're missing a couple of players because of Origin. I'm going to bring Tom Gilbert off the bench.
Molo's been going pretty good too.
They've been going
Yes.
so good.
Yep.
He is actually underrated, Francis Molo.
I think Tom Gilbert's it probably hasn't gone as I thought it would this year, though.
He's had moments. I feel like he's had moments for sure where he's been good. I think it's just going to take time.
Yeah.
Like even Flegler, you could argue, you know.
Yeah, well, personally, I'm a little bit. I know he's going to try that. I'm a bit surprised that Flegler was immediately into that Origin
Starting side too.
Yeah, that surprised me. But yeah, I know it sort of feels like Gilbert's maybe even behind like the Morgan Knowleses of the world and whatnot up there at the moment. So, which once again points to just how stacked they are.
Yep.
But for club captain who are very high on returning this year, I hasn't quite hit the heights yet.
Yep. Okay, on to the Tigers. I mean, let's start with the positive. Terrell May. Like, try saving tackles, throwing cutout balls for fun. And he, no matter win, lose, or draw, he is punching numbers out. And it's almost a travesty. No, it's not. It is a travesty that for some reason he just doesn't get a look in for Origin.
It's actually a bit weird now.
It's getting weird. It's getting weird. Because like I'll if you want to say to me he's in the mix, but I went a different direction, I'll go, yeah, sweet, I can see that. You got so many really good front rowers. But it's almost like we've all, even the media has agreed that it's like, oh, okay, he's just not in the mix. Like it is bizarre.
Yeah, it is, and it's I still said it a few weeks ago. Like, I don't even think it's a conversation for the Blues. I don't think he's even like, for whatever reason, for whatever the fuck it is, I think he's just had the red Sharpie put completely through it. It'll be very interesting when a new coach comes in next year, what their perspective is on it.
Like, what could have he done that's so bad? Because you've got to remember, the joke stuff was after he was brushed. And it was clearly a joke. Like, there's other clips of players talking New South Wales and Queensland that they're not joking. Like, they're not joking.
Yeah, say they support other teams, like
Yes.
the opposite team and shit.
Yes.
Like, I also, what makes it interesting about Terrell May, I would argue, like, if anyone suits the modern game and suits Origin in terms of being able to create broken play and opportunities, like, it's him. Like, he made 52 tackles on the weekend.
That try saver on Fini Fuaki was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Massive effort plays.
There's a handful of guys that make that tackle, I think.
He's bumping off essentially 99% of the players in the NRL there.
And, like, he gets offloads. He gets through a mountain of work with the ball. Like,
Has proven he can come off the bench and impact as well
Yep.
at the Roosters.
he can ball play. Like, there's nothing in terms of on the field. Like, and even, like, even though, he's a bit of a rogue off the field in terms of some of the stuff he can say and do, like, which I think we want personalities in our game. Like, if you're having a cry about that, like,
I just don't get it. Like,
relax.
what has he actually done?
that's what I'm saying.
Like, okay, is he outspoken and does he say some stuff that, as a playing group, you're like, fuck, we didn't need that or whatever? Maybe, but it's like, is that enough to go, you will not get spoken about in Origin? Like,
also-
I don't think it is.
So does our coach. So, like, the fuck are we talking about? Also, like, he, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I've never watched him do something on the field that's just really stupid and has cost his team in terms of like a really dumb sin bin or mouthing off to a ref or
Yep.
anything that you sort of go, oh, he's too rogue on the field to have him do. Like, he's a pretty disciplined player, all things considered. Like,
It's
crazy.
As I said, if you said like he's in consideration, but for all these reasons, just gonna miss this year, I can understand that. Coaches have the right. You've got so many guns, AFB, you name it, you've got it. Like, Keon can't even make the side. But what I can't get is like, what has he done that has gone, you will not even be spoken about at the selection table?
And we assume he's not being spoken about.
Yeah.
well, he doesn't get spoken about in the media. We can guarantee
And
that.
the media get tip-ups from the people selecting. Like, that's the way it all works. It's a great, like, he's getting robbed. Like, at least, I don't know, at least call him. And people some people say, oh, he's not owed anything. But, like, he's still eligible to be picked for the Blues. You don't think that it would be... What if you could get through to him? What if all those problems you have with him, you could get through to him and say, change this to this? And he went, yep, sweet, I'm in.
He's got a tip on. He's got an offload. He can play out the back. Like, imagine him and Payne Haas and Cam Murray. Like...
And that offload, that's the kind of shit in Origin you can't system for. Yeah, so
exactly. Yeah.
It baffles me. As I said, I can understand going a different direction if you want to. That's a coach's right. But to just be like pretty much ruled out completely, strange.
It'll be interesting to see if we ever do hear Because, I mean, me reading between the lines, he was at, Penrith originally went to the Roosters. They let him go. He's ended up at the Tigers, which, like, you could argue optically, he ended up at the team that won 3 wooden spoons in a row and was on their knees. Like, there was a lot of teams out there that needed front row forwards. I hope one day we do actually get some idea of what the reason.
Yeah, what the reasons were.
Because, like, there was other clubs that passed on him. There's no denying that whatsoever. There's no, I know that for a fact. And I'd love to know what those reasons are.
But what I'm not getting is like, okay, let's say they passed him. Let's all get on board. They passed him, whatever. But at least a call just to be like, this is why, bro. And the thing that protects the person calling him is if he does come out in the media and say, we spoke privately and this is what they said, they go, that's why we didn't select you, mate. We had a private conversation and you've just told everyone. That's what I don't get.
Do you reckon, like, just to your point, Rue, before with the club stuff, do you reckon there's a chance it could be as simple as, like, him and his 2 brothers have been pretty vocal about wanting to play together? Like, do you reckon there's a chance that, like that, if you know that that's something that they want, it's a massive chunk of your cap to commit to. Like, there's 2 of them there at the moment at the Tigers. Ideally, in their world, there'd be 3 of them. Couldn't it be as simple as, like, that was one of his, at the time?
No, I think it was the Roosters that tapped him.
I know the Roosters tapped him initially, but in terms of other clubs.
Which you also have to ask why.
Yeah.
Like, Rhea Hargraves had just left. You needed a front row
And
forward.
that was the weird thing, because he was also playing great footy for us.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was unreal. He was.
But I wonder, with other clubs knocking him back, is it because he was saying, hey, like, I want to play with my brothers? Like, that's something I want to do. I would leave to do that. Like, you're not going to commit to someone who there's a chance in a year's time if a Super League club or the Chiefs or someone said, hey, we'll take all 3 of you.
Yeah, I don't know, because, like, he's proven that he will stay at a club without his brother. He wanted to stay at the Roosters initially. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
anyway, he was incredible.
Yeah.
He was incredible. Even in a losing side against a forward pack that's stacked beyond belief. 19 runs, 167 metres, 61 post contact, 2 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 52 tackles, only 2 missed, no errors. And he played 80 minutes. Incredible performance. Got a bit of a Buller critique. Buller is a gun, no denying. And I've already admitted that I probably underestimated how good and how important he is to the Tigers. I will say I think it is a little bit of a weakness. He floats in and out of games a bit too much. And so you might start the game and you'll see Buller do something crazy and you go, oh shit, like Buller's on here. And then you might not see him for 20, 30 minutes. And I just think that, it looks like now he's on 8 to 900K. Looks like that's roughly what he'd be on. Because he's re-signed, has he? I just think if you're on big money the way he probably is at the moment, you can't float in and out of games. Like, you need to be impacting games as much as possible within the structure of your team.
Yeah, and in a fortnight, he plays games 70 of his career. It's not a wealth of experience, but he's past that 50-game mark.
Yeah.
Where he's played in a few different systems at the West Tigers, all that sort of stuff. There's no doubt he is incredibly talented, but yeah, and I mean, I would have almost assumed he was on a little bit more than that, considering how it all played out. And how many
maybe.
people were after him, which I think is a little bit overs for what you're getting there personally. But there's no doubt whatsoever the talent is there. The potential is enormous here, but I agree with you, mate. I think, like, realistically, if I'm naming my top 10 NRL fullbacks, is Jareem Buller in there?
When he's on,
Oh, sure.
yeah. But at the moment, no, not for me.
But I mean, if you're naming your top 10 NRL fullbacks when they're on, is he there?
Oh, that's a tougher conversation. Maybe.
Maybe.
I think he's around that 10 mark, but it's hard when you've got, like, he's not the main guy at his club. There's a lot of the fullbacks that you would have in your top 5 where it's like the game's built around them. I would argue at the Tigers that that's not how they play. Like, the whole thing isn't built around get Jerome the best possible looks. You know what I mean? It's more about Jerome when Alex Twaal's there, like the way they use him as a link. Like, that does make it hard too. Like...
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
if you're a
I don't know
fullback
about
in
that.
NRL,
Yeah.
you have opportunities.
For sure, but, like, we sit here and we bag Teddy for overplaying his hand. Like, you're never going to say that about Jerome because, like, the system's not built like that. Like, I think
That's
his
two
support
extremes, though.
play-
You've got the guy that's in a lot,
Yes.
in everything, little bit too much at times, and then you've got the guy that's probably...
Yeah. If I'm paying a guy close to $1 million, I want him over-involved than under-involved.
Yeah.
Me
Oh,
personally.
100%. I agree on that. I just think, like, he could definitely be better with his push through the middle in terms of being there for support play and things like that. But also, like, most of their opportunities on the weekend were kicks for him, contestable kicks. Like, I would argue he's still involved in a lot of the opportunities that they do create.
But that's
you know?
I guess that's more to my point though, because that's still floating in and out of games. So like come
sure.
in, do something mad, score a like hectic try or whatever. But then it might be like a 20-minute period where you don't really see him as much. And it's only because, listen, if we're talking about second year Jerome, I'm going, it's all part of development. As Rue kind of said, like we're getting into the period where, and look, I want to be clear, I'm not saying he's the reason why they lost at all.
Yeah,
it's
no,
more
you're
just
right,
like this guy he has a talent to be a superstar.
Yeah.
And in some games, he actually is a superstar. In other games, he just tends to like just drift in and out. And I'm not saying he's the reason that they lost, but he just, I mean, on the weekend, 17 runs, 150 meters, that's okay.
41 kick return meters, though. That's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not a lot. He had 2 errors, but that's okay too. He would have been challenged for ball. 2 tackles, 2 missed tackles, a line break assist. Like I just reckon there's probably more. He's got more in him, I reckon.
Do you want to see him link up more with Jerome on that left? Like,
I just want to see when the camera's there. I just want to be able to there's certain play. Like for example, Fletcher Sharp. I very rarely watch a game, and I know he's at 6, he's not fullback, but I very rarely watch a game where I sit there and go, he wasn't really involved that much. He didn't really I just with Buller, when I look at that spine, you've got Luai, Madden, and then you've got Appy. I just think the magic he could create with Appy around the ruck could be almost unstoppable.
I agree, and that's why I think the biggest thing that he should be more involved is around the ruck. Because I think one thing that's underrated, and we spoke about this with the Blues, like where you want to build a game plan towards your strengths. I look at Jerome Luai, when's he most dangerous? Coming off his left foot back towards the middle. That's where I'd love to see, if 12 digs in, plays out the back on that left to Jerome, if he's able to come back against the grain, that's where you do want Jerome pushing through. But it would be a pretty challenging spine to find your place in at the moment.
For sure, because Appy's was going to be my next talking point. He almost plays like a 7.
Yeah.
Like he almost plays like a 7. Like he's still getting out of, but like he creates the space that a lot of 7s create for their 6, if you know what I mean. Like,
yep.
And I looked at that and I'm going, is that how you lean all in with Cleary and the Blues? Like you put Robson on for the first 20, you bring Appy on to play 60, and your whole MO is space for Cleary to give him time to do what he needs to do. Because I was watching on the weekend and I was like, geez, he just like once you are good enough to be on his level, because that's the hard thing with Appy. If you aren't as highly skilled as him on his level, he looks like an idiot. You're sitting there going, Appy, why are you doing that for? Fuck me, just pass the ball. But once you get on his rhythm, he is a master.
Yeah, I think with Buller as well, he's played 11 games this season. In only 2 of those games has he had more than 35 touches of football.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which you want more than that.
You want more.
Yeah.
Spine might be hard to play with, sure. You're the fullback.
I get that, but again, you got Appy at 9. He's on ball. He wants to jump any chance he can. Jerome always wants the ball. Before you had Jock Madden there, who sort of is more of a role player and he'll get you to points and he's happy to be sort of not the main guy. You had Dewey there, what's his main strength? Running the ball. We're talking about the 3 other guys in the spine. They're all runners first. So I think naturally Jerome becomes a guy where, and I agree with you both in terms of he should be pushing through the middle more as a support player, but you're still a support player. So how are you meant to get more touches of the ball? For him to get more touches means Jerome's getting less touches or, Appy's dishing earlier. And that's where I think it's a hard dynamic that they need to sort of find if they want to push further, at least next year while they've still got Jerome,
Yeah.
I think there's an element of that he chimes in and out of games.
Yeah,
they can't rely on him being there.
I think that those players absolutely would create opportunities for him if he was around a bit more. If I put, Teddy, you put Teddy in the Tigers, he is going to be touching the ball. He's going to put himself, 100%. And that's probably too much at times. I'm trying to think of other fullbacks that are top tier getting paid essentially $1 million that are in stacked spines. They still find
is probably a good example in terms of someone who he's playing in a spine behind 3 other runners, and I would argue he's noticeably more involved than Jerome.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you guys in terms of that he needs to be more involved. I completely agree. I just think it's
not like he's at the Dragons where he's got 2 conservative 6s or 7s.
Yeah.
And it's just all on him. Or even if you could argue Manly at Turbo's peak. But yeah, thoughts on Appy. Is it, now I know Egan came out and killed it, but is it almost a lock? Reece Robson first 20, Appy comes on. and his whole job is just to get more space for Cleary.
Do we think Reece Robson's a lock? Like with Blake Brayley now back and playing?
No, I don't.
I think Reece Robson's fine. I think he's been fine. He's just been left on the field for too long.
Yeah, no. But like, I think from a Laurie Daly, it wouldn't shock me if he does leave Reece Robson out of this side. I think you just got to use your hookers properly, which is, as you just said, Robson. I'd probably go the first like 50 minutes I would go for, and I think you let Robson let his ass fall out the back. Then you bring on, and I don't actually care whether it's Appy, Blake Brayley, whichever one. I think
Egan?
I'd be okay with Egan. I think I'd rather have. I think if you're going to run with Egan, I'd rather sort of start with Egan.
Okay.
I think that's what they should do. Like, I love Reece, but I reckon they should get like say a Wade or a Blake to start. You can still have Appy there on the bench. I think we need more creativity from the start because like Reece tackles his ass off and does a job. I think we need more creativity. Like,
Yeah, that's where. And my only worry with Wade Egan would be, is he going to stay upright for 50 minutes realistically? That's where I do lean towards Blake Brayley starting, Appy off the bench is what I do. Because I just don't think, and once again, you don't know with Reece Robson whether he's been told not to or whatever, but I just...
Surely he's been told.
You would hope so.
Because him and Teddy have linked up unbelievably at Clubland.
and
Yes.
Why would you not lean in? Like, that's the other thing. Like everyone bags Teddy. It's like we were just talking about Dream being more involved through the middle. When we've been successful as a Blues side over the last few times we won a series, like when Cookie was the 9 and Teddy was the fullback, like we lent into that style a lot.
Well, I
And
think
probably
the
middle.
Cleary. This is why I don't think you can pick Cleary and Teddy together. And granted, I did have Teddy in my game for game 1, but I think it's just been proven. It's either or. Like either Teddy's the big dog and you potentially go Moses, or Cleary's the big dog and you go Edwards or Turbo or something like that. Because as a number 9, he's probably being told just shovel the ball to Cleary, and that's him and Teddy have worked in such a combination, and that's coming, as I said, that's coming from someone that I thought they could make it work, that combo, but it just doesn't seem to be working.
I think even with like Queensland's the same though. They've got guys who can run the football, and that's where like it sounds like I'm saying Cleary can't. Like we've seen Cleary do it before, but like that idea of just feed Cleary early and let him sort of try and pick him apart on edges, like I don't think we can do that.
Well, I wonder whether Appy can be the circuit breaker that creates a bit of drama around the ruck, which forces the outside in to either jam in or give Cleary space. But yeah, back to the Tigers boys. Who else stood out for you?
I just think as a whole, the Tigers should come out of this game. You read 36-22. It's a 14-point loss. I think
Lost
Jermaine
Madden,
Osako.
lost Herbert.
I was about to say, like, not only did they lose those guys, but it meant that it completely fucked your interchange. You had to use an interchange on Makasini, getting him out there. You had to use an interchange on Heath Mason. And they also use young Lanyon as well, the young hooker. So you end up using 3 of your 4 bench spots on a hooker, a winger, and a fullback playing.
That Madden call, I almost feel like they have to go, because it's foul play. If you have to get taken off for a HIA, surely you go, okay, the ref got that wrong. That's not counted as an interchange.
Yeah, well,
Because I understand it wasn't the most obvious, shots or whatever, but it had to have hit him in the head at some point if he got HIA'd, unless it's
if that's
whiplash.
the outcome.
Yeah. Unless he got whiplash. Is that what they're trying to say?
well, you apply common sense that the idea that the Tigers lost out there, like the only people that lost out there were the Tigers having to actually use another interchange after you get the HIA one for free, obviously, but then at some point you're not using someone else on your bench now, whereas if you can activate that extra guy,
It changes a lot.
changes the whole thing. So
I will say as well, like, I don't think anyone, like, let's say we get, out of 10 of these situations, we get one of them where you got a free interchange. I don't think anyone's going to be fucking blowing up about that.
no, because also
Whereas
like,
you can be blowing up about the opposite.
what's the priority there? It's like looking after the players, the contact with the head thing. So even if you're not going to like penalise the guy or assuming him, if they can see after the fact that there's contact with the head, I think there should be grace for them to be like, okay, well, you still get that free interchange, or you can activate that guy.
Because it changed everything for him. Literally
100%.
changed everything.
Well, the
for
other
him.
thing that made it interesting as well, and I don't know if this is just a reality of the 6-man bench, they wanted to give him some time in reserve grade, but Latu Fanu played reserve grade. He'd normally be sitting on that bench. So I don't know if this is just part of the rotation of we need Latu to play some football occasionally, so let's put him down there. But could have been a very different game had Latu come on that field as well, because Heath is not a ball player like that.
Yep. I think Alex Safebar's been quite good the last couple of weeks, especially last week.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's been unbelievable.
He's a good player.
He sorted out his discipline for sure.
Yes, and even just, he obviously scored the try, which was fucking unbelievable. I can't believe that happened. But just throughout the game, he just went after it the entire time. They get 12 back this week or next week, I believe. That'll be a huge in for them. But I'd be, he was previously playing that role where he plays the last 15 minutes. I'd be finding more minutes for Seyfarth.
Yeah, he's been great. I thought Luai was outstanding again.
Yeah.
Even though they lost very hard he had 3 try assists, he was really good. But I just think they came up against a premiership heavyweight. And I know, and also the interchange got smashed. They lost their halfback, like just one of those games. Lost their centre.
Yeah.
Just one of those games.
Not to mention, Dewey's already out. 12's already out. Like, it's far from a perfect
KPP's
situation.
already
Happy
out
didn't
too.
train during the week. He was in Origin. All this sort of stuff. So, yeah, KPP's another one.
Yep.
Finu's another one. Both edge back rowers are out. Like, they're missing a lot of players to get beat by a team that we're talking about being the second best team in the competition by essentially 8 points until the last player is a pretty good result, I think, from where they were 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm with
Huge.
you. I'm with you. Alrighty, Titans defeat the Panthers 19-18. And just off the rip, this is the service of the week. Ashley Mazda's service of the week. It's the Harrison field goal. Don't forget, guys, end of financial year is coming in hot. So if you've got an ABN and need a car for the business, don't overpay. Luke the Car Man's hooking up exclusive bloke pricing before June 30. Shoot him a DM. And also, if you buy any new or used car from Ashley Mazda, you mentioned bloke, you will go in the draw to potentially be gifted a chance to spend a day in a suite with myself, Dral Yali, Alex Glenn, and Alex Glenn will take you into the Broncos sheds after. So incredible money can't buy experience. Also, Luke, he's a finance man, jet skis, motorbikes, caravans, you name it. Luke can finance it. Any deal, any budget, all credit, welcome Australia-wide. DM Lukey, LDC_01. A massive thank you to Lukey and Aspley Mazda for partnering with the show. Our partners are the reason we can do this thing. Zane Harrison nailing the field goal. But what's crazy is the field goal was 1/3 of the greatness when it comes to Zane Harrison. The comeback that he managed to put together as an orchestra, like, it was so good, I almost expected the Titans to release him the next day because that's what they do with their sevens.
Whoa.
No, don't joke aside. Oh, I'm sorry. That was too harsh. That was too harsh. I apologize. But, like, it's kind of true. Incredible. All jokes aside, incredible what Hannah has done with this squad compared to the start of the year. The gutsiness that they showed, they had barely any tackles inside the 20 of the Panthers. And I know immediately people go, they rested their origin stars. That's irrelevant at the moment. The Titans are at the bottom of the table, looking to rebuild. Harrison, absolutely incredible. Both of his try assists, just silky ball playing as well. Just such good signs for the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, try down the left edge in particular, the one back end of the game. Sensational pill. Anyway,
What about Howe's ability to, like, hit and spin one hand, get across the try line? Like, he's...
some talented guys there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I read as well, the Gold Coast Titans, their starting 13 the other night were all guys that debuted for the Titans.
Wow.
It's unreal.
Really?
to see.
That's
You
awesome.
wouldn't see that very often. Titans are heading in the right direction, doing good things. Zane Harrison, he was fantastic to own that moment at the back end, or own those moments, I should say. Unreal to see. Even better when you look up his profile and see he's from Tweed Heads,
Proud New South Welshman.
this side of the border.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
I'm sure he'll
Pause
get...
to yourself, bud.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get into camp and play mad under you guys. Essentially, goats going to camp and like, what's a football after they're in there for a week?
You think he's going to go to the Warriors and have a breakout season? Bit like his mate Tanner.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking that for a second there. I was like, they're already putting together a press release to say, nah, I don't like him. See ya.
We won't be doing that.
That was
He'll be-
really uncalled for by you again.
Well, he fucking brought it up. He was the one that brought it up. You're New South Welshman.
I'm stoked he's a blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was coming back to that drive by on the Titans before. I'm a massive Titans guy, actually.
As you can see.
Wearing Guru's Titans hats. I stole it on Friday. Sorry. You'll get
But
it back.
I was about to bring that up actually. Yeah. He didn't even say to me this morning, "Oh, I borrowed your hat." He just
was there.
was wearing the hat.
That's family, though. That's family.
Yeah, we love each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love
There
you,
you go.
brother.
Family. Zane Harrison, what I liked about it, it's just like 3 try assists. He genuinely, what do we talk all the way, like all the time about is sevens controlling the game or sevens conducting their team to points on the field to get a victory. What I liked about it is the game was on the line and he literally said, this is what we're doing, boys. Get around me and I'll make it happen. Like, we have guys in the NRL that have been in for a decade that struggle with that. He's 21 or something.
Yeah, we'll get to it in the next game. But yeah, when you compare, for example, what happened in the Manly game
Yes.
to what he did there, sensational from Zane.
Absolutely. And like the under pressure against the Penrith Panthers, the heavyweights, like let's say this was a bottom of the table clash, you could understand why he had that kind of confidence. But to have that confidence against a Penrith Panthers, that's still, even without Nathan Cleary and everything like that, they're still a unbelievable side. That's special. That's special. It's an incredible moment for the Titans.
Yeah, he that play where he set up Sami like to run the ball on last, gave him the balance against the Panthers, and to ice the moment was huge. Also, earlier in the game, they did a similar thing for Jojo that Queensland did the other night. And he actually he got the ball wide from the left side, made that edge come up, and he isolated Garner on Fafita, and the Panthers scrambled well, so Fafita didn't score, but that was another little moment where watching Zane, I was like, got a massive future. Like, I think this win in the context of the Titans' history, I think is pretty important, which I know sounds hyperbolic, but you could look at it and go, oh, the Panthers were missing guys. Tino didn't play. Like, let's not pretend that in the last 5 years the Titans ever would have been any chance in this game, realistically. Like, to stand up and win like that, and more importantly, as Guru said before, with a bunch of guys who are Titans guys, like I think it's a definitely the most important win in the Hannah era anyway, in terms of where they're at and that they're on the up. I thought it was awesome.
And it's the way they did it too. It wasn't like the bounce of the ball was going their way. They were stuck in their half. Like, they've beaten the Broncos and the Titans now. I know the Broncos aren't as good as last year or whatever, but if you went and watched the Broncos versus Titans game, they had no right to win that game as well. Like, when was the last time you looked at a Titans side and said they just won through ticker? I can't remember. Usually it's they won because they were unbelievable in attack.
Yeah, they also lost Cooper Bye too. So not only did they have no Tino, they lost Cooper, who's obviously the more that the season
essentially after the first tackle as well. Like, it was very early in the game where he got head high.
Played 10 minutes. Like, and that's where I think this will be a win that we look back on in the context of not just their season, but moving forward and be like, that was a point in time where probably even from within the playing group, they're like, okay, like a lot of self-belief was definitely developed. I also think like Arama Howe, like the combination him and Zane will develop. I think that's one to watch over the next year or so. Like,
he's 23. He's like 23 or something.
Yeah,
now,
and he's actually
big
huge.
Boy.
He's another guy where, because they're also big, like you sort of don't fully clock how big he is. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'3".
Another one I want to give a little shout out to, boys, Mo Fodawaker.
Yep.
I've been critical of him over the last few years. I thought in this game he was sensational. He ran for 144 run meters, 57 tackles.
Yeah, and his second half was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago he was made co-captain, and I sort of looked at that and went, what is doing there? But, in hindsight, obviously Tino had a lot going on in his personal life, all that sort of stuff. And I think, to be fair to Mo, over the last 3 weeks, he really has stepped up. And as you said, with Cooper Bye got injured, Tino not playing, Mo had to stand and deliver in this game, and he certainly did. So credit to him.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think that we spoke about it. I'll be honest, I was a bit shocked that he was named co-captain. I think it makes a little bit more sense that Tino, with the Tino situation going on. But since that moment, I think Mo Fodawaker has really taken that upon himself and said, okay, I've got the responsibility now. I need to be a leader out here. I can't afford to have quiet games. I can't afford to kind of fade in and out of games. I'm with you, Roo. I think he was outstanding.
A line break assist in there as well for Mo.
Oh, stop it.
Doing it all.
Wow.
Not nothing. Every team needs
minutes.
Curtis Moran as well.
Oh, mate, his impact was
Hook
huge.
him to my veins, please.
Yeah. And, it wasn't perfect. I think he had an error and, it wasn't perfect, but it's just energy.
Yeah, he's rugby league.
Yeah, energy off the bench. I was always surprised that the Dogs allowed him to go. I always felt he was good at the Dogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was great. What's crazy as well is they started the game and it was they had a 33% completion rate for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, they were down, 12-0 after 12 minutes.
They let a try in off a fucking tap. You're sitting there going, oh my God, this is about to be a disaster. They somehow rallied around each other and took it out of the fire, really.
Yeah, I think if you're going to concede a try to anyone off a tap, Liam Martin trying to play for an Origin jersey, I can probably be a little bit more understanding.
Yeah, you get
what
a
about
bit of
Liam
forgiveness.
Martin pre-game, those scenes of him in the change room?
I didn't see it.
Holy hell.
What was he doing?
He was just sitting there with it. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying.
We're just staring at the wall kind of stuff.
Not far off. He
Oh,
had his
really?
eyes closed, just breathing in and out, but like a scene out of fucking Hannibal Lecter or something. It was
Yeah,
full on. You should
Awful
see
day to
it.
half.
Yeah, wow. I like that. Is it meme material? Can we use it for a meme or something?
Fucking oath, it's meme material.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it, Matty?
You can have a field
No,
day.
he's not listening.
You can have a field day.
It was crazy.
What did you guys make of the hookers? So Pascoe plays for 29 and then
They looked like they really. I mean, he was gassed because they had no ball.
Yeah.
I thought it was smart from Hannay to go instead of going, no, I'll leave him out of there. Just go, okay, this guy's gassed. Let's get him out of here.
I like the way that he handled it post game too when he was asked about it because there was a little bit of a sort of like suggestion almost as if like what's doing there. Like,
Yeah, like has he been hooked?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, they just did a really good job of getting at him, gassing him out. And Sam's done a job for us before, and it's important to remember.
You know what I
So-
like about that? I hate to fucking bring it all the way back to Origin again, but like just an honest, clear answer. You know what I mean? They were getting at him. He was tired. Brought him off.
I nearly fell over, Cam. I haven't seen that in a long time. I didn't know what the fuck to do with myself.
Instead of like, oh, you know, you need to see what's going on in the game and make decisions, and it's like, yeah, we know that.
Yeah, why'd Ollie come off? And yeah, no, Sam's been really good.
Yep.
Sam's been really good.
Interesting, because obviously there was that meeting, Verrills with the doggies. Freddie
Yep.
Lussick ends up getting signed. I think, didn't Hannay also say something like that means something, or something along the lines that implied Verrills re-signing potentially, like along those
Well,
lines?
it's worth looking at. Is pretty much what he was saying in terms of like it's worth remembering. I think there's been a lot of talk, given Pasco's been sort of front of mind and front and center. Like he was pretty much saying, don't forget about the value that Sam brings to this side.
Yep.
And I think that was probably the best example you're going to see of it. Like against the Panthers, granted, like we said, a few guys out, but still, as Roo said before, like you got a lot of guys in there that had a lot to play for, and they were up for it. Like, yeah, they were just bested.
Mate, they had him camped. They had him camped. Who else played good for the I mean, Kinney, dangerous as always. 13 tackle breaks. Holy heckers.
Yeah, he was great. Jaden Campbell running for 180 metres was nice too. Like, I think they're another team, not to the same extent as the Dolphins, but I am really enjoying watching the Titans play. And I feel like this whole season, early on, like because there was a lot of questions defensively and probably a few errors as they were finding combos, you didn't get a lot of glimpses of it where it felt enjoyable. Whereas I feel like each week now they're getting more and more consistent, and I'm just loving what they're doing. Like,
Yep.
so exciting.
Jaden Campbell. Bit of a, like, where is he in his career? Is he close to Origin? Is he not close to Origin? Like, bit of a weird one, because I feel like he has the same amount of talent as anyone in the game. And he has the same, you even look at him play, he breaks game open constantly. Where's he at in his career, do you think, right now?
Well, I've said a few times, I would have had him on the bench for you guys. I think it would have made the most sense there. I kind of think there's a world where if Zane Harrison, you know, it might be a year or two away, but if he can develop, I do think 5'8" will be Jaden Campbell's best spot. I know he, you know, made a real fist of halfback, did well there, but I don't think he liked having the responsibility of planning out sets of six.
And, like, do you even want him doing that shit?
No, why would you want one of your most naturally gifted players?
In regards to, like, individual attacking brilliance, he's in the top tier of the comp.
Without
correct?
a doubt,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
But it probably he doesn't get spoken about in those same circles, you know?
No, and I think part of it's got to do with that he's at the Titans, realistically. But yeah, I think as far as naturally talented and just natural instincts, like as far as the amount of intercepts he takes, the amount of times the ball just seems to bounce to Jaden Campbell, you know, obviously it's a cliche, but just like his dad all over again. Just, I don't know, you're either born with it or you're not, and he is.
He's got it. He's
Just,
got it. And his toughness has improved so much too.
On his dad. So his dad never played for the Blues, but he did play in New South Wales country. Is that the first time that we've seen like it's father and son on opposite sides of like Jaden, obviously Queenslander, if he does play?
Is
that
it the
confirmed?
first time?
Well, might be the second time when Rain grows
Oh, I
up.
was just going to say, yeah. On the right side of history, though, Rain, young Rain. But yeah, like pretty
Pathetic
pretty
loser,
weak.
Rain. Look at him and just like, you're weak. You're weak. So are you, Hayes, you little weakling.
You had
Joking.
former Michael Hagan, former Queensland assistant coach. His grandfather, I think, his grandson played for New South Wales the other day, Diesel Hagan, in the under-19s.
Okay.
So
Well, you got the great Bradman Best that essentially said he used to get in punch-ons with his dad about it. Love that.
Well, his nan punched on too. That's well documented. So.
Honestly,
did you hear
like,
the Luke Keary story the other day?
no,
Luke Keary said that because obviously he went through the process of playing for Queensland and got denied, ended up playing for New South Wales. He reckons that his parents never missed a game throughout his whole career. He got picked for Origin. He didn't hear from them. He then got to the afternoon of the game and his dad messaged him and said, "What are you up to tonight?" He's like, "I'm playing Origin." He didn't reply. And then when he lost, his dad messaged him after and said, "Thanks, mate. You did what you needed to do for the state." And then at the end of his career, when they went over to France, I believe it was, gave all of his jerseys to his dad. He gave him back the blues. I was like, I don't want this in my house.
fucking oath.
Yeah.
Fucking oath, bruh. That's great stuff. Maybe we, like, Bradman Best Nan versus Kiri's dad in a celebrity boxing match.
That would be awesome. I'd go. I'd love that.
Honestly, after hearing that Bradman Best story, I'd almost pick him every year just because I heard that. Like,
I'll be bringing his nan in as coach potentially for game 3. Probably best nan.
she's got a good bench rotation for sure. Better
yeah.
than currently.
What was the original story? What he used to have stinks with his old man.
I think something along those lines. Like, he definitely said I used to punch on with kids at school over it. Like, I hated the Queenslanders. Like, there was something about his nan.
His nan had a stink about Origin or something at like
Which
an
is
RSL or some
fucking
shit. It was
great
mad.
stuff.
It's so good.
It's pure and true. Like, if you could distill rugby league into like a moment, that is it.
What's funnier for you blokes out of like, let's say Luke Keary's dad, is it funnier if he genuinely was like, what are you up to tonight? Like genuinely just like blanked on the fact that like
He literally blanks. When New South Wales gets selected and it's on the TV, he literally cannot see it because
doesn't
he
care.
blocks it out.
Is that funnier or is it funnier if he's like actually just there like, I'm just going to fuck with you here? Like,
You know what? He's literally trying to get into his son's head to fucking make him play bad.
so good. It's so good.
He's trying to make him have daddy issues heading into game fucking 2. He's not happy with me being here.
Just 80 minutes of
Just
daddy
for the
issues.
state. See, that's pure and true too.
Yeah.
As a Queenslander,
They're
I
like-
love it.
Yeah, they're heaps tight otherwise, but just for 80 minutes, just mad daddy issues.
Let's
Love
say just quietly, that jumper's getting close to maroon, just quietly.
it. It's obviously brown.
Yeah, but it's getting close.
Bakery brown. Nah, that's ridiculous.
It's getting pretty close.
ridiculous.
Just saying.
Blue eyes, mate. Can't change that. So
Oh my
I'll rest my
god.
case.
You know what? You guys would select a bloke because of the fucking color of their eyes. That's for sure. That's the kind of selections you make.
Mate, why'd you guys pick Reece Walsh?
You guys, actually, you know what? That's not true because you keep Cam Murray on the bench and he's fucking.
Yeah, if you pick hot, you probably win. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the other thing. Like even with all the stats and shit, like that's where you can't marry. I can't go through it again.
Like, if you're a hot bloke and you've made it to the top of rugby league, you must be pretty fucking good. Because we weed you out pretty quickly if you're hot.
imagine
'Cause we don't
like
like it as ugly blokes.
Reece Walsh has fractured his face like 5 times and he's still that hot.
Yeah.
It's such bullshit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
anyway,
Great Reece Walsh. So good. Anyway, back to the Titans. An unsung hero of the Queensland side is Jojo Fafita, and I do think he just looked like he had a bit extra about him on the weekend. I feel like he's getting that Origin boost of confidence. I still think, like, do you get him on the wing? I know it'd be like obviously. Oh well, actually, speaking of wingers, I don't know how to say his name. Tomapia.
Yeah, Jensen. Yeah.
Tomapia. Just wanted to send our best wishes to him. It looks like he's dislocated his ankle, very serious injury. But yeah, I guess like if there is a wing spot free, is there a world where they move Jojo Fafita?
Well, the other one is, and I am blanking on his name, the winger that started there this year.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking
I believe
about.
he returned via Queensland Cup a couple of weeks
He's
ago.
like a nuggety,
Yes.
like a Toto kind of player.
Yes, I'm completely shooting a blank
Yeah.
on his name though.
Yep.
Famani, that's
Famani.
it. Yes, I believe he's available. I think he played 2 weeks ago in Q Cup, so I assume he played over the weekend. So he's another one that'll come into calculations. But yes, I think if you've got another centre that you can play, I wouldn't be moving him for Jalen DeGroot, for example, which I think will be the option realistically. So I think you probably keep Jojo at centre and you bring either Jalen
Because
DeGroot.
I think like Jojo in Origin on the wing has been sensational. Like especially like a lot of his work that he did game 2 was when we were under the pump. Like got through a mountain of work. It's really good signs, and I'm happy for Josh Hannay because like he took some pretty big risks about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and just said, you know what, I'm going all in on this young kind of, I guess, spine, and also Cooper Bly's going to get more minutes, and it seems to be paying off. Like it seems to be like they're building a gritty culture there.
It's
They
definitely
really are.
paying off.
Yeah. So, like, that's 2 gritty wins against 2 juggernauts that are supposed to towel them up. There's a lot you can dine on that for at least 12 months as a coach. Go, boys, look at this performance. This is the standard now. This is what we have to do every single week. And once our attack clicks, we'll be able to go with the best of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things too. Like, he had to pull the trigger sooner rather than later on that, because if he'd left it like probably any longer, then there is pressure on those guys more so, I would say, in terms of you're putting them in to play essentially out of dead season. You know what I mean? Whereas he put them in at a time where like there was still some motivation that they could turn it around, and I think you're seeing that from them. Like they're playing with a newfound energy, and yeah,
It's gritty. Now,
exciting.
this shows you how gritty this win was. Possession-wise, the Penrith Panthers had 55% possession. They had essentially 6 more minutes of ball. They had 220 runs compared to 186. They ran for this is fucking mental. 2,200 meters compared to 1,600 meters of the Titans. So you're looking at essentially, give or take, 600-700 more meters. I'll say 600 more meters. Give or take a bit, maybe 550. That's heaps. That's like 6 or 7 sets.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's heaps. Like let's say you average 40 meters a set or 45 meters a set. 500 meters, that's almost 10 sets. That is 10 sets more.
Yeah, also
That's
massive
heaps.
difference in their kick return meters can be like it was 340 kick return meters for the Panthers versus 61 for the Titans. Like, makes sense
Wow.
that they pinned them down for so long.
Yep.
But yeah, like that's the thing. Like you wouldn't associate a Titans outfit normally winning in circumstances like that, but they did. And
I mean, here's a really good stat for the Titans though: 5 line breaks to 2.
yeah,
Even though they were getting dominated. I mean, it's a gutsy win. 19 offloads to 7.
less errors too. Like Titans made 10 errors versus
Yep.
17.
The
so
Titans started the game terribly,
Yeah.
terribly. And then they come out and they win. It's an incredible win for the club. It really is an incredible win. The Panthers forced 5 dropouts to 1. Far out. So really, really good. They can build on this. I'm loving what I'm seeing in the Titans. I think it's smart from Hannay where he's sitting there going, I'm going to try to build a foundation of a gritty side and then we can add all the flary side on it. Okay, on to the Penrith Panthers, boys.
Just before we do move on, I was just checking to see if I could see if that Titans winger played on the weekend, if he was available. Just looking through some team lists. You know Lachlan Ilias? He's playing for the Ipswich Jets. He's playing 5'8". Do you know who his halfback is?
Albert
Played
Kelly.
Origin for Queensland. What'd you say?
I said Albert Kelly, don't I?
Played Origin for Queensland.
Played Origin for Queensland. I reckon he played for like 4 NRL clubs. He's retired from the NRL. When
Alfie
you,
Langer?
when you think this guy, you probably wouldn't think halfback.
Oh, Trevor Gilmaster.
Nah. Moses Mbai is his
Petro.
halfback.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Far out. The great Moses Mbai.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old do you reckon Moses Mbai is?
36.
32.
Oh, what the hell?
Wow.
Wild, right?
Onto the Panthers. Man, I thought they did. It's hard because like 80% of a game plan they did perfectly. They held them down in their end. They won the meterage battle. They won the repeat sets, everything like that. But their end of sets were diabolical. And unfortunately, it was just like Cogger, he just didn't create anything for them. Now, I will say, it is getting to that point of his career. He's still young. He's still got plenty of time. Where Blaze Talangi, this is where he kind of needs to step up. Now I know I'm not sitting here saying he needs to be a 7 or anything like that, but that initial grace that you give rookies, it's starting to come to an end a little bit for him. Now I'm not saying he played poorly at all, but when you've got that much field position and he did have a try assist, in his defense, and I still put him in the young player bracket because he's 20, 21 years old. But it is getting to that point where it's like, if you've got that much field position, if you want to be considered one of the, premier sixes at a premier club, you've got to make something happen with it.
It's interesting. We out at the CBA Bowl the other night, Blaze was standing about 10 metres away from us. And just actually seeing him in person, like, I think because, I see him on TV every week. He's in this Panthers side. He's playing finals footy, all that sort of stuff. Like, seeing him in person, just, the way that he is, dressed, all that stuff.
He's young.
It's fucking crazy how young
He's
he
young as
actually
shit.
is.
Yeah.
Like he really, watching the under-19s, we go, oh my God, these guys are just kids. It's like, Blaze is 18 months older than these.
Yeah, he essentially a year and a half ago, he was here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think he's still young enough to be in that category, but I think a year down the track he's probably not. As you said, he's approaching that spot where he's out.
I'm not there yet at all, guys, but I just think like he was supposed to be the signing for the next, whatever years that was going to go with Cleary. Put it this way, 2 or 3 years before Luai left, when Cleary went away, there was a big expectation. Cleary, get it done for us.
Yep.
Jerome, get it done for us. Now, Blaze is years away from that. But I do think this same game next year, you'd probably be a bit more like, okay, bro, like we need you to do something here for us now. So as I said, he's still so young. I'm not saying like, drop him or anything like that at all. Not even close to that. It's more just like, as you get older, more responsibility gets on your shoulders, especially as you're touted as the guy that we're going to build a club around kind of thing.
Well, what happens if they lose Nath? Like at the moment, I would argue Blaze last 12 months that he has built. Like he's worked on his defense a lot. Came back this
Definitely
year a lot
improved.
bigger.
They're definitely improved.
So he's building, and I think it's easy for him because of his playing style to develop when Nath's there. What happens if they lose Nath? Like,
especially for a long period.
Yeah, no, sorry, I mean as in
Yeah, I
Nath
know.
walks
Yeah,
away. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
like
and that's where I it's hard because he's so young, I give him grace, as we should give all of our halves grace. But if you say I want to compare you against other top tier sixes, with that much field position and that, we would be saying about those sixes, they need to do more with that field position. Like, let's say Dylan Brown was doing that.
Yeah.
We'd be saying, now he's not there yet. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and I think that is the biggest caveat to it. That age-wise, he's not. Like, are there any other 5'8" his age that are?
I don't
well,
think
probably
he's
say
so
Strange
young.
is the closest, but Strange is still a year older than him.
Yep.
Strange is also the guy though, which is different. Like where he's playing, whereas like, and that's what I was alluding to before with like if Cleary signs elsewhere or goes overseas or something in a year's time, like Blaze, the Blaze thing makes heaps of sense when he's outside Cleary, like like to develop, and he's got that level head there, and the guy who's on ball, like the whole thing changes for me if Nath's not there. Like all of a sudden, I think he's under a lot more pressure than what he is right now. Like we all watched that game the other night, and yeah, they could have won. They had a lot of field position, and yeah, at some point you're gonna expect him to convert that more. But the reality is, like, he's still so young.
Still so young, and also like if I'm looking to hand accountability for this game specifically, I think Cogger had quite a poor.
I agree. Yeah, I think he was pretty poor in this one.
And he isn't young, and this is actually his job. When Cleary is out, come in, get the job done, and I don't want to be too harsh because it's not like he's on $1 million, but they laid a pretty good platform for him to do some stuff. Like you probably couldn't get much better.
Yep.
So that, I guess that's probably disappointing for the Panthers. And look, Ivan alluded to it to a degree. He said we lacked our killer instinct, and I think he's bang on. Like you had him there, you had him by the throat, and you just couldn't put him away.
I think one big positive coming out of this game for the Penrith Panthers, Patea, who came off the bench. He only played 30 minutes. He went for 135 metres.
He's a gun.
He did enormous.
I remember maybe last year he came off the bench against the Broncos.
Yep.
And he was fucking outstanding.
Yeah, I heard rumours at the start of this year that he was shopped around a little bit, and he hasn't played any first grade this year. I think that might have been his first game of first grade this season. I could be wrong. Yeah, he's an interesting one. I think he'd be obviously with Liam Henry leaving and whatnot, maybe he's a guy that could step into a role next year because they're going to need someone too. Because I think this game also highlighted again, as we spoke about the last few weeks, that Liam Henry is like a proper out-and-out prop.
Yep, he was great.
But you got Lindsay Smith, who's probably more of a link man.
He's a 13. Like, honestly, you could look at Lindsay Smith play and say that was Isaiah Yeo.
Yeah.
He plays very similar to Isaiah Yeo. And I actually think that's why they re-signed him. Yeah, re-signed him for as long as they have, because they've gone, okay, it looks like Isaiah Yeo's probably on the move here. We'll pull Lindsay Smith through.
Lindsay scored a try, obviously, to square it up and get him back in the game, but the Paul Alamotti flick.
Oh, my God.
Like, he's a guy who, and we spoke about him briefly a few weeks ago, but, like, he never gets thrown up at the moment for Origin.
True.
Like, every week. Like, even to get back from that side of the field, nail the conversion, it wasn't a gimme. Like, I feel like he's a very, very, very clutch player for the age that he is.
Well, you look at last year in the final series, outside of Reece Walsh, he was probably the best outside back of the whole final series.
Yep.
Yeah, the year before when they won that
He got
grand
brought
final
back
as well,
in, yeah.
Well, you had to move, was it to the other side of the field during game, also play out of position. Like, he'd
Yes.
been playing centre the whole time, had to move to wing and then finish that try.
Yeah, he's
ended up proving
outstanding.
The difference.
Yep.
Like, he's a freak. Like,
It's not a bad shout because, like, I can imagine the physicality, because that's why I like Bradman Best so much in Origin, is just his physicality. Like, I know he can take a hit up like a front rower.
yes,
Alamotti, very similar. Yeah, not a bad shout because that flick pass was, like, genuinely unbelievable.
ridiculous.
Genuinely unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
I will say on that flick pass, like, it is a good lesson for Titans forwards. You just got to keep moving. You can't, I know you're tired. I know you're gassed. I know it looks like, 9 times out of 10, that ball's not coming back in. But if you go back and watch it, there's some inside men that as the ball goes past them, they stop.
Yeah. And
it's just like, you just got, and it's easy for me to say I'm not out there gassed as anything in the middle. But unfortunately, I guess that's just what makes good teams good. But they got the job done. I thought Liam Martin definitely put a good case forward for Origin selection.
Yeah.
Just really physical. And I think that if you could be critical of anything of Liam Martin, I do think sometimes he almost waits for big games for club. Like, I think sometimes he almost can, he can go a couple games where he's a bit chill. Yeah. And then the big game comes and he's the best bloke on the field. I think that, going forward, they're probably going to need him to, rip and tear. Not rip and tear is the wrong word because he does rip and tear. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he does go through little patches at Clubland where he gets selected because he's Origin made, rather than if you were just purely looking what they played on the field. There are other back rowers that you could argue have better stats or whatever.
You can throw a dart and hit a back rower that has better stats than Liam Martin, but it's the intangible stuff that he brings.
And big games as well.
Big game, like, mate, there'd be 9 or 10 guys running around the NRL that have Clive Churchill medals. He's one of them.
Yeah.
There probably wouldn't even be that many now, I think about it.
Edge back rowers, like, very few.
Very few.
Very
like,
few.
Luke Lewis. Next to each other.
Lukey Lewis, Craig Fitzgibbon, like some of the best of the best.
Luke Lewis, honestly, most underrated fucking player ever.
Yeah.
What,
Actual gun.
The boot is like a
Winger.
A winger, played halves.
Crazy.
And when you say like not many back rowers, like even Luke Lewis, like having that Clive, even that's a bit controversial as well. Like there's not many that have it realistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in a side like Penrith who was so dominant, for him to get it that.
And his wasn't controversial either, which was big. Like to be a back row that won it, where it was like he was objectively like the difference.
Clear. So I thought he was really good, and it's funny when you meet him, you don't actually realize how fucking big he is. He's a big, thick boy. I remember meeting him at the NRL Fan Day a couple of years ago. I was like, fuck, I thought you were like a small, kind of like terrier edge back rower. He's fucking big.
Big.
Yeah.
He's got a Dexter Morgan haircut too, which is important.
Yep. So he'd be in my squad for sure. I think that whether it's him or I'd bring him off the bench, I'd probably start Olakau'atu, just because I probably trust Liam Martin more to know how to handle coming off the bench than Olakau'atu. Like, whereas Olakau'atu, he might be able to be impactful off the bench, but I just don't know. Does he have enough experience doing that?
I think like I've heard a few people, and people always describe it now as like the Spencer role, like that person who can come off the bench and just explode for us.
Yep.
Obviously, because Spencer did it so well in like 2024, but to me, like you could get Liam to play that role, where you just tell him just come on, disrupt, bring energy. Yep. And he could do that from the middle or at back row. So, yeah, I'd start Hamola and bring him off.
Billy Phillips. I love him. I think he's such a gun. He's such a unique player where, like, you look at his physique and you're like, there's not much of him, but he's fucking strong as shit. Strong as
Made a real difference for him this year.
Yeah, he's been great. And he's come out of nowhere. Like, I didn't really hear that much talk about him or anything like that, but I think he's been great. And, like, if I had to be hypercritical of this Penrith roster, I would say, like, if they have another player like him, you're probably getting too many Isaiah Yo's in your roster because you've got Lindsay Smith, Billy Phillips.
Yep.
And you built the dynasty essentially on 2 explosive forwards. So Leota, Fish, Henry's leaving. So it's like, is it Patea? Is that how you say it?
I believe so.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to be the guy, but we don't know that. He hasn't actually played much first grade. So they still need that explosive forward that can go in tandem with Leota.
Yep, I think the other one that deserves a shout coming out of this game, and I know we're sort of used to this shit from him, but Dylan Edwards, 312 run meters, 99 post contact, 8 tackle breaks, 107 kick return meters.
Insane. Like he just basically guarantees a good start to your set.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure the message from Ivan Cleary is like your number one job is like no errors in that, but your number one job outside of that is good starts to sets. That's it. That's all we need. We need a good start to the set because it changes everything.
Yeah.
So look, tough loss. Yep, for sure. They could have completed their sets better, like as in the end of their sets better, and they had the opportunity to win it. But man, look, this is only their second loss all year. I honestly don't really buy that much into it. On to the next game. Okay, this is our KO can't miss game. Let's get straight into it. The Doggies defeat the Seagulls 13-12. And the KO can't miss moment is the Critter field goal. Watch all games live and ad-break-free on KO Sports. On Thursday, we have Eels versus Rabbits. Then Friday, we have Titans versus Bulldogs live only on Fox League. And then Broncos v Roosters. We have a big Super Saturday this week. Dolphins v Warriors, Cowboys v Panthers, Seagulls v Storm. And watch all three Super Saturday NRL games exclusively live on Fox League. It includes with KO. On Sunday, we have Raiders v Dragons, live only on Fox League, then Knights v Tigers. Remember that the only place you can watch every game of every round live with no ad breaks during play is Fox League, available on KO. And F1 heads to Austria as the European summer stretch continues at the fast and flowing Red Bull Ring. One of the shortest laps on the calendar, delivers high speeds, aggressive racing, and little room for error, with every sector crucial. Watch the Austrian GP exclusive live on Fox Sports, included with KO. Races 11 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Boys, Critter, field goal, nails it, big game player. We'll just get to the biggest talking point though. Critter moved to 6. Thoughts?
Sure. Had to do something to spark this side. I don't think it's a long-term answer by any means. They had to change something though. If it's getting Critter with the ball in his hands more, sure. Thought it was interesting going into this game. The Bulldogs, actually, their reserve grade team, they played before the Warriors game the next day in New Zealand. They had Sean O'Sullivan and Alex Conti in that side, so they could have picked Sean O'Sullivan to come off the bench in first grade. They picked Conti, which I'd like to think might be suggesting that he'd be getting closer to it. First time he sat there. I wonder if maybe this game went a little bit differently, if potentially they would have got Conti into the game at some point. I think that's a spot to watch with Canterbury over the next few weeks. But if they're winning with Critter at 5'8", sure.
Yeah. Look,
just win games of football. That's all you got to do, right?
I'm just glad they tried something.
Yep, exactly.
Just something. They've look. I don't think Critter's the long-term solution. And did they look like world beaters in attack? Still a little bit clunky, but they definitely looked better. And I just think he adds spark. Like he's trying things. He's captain enough to override things if he has to. He's closer into the play, the ball, where he can kind of if he's seeing that they're being a bit sideways or they're not getting certain points, he can really talk to Lockie Galvin. So I don't mind it, man. And they got the win. That's all that matters. That's really all that matters. What do you reckon, Tommy Wom?
I think that Critter is just a competitor and he finds a way. So I think right now it makes sense that they're doing that, and it definitely looked better than it has. But I'm very nervous, boys, about young kid by the name of Mitch Woods, who's sitting there, where I think the more I watch them and the more I watch them mix and match with not bringing in Sean, not bringing in Alex, moving Critter to 6, I'm like, are they just sold that Mitch is the guy? Because if Mitch is the guy and they're just biding their time for him, whether it be next season or whatever, he's going to come in as a young 7 who hasn't played yet. He's going to be expected to steer the side around so that Galvin can then play his natural game more. Awful position to be in when they're already under pressure. Is that how you guys are seeing this playing out? A lot of talk about this Conti. Is he the answer? Are they trying to ease him in now? Is he jump Mitch Woods? What is the long-term plan?
I hadn't really thought about it like that before. That's probably not how I
Yeah, it's not the angle I thought of.
see it.
However,
But now that you've pointed it out, I can see how you've got
what
there.
more does if you're looking at it like that, it's kind of like Conti's been in New South Wales Cup all year,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
So it's the only thing I can think of, it's a big game against a form club. Do we want to be throwing in a rookie in a big game like that?
No, for sure. And I get why they didn't use him. What I'm saying is, moving forward, whether it's one of those guys as year 7, so whether it is him or Mitch Woods, if that's how they're planning, Galvin has looked most comfortable to me, like everyone says, when he's running the ball. They try and play so square and linear with him that he's never really given opportunities to run the ball where he can create space for himself. Are you expecting that next year or the back end of this year you're going to bring in one of those two guys and they'll take over all the responsibility that you've thrown on Galvin? Is that what the solution is? Because if that's the solution, all of a sudden I'm way more nervous about the Dogs than I was a month ago.
Well, prior to that, were you assuming that Galvin would share responsibility?
Well, I was assuming that they might be just going, okay, well, at least for the next year or two, we've brought Galvin to the club. We had Burton there. He got us to a minor premiership. We were on track to a minor premiership, I should say, last year. Let's lean into a running style. I've spoken to you before, Kempy, about how they used to, even last year when they were flying, and even Sexton was there, they'd have a lot of shapes there that actually turn Birdo back under towards the middle so that he could take the line on himself against tied middles as opposed to just going against the 3-man, 4-man. There's been none of that this year. It's all been just block plays. Everyone talks about how much.
So are you more concerned that all the pressure will be on the young fella?
Yep.
And B, they're going going to go away from the running game into a more conservative style of rugby league, which is the 7 controls everything.
Well, I feel like that's how they're playing now. Like, obviously, Preston's been out for a while, but Pui's got all Galvin does is play the short balls because like they just look like they're playing so restricted. So all of a sudden, he's saying that next year or whenever it comes, like if that is the case, like let's say they are looking at like a Mitch Woods or Alex Conti, and they're like, we think that's the guy who's going to partner him. Do you throw him in sooner rather than later, as opposed to playing Critter? Like I assume Critter's part of your plans long term. If he's playing 6, you're not gonna win a comp with him at 6 right now. So
Yeah, I think it was just it's a big game. In this,
Yep.
they technically can still make the 8.
yep,
I think they're 2 wins outside the 8, and I just think that Serraldo's looked at it and gone, listen, it's just way too much to because like. The problem with the Bulldogs is there's been so much talk about their halves that anyone that comes in is immediately under the microscope, especially while their season's still alive. If they couldn't make the 8 anymore, like the season was essentially done, I reckon they put him in. I just reckon he's been a little bit patient with Conte and being like, I don't want to rush him.
for sure. And I don't want Bulldogs fans to think like at the end of the day they won the game, right? They beat a team that's been going really well, and I think that's awesome. And Critter was the difference. It's just a dangerous game, in my opinion, to be playing that where the one half that you've got in your side that was in the halves when you were coming first last year, he's playing in the centres now. You got a centre who's injured. He's playing 6. Like, I get the idea of we want to win now and we can still make the 8. And of course, you're not just going to wave the white flag for your season. But the more that you lean into that, trying to keep this alive, moving guys out of their position, the further you fall away. Like, I'm coming from the angle of last year. At one point in the season, it was them and Penrith and Daylight. You know what I mean?
But that was with a traditional 7 and Burton.
For sure. And that's exactly what I'm getting at. It's like, well, if that's what you're going to go back to and it's Galvin now instead of Burton, at what point do you bring in that traditional 7 so he can actually debut in the NRL?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like I'm talking about like moving forward long term.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the
I
game
get
itself
that.
on the weekend.
I think they still think they can make the 8. And I think that they've just gone, Critter's a big game player. He makes things happen. He brings energy. You know, I can understand why they held back on putting a 7 in for this game specifically.
For sure. And so can I. Like, but what I'm saying is now, right? So if you've just beaten, everyone's talking about Fosball, how good it is, how creative they are, and I love watching them play at the moment. You just beat them, and yeah, it was scrappy. Do you run with Critter there now? Like, is that what
I think
you
without
do?
a doubt you do. They go Titans, bye, Raiders, Tigers. Like the next month, it's 3 games of football that I think they genuinely think they can win. So I think that they would just. I think they still believe that they can make the 8, and just go.
I think that's mad. So, like, if they do name the team tomorrow, are we expecting to see Critter at 6? Or do
Yeah, I
they-
think so.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that they've just gone, fuck, got to try something. Put Critter there. It seemed to have worked.
Yep.
Let's keep him there.
Okay.
In regards to performance, though, like super gritty performance. I think that's one thing the Doggies fans can be really happy. Obviously, the win, but they were tough. Like the Seagulls could have put him away a couple of times, but somehow, some way, they hung on to it. And actually, one of those moments, NordVPN Defense Player of the Week, the Harry Hayes covered tackle. Yeah. What a huge moment for a front rower. I honestly believe Harry Hayes has the talent to play Origin. He's big, he's fast as anything like that. He was moving quick for a big boy. You know, he has dropped a little bit, I guess, but when he did come back, you realised how much the Bulldogs missed him. He's a bloody good player. I just thought that Harry Hayes cover tackle was all heart, all ticker.
Yeah, very underrated player. Harry Hayes has obviously become more and more important to this side as time's gone on. Like, I think there's been a few occasions where you've noticed him not being there when he's been out. I think as well, if you go back a couple of years ago, I think he played on the wing. Yeah, New South Wales Cup 2022 and 2023, played 5 or 6 games out on the wing. So
Wow.
very versatile. Obviously, that speed that he showed. And I think that in first grade, we sort of seen him as just an out-and-out middle forward, but he can play on the edge as well. Like, even just in New South Wales Cup, for example, he's played 5 games on the wing, 20 on the edge, and only 1 in the front row.
Wow.
And 44 games coming off the bench there as well, which I kind of think is his best spot.
Off the bench.
I love him off the bench. I think he brings great impact.
Huge impact for sure. So heaps of energy, super hard to bring down as well. But yeah, he's our defense player of the week because that cover tackle, just all ticker, all heart. And essentially that won him the game, really. Like, if he doesn't get across there, they score, I reckon.
Oh, for sure. I love with him too. Like, we live in an era of rugby league where it's all filmed, it's all analysed. We all talk about stats and fantasy points. Like, if you look at his stats from the weekend, like he ran for 30 metres, had 6 runs, made 30 tackles, which is good, but like it's not something that you consider to be crazy. But that play won him the game. Not only did he make that cover tackle, he gets up at marker and makes the next tackle on Hamola Kawatu, who's trying to score.
Yep.
Like 5 meters out, 6 foot, whatever he is, like huge.
Yeah.
So I love that even in an era like this, like you still got guys out there, and Liam Martin probably fits that mold too. But obviously he's done a lot more at that stage of his career. But still guys that bring those intangibles, as Guru said before.
Yep.
It's awesome.
So that's the NordVPN defense play of the week. I was overseas before the season started and used NordVPN myself, or sporting events, TV shows, you name it. Another great feature is that you can switch your virtual location to so many different places in the world. This allows you to save money by purchasing flight, hotel subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. It's also super safe. NordVPN provides you with privacy online, leaving no digital footprint by hiding your IP address. It's like wearing an invisibility cloak online. To get the best discount off your NordVPN, go to nordvpn.com/bloke. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast episode description. I've got to say, I think Leo Thompson's been building nicely these last few weeks. I think Leo Thompson's been building nicely. Like, it's not necessarily like, Payne Haas areas, but I think he's been quite good. I think he's building nicely. Another bloke, Tuala, bro. I know he had an error or two, but mate, I felt
Had
like
an
every
error or
time,
two trying shit though.
Yeah, far out. Like every time he got the ball, it looked like he was about to score.
Every time he plays center, he does.
It's crazy.
That's the other thing that I said it a few weeks ago. Right now, Nari Tuala has played better footy at centre this year than what Critter has this year.
I wonder whether that pushed their decision a little bit too.
I think it would have helped. Well, I mean, they had Bronson Cherry there, who's been, as much as he went to the bench, ever since he's come back, he's been really good. He went back to the bench in this game, didn't even get on the field. I think that's because of how good Tuala's been.
Yeah, which is crazy because I actually think Bronson's been pretty friggin' good.
He has. Yeah,
Yeah.
bloody oath. Yep.
Geez, he'd be frustrated as hell. He'd be like,
You'd be
am I
losing your mind if you're Bronson.
Yeah,
Cherry,
like
yes.
I'm essentially losing a spot because you can't drop Birdo, you can't drop Critter, and I got this other guy absolutely ripping.
Yep.
So I think Tuala's been outstanding. Connor Tracy had an error or two, but just got through a mountain of work.
Tried fucking hard in this one.
Yeah.
As he always does, but
Yeah. You literally could not have tried harder. Like I do, you're still suffering from the same problems, doggies, with the creativity and around the back. Like you don't really score that many tries or skin people that much there, but if you're looking for a guy that's going to give you effort, like honestly, you couldn't look for much more. 31 tackles, 327 1 meters, 71 post contact, 2 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 2 offloads. I think it's the second most a Bulldog ever has run as well. Wow. So that's just all effort. I do think it'll get lost in the noise a bit, but I do think this is a really gritty win from the Dogs, really tough win, which is like, that was the one thing, like, listen, if their attack isn't great, I go, okay, we've kind of known that for a couple of years now. The one area where I was like so shocked at was just how far their defense had fallen. But I think this game can just really instill back in them a lot of confidence of like, no, our systems still work if we're just fucking all on board. So a really, really good win. Really good win. Anyone else stand up for the doggies for you boys?
Just about to say before we do move on, Nari Tuala in the last 5 weeks, he's averaged 184 run meters per game and 5 tackle breaks per game. Like, he's a proper footballer, Nari Tuala.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sorry?
I was just saying, I remember us talking about him before the whole Bronson debacle at the start of the year. We were talking about him and pretty much how, like, you'd assume he'd be the guy that drops out, but how could you? And, like, that was seemingly when they were going okay. Hasn't been great since then, but he's definitely been a shining light for him, and no one's really throwing up that he's going to be a guy that drops out of this side. Like, I think it says a lot about how he's going.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, just quickly before I move on, look, I understand it's brave as anything from Kiraz. Like, I admire it. It's something to be, very proud of. But, like, I just playing this bloke when clearly his calf is Gonski's, and I know that he kept on playing, but I just don't think it's healthy for him long term. Like, obviously, I'm not a doctor, and they've got much more information than I do, but I don't know. For a guy that's already injury prone, do we want to keep unbalancing his body? Like,
We'll stress again, not a doctor. They've got more information than us. With the information I have, I think it's fucking crazy.
Like,
I think it's insane.
We want to unbalance this guy's body even more. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get, like, with a injury prone might be too strong of a word, but like he has had quite a few injuries over the last couple of years. I just don't get it, man. I don't get it.
He's also like, I know he hasn't played Origin, but he's an Origin level player. He's He's one of your best players.
And you build the next decade around him.
Is there an argument this year he's been their best player? Like when he's
One
been
of them.
on the field, he has been incredible.
It was great. It was great again. He was great again. But it's like, not a doctor, but like, surely if you've torn your calf, you can do more damage by playing on it a week later.
Oh,
Surely.
big time. I also just hate that
Boys,
he's...
he tore his calf and played on it 15 minutes later.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
warm up
what-
last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they reckon he's
It's
got
insane.
a 5 centimetre tear in his calf, right?
Like, surely that can get worse if you continue to play on it.
And he's still faster than me by some margin. And I hate it. And I hate it. Like, it's just fucking...
And he's strong as anything. And he's got like mental toughness, tick, tick, tick. You can't get much tougher. But I just
crazy.
don't.
Not to mention that game that he did it in the warm up. He played fullback.
Killed it too.
Yeah.
He had 10 tackle breaks. Insane.
So I don't get it. I don't know. With a year where you're already like, you're done. You're not winning a premiership this year. To risk no, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too pro player, and that could be a possibility. But I don't see the. Maybe he gets through the next 10 games, sweet. But if he tears that even worse to the point like a 10 centimeter tear or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, it's...
My experience in playing sport, if you've got a soft tissue injury, you don't run on it straight away because you could do more damage.
Let alone play NRL.
Yeah.
And he's killing it.
He is flying.
Like, it's so good. So good.
This
Crazy.
on the weekend, he ran for 154 run meters. That was the first time in a month. Keep in mind, he's been injured that entire month that he's ran for less than 240 run meters in a game.
240.
Yep. Like when you say it out loud, it's outrageous. Like he had 4 tackle breaks on the weekend, which is still a good knock. The week before he had 9. The week before that he had 10. The week before that he had 6. And I mean, I would offload. Christ, I sure as shit wouldn't offload because I wouldn't run the football. But you have a look at his offloads over the last 4 weeks. He had 5 this weekend, 7 last week, 6 the week before that, and 7 the week before that.
Mental.
Tell me that these teams aren't coming into this game going, hey, don't let Kiraz offload the fucking football. And he does it every week at will.
He's probably the best offloader in the comp, to be honest.
I think he is the best offloader.
Him or Herbie Farnworth. Just unbelievable.
Yeah. Fair.
Just unbelievable. But yeah, I still don't. I don't know. Maybe the science has progressed past that point and they can stop it from tearing more, but I wouldn't be risking it. I just wouldn't be. Because, yeah. Okay. On to Manly. I think they just got a little bit comfortable in we can score points when we want it, and we're in form right now. We'll get it done. Definitely the one that got away. I just, for the life of me, cannot understand, especially that last set, passing to Ruben Garrett. But I think there was a set before that as well where I was like, what is happening? Geez, what a missed opportunity. Really, really disappointing.
Yeah, big time. I think it goes a little bit deeper than that as well. Like a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago now, when Manly were a tyre fire, like the fact that they had Brooks, who's sort of unproven in those big moments, and Fogarty that struggled in those big moments, I sort of went, they're not going to be in them anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
Now they're in a position where not only should they be playing finals footy, they will be playing finals footy. They should be competing with some of these best teams in the competition. All of a sudden, I think the weekend highlights a serious problem with them when it comes to September footy.
Yeah. And it's been essentially Fogarty's Achilles heel for a few years now.
Yeah.
Just now he has won some games with drop kicks, but for whatever reason, he doesn't back himself. Like even that last play, like if he misses the drop goal and they lose, you just go, okay, well, fuck, shit. That sometimes happens. Like sometimes you lose drop goal offs. We've seen goats lose drop goal offs, but the way it happened was like he'd almost convinced himself he can never kick it. And then standing flat like that, I couldn't understand it. And then passing to Garrett. So you're basically saying, this is a tougher angle, harder kick with a guy that shouldn't be as good a kicker. I'm going to give it to him instead of just getting a bit deeper and having a crack. Like it seems like a lack of confidence. Like it seems like he gets into those moments and he just doesn't back himself, which is crazy because I would be like, mate, look at what you've achieved over the last few years. Like back yourself in. And if you miss it, you miss it. But missing it like this is worse, unfortunately.
Is there a world where they rattled his confidence early in the season by bringing another ball-playing half in for a tour of the facilities?
Wow. Didn't think of that one.
Is it your fault?
Well, I was going to say, like, having met him accidentally as a champion, it has to be a confidence thing, but because, like, he missed one 15 out right in front. I reckon if you took Jamal out on a Brookvale Oval and you gave him 100 shots, he'd kick 100 of them. Like that shot is, because to your point, Kemi, like if he sets up and he gets deep and he has a shot from 30 out and he misses it and there's pressure, like you sort of sit there, and we're probably having a similar conversation, to be fair, but it's not as much as like you didn't grab the moment. That has to be 15 out right in front and he had time. Like that has to be a confidence thing. That has to be that you're just completely overthinking.
And then going to Garrick, which would suggest that that's rattled you a little bit.
Yeah, as opposed to doubling down, going again. Like, I mean, that's the best thing I think about a lot of these games that get won by field goals. More often than not, you go back and you watch them. The guy who kicks the field goal probably missed one.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Well,
I mean,
did
Crichton.
Critter miss one? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Critter actually, he had one that he feigned. He went down the short side. He put in a kick on third tackle.
Yeah,
like,
fourth tackle.
It wasn't like it was just Fogarty that got these wrongs.
Yeah.
Critter came up with the moment, but had a brain explosion.
But he also did miss a field goal too.
Yes.
Like it
And
happens.
I guess that's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Is like back yourself still.
Yeah.
Back yourself in.
Yeah.
Just look what Critter did.
100%. So no, I'm not going to take responsibility for that. Bro. I think that's a Jamal-based thing that he'll
Which
work
is
on.
crazy because like I think he's crazy for not having confidence in what he's achieved. Like you took a team to a minor premiership that is absolutely on its knees right now without you. Like, look, I know Ricky Stewart's looking long term, but I'm sure he's probably sitting there going, "Oh fuck, could have used Fogarty for another year." Look how Manly's flying, but unfortunately now it's like if you're Foz, you're almost sitting there going, "Geez, I hope we can win a game by golden point before we get to finals footy," because that's going to be sitting in his head. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
unless he clears it with a win.
Well, yeah, and I think it's been sitting in Fogarty's head for a couple of years now.
Far out. That sucks, poor fella. Like I get. It's almost like an unselfish way of thinking because he's thinking, okay, I missed one that I should have got. All right, I'll give it to someone else. It's a gun. Like I totally actually understand the thought process. Like I get it.
Yeah, bloody hell.
It's almost like more team first than the other one. But it's almost like you got to look past that and go, no. You're our main guy, and in all these moments, in every moment we've got, we want you to be our main guy, even if you've missed one. And I think that he's got arguably one of the best coaches coaching right now to instill that confidence in him. Because how many times would a foreign been in that situation where he needed to have confidence in himself to be the main guy? So, but I will say, it's not just Fogarty's fault. Like they had plenty of opportunities to finish that game out.
They did, yeah.
Like they really should have. And as I said, I just think they got a little bit too caught up in. This will just happen for us because it's happened for us in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Just on the field goal thing too, boys, like I think it is a concern if they can't get their halves. Like let's say, and you don't know what the conversations are in terms of what their field goal set looks like at each club, but I mean, if Garrick was the guy that they've decided they want him to be one of the kickers, fair enough. Like, I think back to like obviously Latrell when he was playing in the centres, he'd be one of your main kickers. Like that one he kicked against Melbourne. But the reality is on that field at the same time, you've also got your Luke Keary's, your Cooper Cronk, so you got options. To me, it would be such a telegraph and a giveaway that if you're doing a field goal set and your right centre is the guy who's going to kick it, way easier to apply pressure on and sort of see when it's coming, as opposed to if you've got multiple guys. Like even the idea of having, if you can have Jamal or Brooksy that's deep, even if Garrick is one of those guys, you're still going to take pressure off either side. Like I think to your point, Kempy, they do need to get a win, not necessarily golden point, but where one of them does sort of kick a clutch field goal just to sort of get that monkey off the back and actually show that they can do it.
Want a random Jamal Fogarty start?
Yeah.
Yep.
Made his Toyota Cup debut in 2012.
Wow.
In that game, scored a try, kicked 4 goals, and kicked a field goal.
Oh, no way.
What position was he playing?
Hooker.
Fullback.
Shit.
Wow.
Wild, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Spent half
out.
of the 2012 Toyota Cup season at fullback for the Titans.
Wow. Okay. Just some breaking news, guys. Satili Tupanua out for 8 weeks. Hamstring tear.
Okay.
That sucks for the Dogs.
Sucks, yeah. Big opportunity for the man we just spoke about, Harry Hayes, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
assume he'll be the guy to take that spot.
Yep. Or they might put Salmon out there.
Salmon's already on
Salmon's
there.
already on
Salmon's
the other
on there,
edge.
yeah.
So I'd say
Yeah.
it'll be Hayes.
When's Kickout back?
I think he's still a few weeks away. I think Preston's still a few weeks away too. So
Okay. In regards to some other
he was going
performances-
good though, Tilly.
Oh, mate, it's his best year. Easy his best year. Some other Manly players that played relatively well or just some comments on. We spoke about it a little bit earlier, but I did feel like Tommy Turbo did look a bit encumbered. He did look a bit encumbered still.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, just playing within himself, I thought. And you know what? If he's like that for week 1 back, given history, I can accept that. week 2, though. And obviously there's more pressure applied to how closely we're watching him because of Origin. But, yeah, I think he needs to have a big performance this week in order. I will say this, though.
He still ran for 200 metres. It's crazy.
Yeah, bloody yes. And I think this week he takes on the Melbourne Storm, who their edges have been very brittle so far this season. I think Turbo would see this as a big opportunity.
Yep.
And I think it's maybe it's not a must-win game for them. It probably is a must-win game for Melbourne, to be fair. But I think this is going to be an important one for Manly coming off a loss. Some big games this weekend.
Huge games. What's weird is I remember watching going, oh, look, Kawatu, like he's been good, but he's been a little bit quiet. And then I looked down at the stats and I was like, oh, he's run for 182 metres, 88 of them were post-contact.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I reckon one of the things I love about Manly at the moment, especially on the Foz, is the way they use their back rollers and the variations. Like that last Lehigh try where they use Burbo, almost like the sweep.
Yeah.
But then they'd already used him as a sweep earlier, and then they throw that tunnel ball straight through him, and they had a middle run in the lead on that short side too. Hit Cooler and just gives them enough space. Like I love how they use Hamole and Burbo so creatively. The other guy that I thought they really missed was Kobe going off pretty early, and not coming back. Like in saying that though, meant Nathan Brown. The old dog,
what a mixed game.
Yeah.
Comes on, plays pretty well, and then just some brain explosions, unfortunately.
And that's the thing, right? Like you're going to get that from him, and that's why I think they always do try and really control his minutes as best they can. And I think the fact that Kobe went down meant that they lost that luxury. And you could argue that
because that's the difficulty of you're playing this edge-to-edge footy that they play. If you don't have the players to if you don't have front rollers that can tip on in that, like a Kobe Hetherington who used to be a 13, it can go all pear-shaped really quick. I mean, this is why teams don't play edge-to-edge, because these things happen with the big boys trying to ball play to a degree. Now, I'm not sitting here saying the Manly Seagulls should not ball play, but yeah, just that last pass goes to deck, just a disaster.
Yep.
Disaster.
I don't know if I don't believe in this. I'm just trying to thought out there. Could you consider, if he's now sitting on the bench not being used, Bronson Cherry, could you start to utilise him a little bit on an edge?
That's what I was thinking before. Or,
Slightly bigger body.
You can move to Wala, either or, I reckon. In terms
I
of
don't know. He just doesn't strike me as a guy that is going to make 30, 40 and enjoy it. Like he's a Ferrari to me.
Could you use him like how Panthers used Tago against Manly?
Yeah, maybe
a month ago.
I just know that if I was playing there, I'd be like, I'm going to see. I don't know whether it'd be good or bad, but I'd be sending some traffic down his way.
That's fair.
To see what he's like.
And sorry, before when I said Harry Hayes automatically, Josh Curran will be in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
Who I actually thought was
good
quite good.
Yeah, I think he's been good
worked
last
his backside
2 or 3
off.
weeks.
Yeah, worked his backside off. But yeah, Manly, a little bit of a hiccup. Like I do think there's a bit of speed wobbles going on at the moment. But they've got a good opportunity next week to sort it all out. Okay, on to the next games. Probably going to have to make these a bit quicker, guys. Apologies, but yeah, the show's been going for ages, and yeah, we can only go so long before we need to get it out. The Wars defeat the Cowboys 38-20. I love this performance from the Warriors because I actually thought the Cowboys were quite good. Let's get the controversy out of the way. Look, I try so hard to give grace to refs and video refs as well. But how can we have a professional sitting in a bunker looking at that tour picky knock on? And what's crazy is it doesn't even matter. The Warriors were always winning this game. Once the ball was kicked, they played really well. They should be stoked with their performance. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. With all this conversation around fucking integrity that's happened over the last few weeks, and then you see shit like that, can someone explain to me how you could possibly look at that, see him knock it on, and not pull it back?
Yeah, and unfortunately, there was a few this weekend. There was a few absolute howlers.
Absolute howlers.
This one's probably the top one.
It's honestly one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where it is it is clearly a knock on. There is no mitigating circumstances or whatever. There's not mitigating circumstances. Sorry. There's no doubt. He's not coming in from the side and it's an angle, so it might look forward, but it's actually back. And there was this other one too, where the Cowboys, Scotty Drinkwater makes a semi-line break. He goes to offload. I think it's Leibart or Purdue gets tackled off the ball. There is a touchy right there, and the ref is also right there. And the Cowboys players go up in unison. What? He just got tackled before, literally seconds before the ball was even passed nearly. the ref's like, no, play on. And the Cowboys only got lucky that it got taken out. Challenge it. What are you looking at? Like, this is unacceptable. I'm okay to cop the 50-50, ones that are like, not even 50-50, 70-30, but ones that are like so in your face, it's getting tough. Like, I hope in this next rights deal, we put aside resources to upskill our reffing. And I get it. It's shit being a ref. You get no thanks. You just get all negative. I get it. Hope we can create an environment where we get more refs in the game, which then increase the skill set. Because I don't know, some of these calls on the weekend were just like, bro, that is bad.
Or maybe we just try leaving their job description the same for a calendar year.
Yes, absolutely. Stop giving them so much.
Stop changing the rules every fucking 8 seconds and just let it be.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Something, whatever. Because I actually think with how many howlers I've seen this year, I actually think the refs aren't getting supported enough. I think that the fact that we change rules every year suggests to me that we aren't appreciating their role and how tough it is. Because if we did, we wouldn't be changing the rules every single year.
I think there is a real lack of support for them, for sure. And it almost makes me go a bit tinfoily out at times to think like when decisions aren't right, they create discussion. We're talking about it, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah,
if the
maybe.
NRL's like, okay.
If a bad thing happens, yep, sweet.
If people are talking about it,
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe, but I
just can't believe they don't come out and support the referees really at all.
And they do things that show that they probably don't appreciate how hard the job is. By not even letting them trial some of these changes. Anyway, so look, and the thing is, like, I'm actually a howler on play. I can go, all right, sweet. But it's like
the Macassini knock on this week. The one where Trey Fuller kicked in, it was a blatant knock on. Macassini put his head down. Trey Fuller jumped over him to make sure he didn't make contact, and players were already high-fiving and they called play on. Absolute howler, but in play, I can live with it.
Yeah, I can live with it. Just like I live with players making errors or whatever. But like when it's like something that, for example, when there's a touchy looking at it, ref looking at it, it's in a small space and they just don't call it. Or even that one, I go, okay, that's just a howler. But then you add in the Tui Picky one, I go, like, how? What were you looking at? Like, what screen were you looking at, video ref, to say that's not... Anyway, doesn't matter because fucking Warriors would have won anyway, but it's just fucking not good enough.
How good was the stadium?
Incredible. How good... And you know what? Honestly, first of all, fair play. The stadium's amazing, but the Warriors put on a show.
Yeah.
They put on a show. Incredible performance. I thought they were great. I thought the Cowboys were also super entertaining. Like, if you're looking for a fun game to watch, it was a fun game to watch.
And the atmosphere over there looked amazing. Like, I can only, and I'm sure a lot of other Australian sports fans are in a similar boat where, like, the only dome stadium I've been in was over in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. We fill it to 40% capacity, 30% capacity when we're there, and it's unreal.
Yep.
That place when it was full and it's pumping. You see the NFL games over in America that are in the domes. Atmosphere just looks unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And I tell you what, like, I'm still of the mind it should be a Brisbane side, the next side in the comp. But when I see stuff like that, I go, like, maybe I'm wrong. Like, it's hard to be as strong on that opinion when you see that and it's sold out within hours of it dropping in January. That's been sold out for months.
Yeah, and I think the argument for another Queensland side is very strong. I just think the argument that probably trumps it for me is just timing of what's going on in New Zealand at the moment. I think you just got to take advantage of it.
Oh, you mean, so you actually think because everything's going so well, add something to it?
Yeah.
So I'm worried that it'll take away from it.
I don't reckon like everyone over there, like they're obsessed about the Wars. Like,
and I'm sure there are some people in the South Island right now going, no, we're not. But like relatively speaking, it seems
in terms of the perception.
Yeah.
So you throw in like a Christchurch whatever's or whatever, however they go about it.
You split the country.
But I don't even know if you do, and then we end up with another Perth Bears, with all due respect, situation.
See, I reckon you could because you could just lean into North versus South Island. Like, if you're from the South, you like us. Because they have different union sides.
They do.
But
they've always had different union sides.
Yeah,
that's
true.
The difference. Like,
but I will say, though, that, like, if you split, let's say you were able to split it, then you're splitting the support for the Warriors, which is, like, being something we've never seen before in rugby league.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I reckon, like, and, there'll be Warriors fans out there that'll blow up at this because I know there's been diehard Warriors fans forever. But in terms of the extent of the fandom and the...
Never seen anything like it.
the carry on in the best way around them. Like I don't think it's ever been like this. In fact, I don't know if we've ever seen that sort of support for a side full
Mate,
stop.
go to
Like,
Magic Round,
Yeah.
and anyone you ask, you say, who's the best fans here? They'll all say Warriors. And it's not even close. That's how good they've been.
That's what I mean. Like, so to split them down the middle.
Try playing bad with them. They're fucking tough. You're playing bad for them. Fuck. Poor old Beak, just getting smashed.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of it like that. I do think though that like we sort of like even if it does split them a little bit, like is it not just an opportunity to have a game of rugby league instead of there being one there every 2 weekends? There's a game every weekend. Essentially.
Yeah.
I just think with where rugby union's at the moment, I think it's such a golden opportunity to go there. And you know, and pull me out if I'm wrong on this, but like I sort of thought 4 years ago, oh, who the fuck's going to go for the Dolphins up there? Now they've got 30,000 members.
It's a good point. Yeah, like
Granted, they have got history. I get that,
but that like you're up against the
30,000.
Broncos. You're up
Yes.
against the Broncos. That's fair. That's fair. I guess the only thing I would say is like, you know, they've been around for 100 years, whatever.
yeah.
Broncos have won $1 billion. You know, well, not $1 billion, but you know what I mean, like whatever amount of premierships. Was it 7 now? Yeah. Is it how many? Is it 7 or 6? Anyway, yeah, 7.
Is that including a Super League trophy, Matty?
I think it's 6 and then 1 Super League, I think. But like Warriors have never actually won a comp. And so I wonder whether like, you know, we've finally got to a situation where there's like, never's a strong word, but like All Blacks are the pinnacle. But like, you know, Warriors used to be here at like 2 out of 10. Maybe they're at 5 out of 10 now, where a lot of young kids, like we're actually starting to poach union players that are in the All Black system into. And I just wonder whether if we begin to split the talent pool, does that stop the seems inevitable premiership in the next decade the Warriors are going to have?
So, yeah, just to your point, there can be like, and I'm talking about from the outside looking in, media coverage, attention. Not going to try and speak for people in New Zealand. Could be completely off the mark. But I used to hear about the All Blacks almost every day. I hear about the Wars more, and yeah, granted, like I watch a lot of rugby league, but I still watch a lot of union too. Like, I don't hear about the All Blacks anywhere near as much as what I used to. But the Wars are everywhere.
Yeah, I reckon we might, like on that imaginary scale you said before, I think the Warriors might be a little bit higher than the 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I think they're really like, for example, what happened in rugby union over the weekend?
Oh, actually, I do know this because I couldn't believe how fucking bad it was. Didn't they pound them 60 in a grand
The
final?
grand final was on. I had no fucking idea.
And they pounded them 60 to
60
6.
to 5.
Yeah. I had
Like,
no idea.
bro, imagine being that team, like getting pounded 60 to 5. Like, do you fucking never come back or what?
Like,
Do you
I'm
quit?
not knowing it's on.
yeah.
Just joking. I could never make a grand final or not.
Like I knew the A-League finals were on a few months ago.
Big
I didn't
soccer
know
guy.
the Super Rugby was on.
Yeah, fair.
You
I
do
mean,
love your A-League, to be fair.
I do love my
you big
A-League.
A-League guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I just remember seeing the 60-point score going, holy moly. That team that lost is going to be motivated as shit next year.
I wonder as well, are you specifically asking the country to be divided into two, or like I reckon there's so much passion over there in New Zealand that I think it'd be a little bit like the Dolphins, where it's like might be a Warriors fan, but it's your second sort of side.
Maybe.
But that's where I think, and look, I think it's a massive gamble to go in on a second side there. And I think it could be like the Dolphins. And if it was a success, you'd have to be like credit to the admin for doing it. But it's a huge gamble because let's say you don't end up with the Dolphins. Let's say you end up with like what we're looking at sort of unfold in Perth at the moment, where they're really pushing shit uphill. Is that worth taking away from? Because obviously you're going to see a massive push for that side when they come in, as there should be.
But also you got to remember as well, like, and to your point, where they're not just competing against the Wars for the best talent, they're competing against the All Blacks, who still do get the best talent, pretty much. Like, I think the All Blacks are still in a position where they get the best Kiwi players growing
No,
up.
not quite anymore. A lot of guys are making the decision to come over now. Like maybe not all of them, but
There would
Yeah.
be some. I still think, though, if you were to compare who gets the most best talent out of like the schools and that coming through, I think the All Blacks would.
I also think though that like, and I understand the comparison you're making to Perth, but like, I can't see a world where it ends up being like a Perth personally. Like with the amount of young footballers that come out of New Zealand,
Yeah, they got too much talent
there's
per
too much
capita.
talent
Yeah.
there for it for it to be a total train wreck.
The talent thing wouldn't be a problem. It'd be what I'm talking about is fan engagement. Like people die hard Wars fans. Like, yeah, you might get some Broncos fans or some Titans fans go, oh, like, I don't mind seeing the Dolphins do well when they're not playing against us. But like, you can't build a club off that. I think what has
But you could build it off a Christchurch. Like, let's say Christchurch was the team.
Yeah.
Like, they are, like, it's a different state. It's almost like, you know, the Wars of Queensland.
For
and
sure.
Christchurch is the New South Wales.
They've been established as Wires fans for so long with the Dolphins, and to your point, yeah, they've got 30,000 members, but they've also had an institutional like club there.
Yeah,
There's
the
like-
100 years, that's
Yeah,
a
without
big
a doubt.
And
difference.
in
Like,
Redcliffe,
yeah.
it's like a religion, right? So it's easy to build off that when there's already like even talking to NRL physio up at Magic Round about it. Like he grew up there, he played for them when he was younger, and he said you pretty much, and he wasn't like some crazy Dolphin super fan. But he said, mate, you'd play and you'd stay for the day.
I would say, though, that, like, it'll be easier than doing what Melbourne did.
Heaps easier.
Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and like, so anyway, as I said, look.
So in
let's-
your mind then, if sorry, not putting words in your mouth, but if it's such a huge gamble to go over there, like what's the upside of having another Queensland team?
Well,
I wouldn't do that either. Now,
who would be
Where
your
are you
next
putting them?
side?
Mars.
hey,
Where are you putting them?
if we have to, depends how long we wait. Well, I mean, you've got Bears to come in now, and obviously that looks like
We
a
have to
worry.
get to 20. It's a non-negotiable.
Chiefs will pump. Do you look at one of the islands potentially, or one of the Pacific Islands, or having like a Pacifica style side? I don't know. Like
No, I think it has to be West Brisbane or New Zealand at this stage. Just because, like, I think the West of Brisbane, you could lean on Ipswich as a club.
that's
Call
true.
them the West Jets. Wouldn't know the name. You're welcome. Your first signing could be Sam Walker. He's off contract, obviously, and there's a lot of history there with Ipswich players. And also, when you speak to Ipswich people, they don't say they're from Brisbane. They say, "Fuck you,
Yeah.
give me back my money because you just robbed them." I don't know why I said
I
that.
think it depends what you want, though. If you want like a genuinely engaged fan base from the start, then doing something like that is awesome. I reckon we've never been in a better position to sort of take new ground, though. I know that's sort of what the idea is with Perth. I just think it's been poorly
The AFL is attacking West Brisbane, the Western Corridor at the moment. Like massive investment going in there, so that you'd deter them.
Sorry, the West Corridor of Queensland, you say?
Essentially, the West Corridor of Queensland, but the main focal point would be west of Brisbane to a degree, like the western bit.
Because they've only got to the two Queensland teams saying the AFL, Gold Coast and Brisbane. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, like, I still think there's plenty of talent in Brisbane. Like, look what the Dolphins have managed to do.
100%.
Boom,
yeah.
3 or 4 years, they're the most stacked side in the comp.
I just think like the reason why I'd throw up one of the Pacificas is because, like I said, like that's not breaking new ground for us. So we sort of have a stronghold on that. I think rugby league is becoming more and more of a global game, like especially if the NRL do end up probably acquiring the Super League. Like huge opportunity there. I reckon we could be like what rugby union is around the world. Because obviously we live in a country where it's dying, so we don't get exposed to the fact that it is becoming a global game. I reckon like we can't just bow down to the AFL. Like, the AFL is never going to be global. Like you know, what I mean, like if they're attacking West Brisbane, like mad, good on you. Like you're never going to get to New Zealand. You're never going to get to overseas. Like, I reckon we could like really put a stronghold on that place.
Back to the game, boys. Back to the
Sorry,
game.
yeah.
Okay. I think Tanner Stowers-Smith is becoming a star for me. I think he is a gun.
And I think he just became more important yesterday. The Jackson Ford injury is going to leave a massive hole. He's going to step up and fill it. And then there's going to be a hole left by Barnett last year.
I know. Look, I
He's
know.
going to be ready.
I know this has happened to heaps of people, but like the fact he didn't even fucking make a squad for the Blues, it might be, like, fuck. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, now he's injured. Look what happened with Reid Marnie when he got released and he played. He did his shoulder. He never got an opportunity again. It's just, I don't know. At least in a squad.
If you're going to bring us back from international rugby
Apologies-
league, I'm going to
apologies.
bring us back off the Origin league.
No, say Jackson Ford.
He's been very unlucky this year.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Can I also, I'm probably going to get in trouble for going off topic here, but can we give a little shout out to Louis Brown? Because those jerseys were fucking unreal.
Yeah. His eye for, like, just, I don't
His
know.
eyes in general. I mean, you want to talk about
Blue, yeah, they are blue.
playing middle forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever had a chat to Louis Brown? He looks
Through your soul. Through
I've
your
only
soul.
seen him through the screen, but I know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
mate.
It's
Yeah.
breathtaking.
Breathtaking stuff. Shredded within an inch of his life too. But those jerseys, his eye for fashion is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Not pretty impressive. It's fucking
It's
unbelievable.
damn impressive.
Yeah, because those jerseys were fucking hot. So this is what we can do. Let's talk about everything but the game that happened in New Zealand. Because Wasps fans are totally understanding. They'll get it. They'll be like, yeah, no, it's all good. Like, fuck, don't worry about it.
They
They
want a
won't.
whole segment about our team, talking about a potential rival team that you're going to start to try and
I can't remember what got our service of the week, but I thought that pass that Tomato Martin threw to Dallin Watene-Lesniak
Hot stuff.
came off his left and he bounced, and it was just an absolute fucking C. There was that pass and one
Egan
that
out of dummy
Drinky
half.
threw in this game
Oh,
too,
Drinky.
and Egan. 3 crackers.
Yeah,
Jeez.
mate. Egan is a gun, and in that first half, he even like obviously he threw that intercept. But if he had thrown that pass, he would have had like fucking 2 try assists in the first 20 minutes as a dummy half.
I always think when it comes to, and in the NFL it's the same, when you get games in a dome, freeze the shoulders a little bit, I
Okay,
think.
all right.
My little
no wind
theory.
kind of stuff.
Yep.
Dry track,
Dry track, no wind.
mate. Off the deck, spiral pass to winger. That's a tough pass to make because usually people are jamming up in outside in. Mate, Egan, like, look, I don't know. There's Brayley back, and I'm still a bit iffy on playing Brayley because he's got to come back so quickly from a broken arm. Like I just.
won't stop him. But yeah,
And so, like, if you are going to go, let's say Robson for some reason fell out of the pecking order or whatever, man, he's getting close to me, Egan. Like, he couldn't really have done much more on the weekend to get a look in for that.
no,
origin position.
I mean, yeah, like that pass, Harry Grant threw on last year or the year before, and I'm still trying to get my breath back. Like
Yep.
it was unbelievable. I think like if you were going to run with that rationale, can be like, yeah, Egan, you do a lot worse. Like
He can't have done much more because he was like genuinely unbelievable on the weekend.
Obviously, Chan scored a number of tries, but just the versatility this guy has to played a grand final at fullback a couple of years ago. Has now 4 tries on the sting there. Has played centre on a number of occasions. 5'8" for New Zealand. I think they made a joke in commentary. Halfback's essentially the only position he hasn't played. Incredible player, Chance. Just one of the genuine great guys now.
Never kick stones as well. Like he could easily sit there going, look, I've served this club for many years. Really good at fullback. Took us to a prelim. But the more I think about it, I'm like, maybe he is almost the RTS on the edge there for him because we know he can make a million. Now, it's not the same. He doesn't have the same footwork. What I mean is he can guarantee you over 150 metres a game on the wing. He'll take a million carries. He's a good finisher. He's relatively good under the high ball, at least when it comes to catching bombs. I don't know about crossfield. So maybe he's a little bit of the answer there.
Can I be a little bit negative for a second here?
Yeah, cool.
And this comes from a positive that I'm looking at the New Zealand Warriors. There's 3 teams that I'm looking at: Penrith, Dolphins, Warriors. There's teams at the moment that I think can win a competition this year. And I understand the Warriors, they've lost players, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in particular. I'm worried about the Warriors come September, 2 things: the long kicking game and these 2 centres. I'm worried that your better teams, when you look at the matchups they're going to get against Penrith, against the Dolphins with your Herbie Farmworth, your Bostocks, your Alamottis, your Casey McLeans, I just think it is the one spot that other teams are really going to be able to get an advantage.
Well, Scott
over.
Drinkwater stripped him multiple times.
Sure did. And
Yeah.
I think come September, it's going to be their Achilles heel, unfortunately, is my concern.
yeah, I think like because they didn't win, like it wasn't as obvious they won't get their flowers for it. But Pompey actually came up and in and made a few good stops on Drinky early. But they just sort of bit their time, and obviously they ended up having a fair bit of a field day down that edge. Some of those long balls that Drinky threw off the back of it. So I don't know if that's like just like a default for Pompey, like just to naturally just come up and in, just try jam the fullback. But I think you're right, Rue. Like I think that's something that they're going to have to. I think that's where they're going to miss Roger too. I think his experience sort of made up for that a lot in terms of how he was able to communicate and work with them. So
It's tough because, like, mate, when they're on, they are big, powerful centers, like as big as you can get, as powerful as you can get. There was a few moments there where Lau Tau was like bumping blokes and that, and you're just going, holy shit. I love how patient they were as well. I felt like there were times where they could have panicked a little bit, and like especially in the first half, they had a bunch of tackles down in Cowboys' end, and Cowboys were really gutsy. They hung in there. They just stayed patient. There was no panic or whatever. They're just a long kicking game a little bit concerned about. However, I will say, like, fuck. A lot of teams would fall apart if their main 7, who was leading the Dally M, gets dropped. I mean, look what happened last year with Metcalf. They were lucky to not scrape in the 8, but like they should have been the top 4 and they weren't. They haven't missed, outside of the kicking game, they haven't missed much of a beat with Tamati Martin and Harris Tavita there.
No, they haven't. But you do just feel the longer the season goes, and with the way that September footy is going to be, I just worry that long kicking game is going to be so important. Because Tomato Martin with ball in hand, he couldn't have done any more.
He's
been sensational.
He's been sensational since he came.
Love watching Neil Harris.
What about his try saver?
Yeah, on Purdue. Crazy.
Yeah.
Far out. That was a try, like in every universe possible. That was a try.
Especially with Purdue. Yeah.
Somehow, some way, held him up.
That
Crazy.
deep in the in goals. I don't think anyone's ever been held up that deep in the in goals. Crazy. Like he was on the dead ball line.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of that, just a really good performance.
Good to see Mitch Barnett knocked out 61 minutes, ran
Yep.
for 200 metres.
Was great.
Needed to see that from him.
Thank God there
Yep.
was more to that sentence.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Just I'm really happy with the Warriors' performance, with considering everything. Probably don't get enough credit for the fact they are missing some pretty big players in RTS and Tanner Boyd. The Jackson Ford one hurts a little bit. Obviously, they've still got crazy to think they can lose Jackson Ford and still have Stowers Smith, Fisher Harris, and Barnett as their front row rotation, and Vaimunga.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's just fucking insane. Most other clubs, like, most other clubs would be happy with the Warriors, even if they didn't have Fish and Ford. Like, they'd still be stoked with the forward pack they've got.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, good stuff. Can't spend too long on the Cowboys, guys. Apologies, because we're just running out of time. That's our fault. I'm sorry. Purdue at 6. Thoughts? Look, in attack, he did everything I thought he did. What I liked the most, 22 tackles, 0 missed.
Yeah. I was number 1 in Purdue at 5'8" in the preseason. I was very vocal about it. I was wrong. Clifford, he is the best 5'8" at the club. I find it weird, boys, that this is the week they decide to bring him in. You obviously had Liam Sutton, who...
It's almost like they were like, we're going to out-attack the Warriors rather than defend our way.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't think Liam Sutton was that bad.
No, neither did I. But like defensively, he's a bigger body. Like, and Purdue, has some defensive lapses.
It's such a weird decision to make with Tom Dearden returning in 2 to 3 weeks.
I think it could have been a Warriors-specific thing about the centers. Personally, that's just my opinion. But
big boys, you reckon?
Right.
Well, but also just having like a guy who's a little bit more of a running threat. Bring him out, bring him in. Like we saw him. Like as I said before, they won't get the credit for it because they didn't win. But Drinky did set up 2 pretty good tries, and scored one himself by executing on that. So I think that could have been a. But again, it'll be interesting because if they stick with it this week, what do you do when Dearden comes back? Because Clifford's not going anywhere.
No way. So you're putting...
But Laybutt probably goes.
By the way, was Mark Tuolangi, he was sort of jumping in between wing and centre, wasn't he, in that game?
Yeah, I was swapping a little bit, yeah.
It's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, re-signing of Peyton, boys, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, here we are again. They're winning games of football. They look good. I can understand them making that decision. I think this is going to be his next, 2-year contract, though, is going to be very telling now that the Drinky era is over. It's the Tom Dearden era now.
And also, this roster is like, bro, it is all your roster.
This is what you've built. This is what you've done, which is good. It's a good roster. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think the next, obviously, I think if they're not a consistent top 8 team in 2 years' time, I think they need to make a move there.
Yep. Just quickly, I thought Tamalolo was quite good outside of spear tackling a bloke on his head. No jokes, but it was a pretty fucking crazy tackle. I'll tell you that much for free. I thought Nanai, I'm so happy with how he came back because like he has, I feel like Jeremiah Nanai I feel like he's feeling a pinch a little bit. Like I feel like he's probably sitting there going, Luke, he's in that squad now. Like this, we've been playing good footy. Back in the day, it was like, lock him in, put him straight in. Now, granted, you put him straight in, but like it's not as a guaranteed thing anymore.
No, it's not. Johnny Bateman also returned in this game as well, so another one to keep an eye on there. I think he played 30-odd minutes in this one. And, he hasn't played, in my opinion, he hasn't played great footy in 3 or 4 years now. But we know what Johnny Bateman can do when he's at his best, and we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, if you get Nanai back to his best, you got Bateman there, like all of a sudden, side could look very different. Yeah.
Nanai Lukey is insane. And then you've got Cotter at 13, Dalmalolo and Thomas McKaylee. Here's the stat I like the most for Nanai, though. 36 tackles, 0 missed.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Which is huge. And we've got to remember, let me tell you how old he still is.
Had his maroon jersey
He's
on.
23 years old.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting one too because as the game's gotten quicker and we see higher scores, it'd be easy to think that like defense in my opinion, defense becomes actually more important in terms of if you're someone who you are seen as a bit of a liability or a spot, like your teams can afford less to have you there now. I mean, I think he was sort of the victim of that. So to see him starting to really make that a focus and turn around is awesome.
And just quickly, Scotty Drinkwater, holy shit. Most consistent attacking fullback in the comp, pretty much. Like, obviously, Tommy when he's there, Walshy when he's on, no one's reached those heights. But when you're talking like 5 years of consistency, I don't think there's anyone close to him.
No. I think, yeah. I'd even argue it's sort of across like a 4 or 5 year period. It's probably him and until last year, probably Cody Walker the 5 years before that. Like, as far as stats go, fucking insane.
No one comes close to him
over the last few years.
No one comes close to him. So I actually think the score flattered the Warriors a little bit. I still have the Warriors winning. I just think the Cowboys copped a couple of rough calls. Like, I think a 30-20 score line. Like, and if you said to me, Cowboys are a top 8 side this year, but they get beaten by the Warriors, who are a premiership 30-20 at a new stadium in Christchurch, I'm okay with that.
To be fair as well, after 10 minutes, this game looked like it was going to be 60-0.
Yeah,
The Warriors were running a train over the Cowboys.
and it
For
was
them to turn around and make it a football game,
they were
was a good
gutsy.
effort.
They were gutsy because you're right. They hung in forever. So 30-20, I'm okay. And missing Dearden. No, I know that the Warriors are missing people too, but I'm pretty okay with it. Like I'm not. I don't think it's a terrible performance at all.
Just to what you said before, Drinky's last 4 seasons, try assists 25, 26, 24, and at the moment he's on 16 and we're halfway through the season.
That's actually fucking insane. That's actually crazy. Like that is career best for a lot of other fullbacks.
Yeah.
He's doing it every single year. Okay, on to the next game. Now, sorry guys. Before we get into the next game, it's Jim Beam. It's State of Origin time, one of the best times of the year. Who are you boys going to watch it with? You guys have already kind of said that. You're going to watch it with each other. We actually came up last time and said hello. Jinxed yous, which was great. I feel very happy that I jinxed yous.
Yeah,
that makes me feel great. So I walked into the room. The boys were chilling. New South Wales were ahead. And I just said a little comment on the way out that jinxed the whole state. I said, you boys are looking pretty good, I reckon. You know.
We knew exactly what you were doing. We said it when you're in the room and when you're out of the room. We just said it in a mean fashion when you're out of the room.
Thanks to you, all of a sudden we were 2 blokes in headgears. It looked ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. I think also, like, can a whole state flake on its people? Because that kind of is what happened in game 2. Like, the state flaked on you guys.
The entire game to no avail.
But, like, the team, so, like, your team, the Blues,
Yeah.
they flaked on you, do you reckon, on game 2? Did they flake?
I don't know if we flaked.
Like, did you just turn up?
We
They
turned up.
flaked the second half.
I'd argue we flaked the first game more, to be fair.
Like,
And
you
still won,
could
still
argue
found a way.
New South Wales Blues, the biggest flakes of all, they flaked the second half.
Great sides find a way to win, Kempy, and we weren't the best side in game 1, but we got the 2 points.
Okay. Got the 2 points.
It's 2 all.
Okay. Jim Beam, in every group, there's always one person who flakes at the last second. Usually they're from New South Wales. The person who says they'll be there but then cancels because something's come up and they've dislocated their pinky finger or they support the Blues. Jim Beam are on a mission to solve the cultural epidemic that is flaking on your mate. Who's most likely to be the biggest flake on this panel, do we think? Guess who isn't there today? Who isn't here today? You can say his name's Hammy, and he's technically from the ACT. So, like, you know,
He's a
that.
Queenslander.
No.
He's a great
We
Queenslander.
allow him to wear the state colours because he's chosen the right state, but he wasn't born in Queensland.
Kempy, are you going to wear a JT headgear for game 3?
Don't need to, mate. I don't need to rely on like woo-woo to get the job done.
Seriously.
Yeah, because you rely on woo-woo. That's why your state's got no backbone. It's all woo-woo. It's all based on woo-woo footy.
Hey, it's worked a few times. It'll
Yeah,
work
about
again in a
5
couple of
times in
weeks.
20 years. Don't let them remain a flake. Remind them footy's best enjoyed with mates and Jim Beam. So head over to Jim Beam AU to see how you could best enjoy the footy together. Oh, yeah, hopefully the Maroons get up. We can enjoy a nice Jim Beam on the rocks. Okay. Storm defeat the Raiders 42-20. Honestly, and I hate to like simplify this whole thing, but this was just like the Harry Grant show, really. Like there were other people that played well, but it was almost like everything before Harry Grant and everything after Harry Grant. They were getting belted the first 20 minutes. It was, 16-0. Raiders looked at their physical best. Harry Grant comes on. I think in the first set you scored. He made a little half break. Not used. Storm scored. He is just like... It's weird because Cam Smith will just always be the greatest ever number 9. It's very hard to even get in that territory. But it goes Cam Smith. There's a tier for Harry Grant by himself, in my opinion, and then there's a tier underneath that. That's how good I think Harry Grant is.
Yep,
He's
I agree.
probably the second best hooker of all time.
If he's not, he will be the second best
Yep.
hooker of all time. The only thing he needs to stack up is some trophies.
Yeah, like a
The
premiership.
only thing
Yeah.
standing in the way, and he needs to get. He's not getting younger, and I think Melbourne are going to go through a bit of a transition period over the next few years. So that's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, it will. If he doesn't, he'll be the best hooker to never win a comp. That's for
He'll
sure.
be the best. This is my hot take. I think there's a very good chance he will be the best player to never win a comp.
Damn.
And it's got nothing to do with him. Even if you go back and watch some of the grand finals they've lost while he's been there, he's been probably the best player on
Like
the field.
scored the first try against Penrith.
He was the best
And
player
then-
on the field, essentially, definitely from their side.
And his debut in Origin is one of the great, a decider,
Yeah.
2020, comes on, rips you to shreds.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Harry Grant.
Big call by Tommy.
I
Yeah,
just look at
it's
like
also
their-
disrespectful too.
But you know what? The only thing that I'll like walk that back a little bit, but not really, is like if Slater does go there, obviously that's a massive change. But I don't know. I think there's other sides that are on the up more, and that
They do have the young fella, Watson. He played.
Hayden Watson.
He looks pretty bloody
he was
good.
great the other night. Again though, like Penrith still have a pretty young side. Dolphins look unreal. But there's a lot of sides there.
I like how you didn't say the Roosters then, because you know deep down they're not doing shit.
Yeah, well, didn't say I said other side north of the border either.
We already won a comp. We won a comp.
That's unfair. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the Titans. I think they'll do good things as well.
But yeah, it was a Harry Grant show for me. Like he truly. Look, I feel like I flip flop on this all the time, so I'll probably fucking change my mind in a few weeks too. But I feel like he's the most important player in that spine.
Yeah, and I think we will flip and change depending which way the fucking wind's going. But I do think overall it is Harry Grant. I thought obviously Will Warbrick was sensational as well.
Mate, he has had the most bizarre year of rugby league I've ever seen in my life, because in one half of footy you could say, what? How did you even get in that Storm jersey? And then the next one you could be like, oh, you're Xavier Coates. That's how good you are. Like, it's crazy. And he was phenomenal on the weekend. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought Suafalongo as well. A fantastic game from him. He was everywhere.
Is he, just quickly on tour,
Yep.
is he the most likely player that you follow that you go, I know he's going to have a line break or two in a game?
Yeah, probably. Yes.
Like, seriously, honestly, you could go nearly far back as like Preston Campbell. That's how good he is. Like, every game, he can guarantee at least two line breaks nearly, or one for sure.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, he's
Fucking unbelievable.
he's liquid.
It's unbelievable. The amount of like, there's nothing doing. A kick goes up. They look like they're under the pump. Oh, they've made a half line break. They're down the field.
Yeah, and it's easy to say, oh yeah, he's in a Melbourne Storm side. It's like, sure, but if he wasn't in a Melbourne Storm side, they would still be bottom four because he has been so crucial to them this year.
And I say this respectfully, at the very least for 7 games, he was in the worst Melbourne Storm side we've ever seen. And he was their best player.
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah, he is. I don't have the exact count here in front of me, but he's played 15 games, I think, this season. What's he at? 15 games. He scored 13 tries. So that's essentially at least 13 line breaks. I reckon he'd be up around the 18 to 20 line breaks sort of mark. 82 tackle breaks in 15. He's had 19 line breaks in 15 games and 82 tackle breaks in 15 games in a team that has not been going well.
I'm trying to think, like, out of all the ball running fullbacks I've seen, and he still has ball playing a little bit too, like, he's probably one of the most electric I've ever seen.
I think he is
Yeah, like,
right up there.
and
yeah.
look, obviously he's got a whole career ahead of him that we need to see. But in this sample size, like, name another, like, let's say this is essentially his first 14, 15 games. Like, it roughly is. Like, he played a few before, but really, like, at fullback, you're the main man. I don't think you'd find many fullbacks in history in the first 20 games of their career that they'd have 19 line breaks in 15 games.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to. The only one that comes to mind to me that kind of reminds me of him a little bit is like when Roger first moved to fullback and he was dynamic, but
Yep.
Roger could still run over the top of you. Sua is just,
Pure
he's
footwork.
goosing his way.
Yep.
He's, no one's really coming to mind for
No.
me that's.
That's crazy. I'd love to know, like, in their first whatever games, can you check how many games he's played? Like 30 probably?
37.
How many line breaks he's got and compare that. Like, is that the most line breaks in the first 37 games that we've seen?
See, the other thing with him at the moment, like as the game has sort of evolved with middles and back rollers getting fitter, and now like teams kick chase so well. It's been a long time since I can remember a guy where every time that a team kicks to him on last tackle and it's a kick return, like I'm actually on the edge of my seat genuinely every time.
Yeah.
He could fucking go the length.
41 line breaks in 37 games.
So he genuinely actually can guarantee you a line breaker game.
Yeah. 41 line breaks in his first 37 games of NRL. I would also, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't have it in front of me if there's early games where maybe he didn't even play 80 minutes as well.
Holy moly.
There'd also be games where he played on the wing, not at fullback in the early days.
And it's not like he's like getting like all this ball off like 7s and 6s that are putting him in space. Like a lot of his line breaks are purely just like nothing doing, but I'm gonna break the line here.
And I'd also probably say that some of the early days there of his career would have been coming in during origin rounds and stuff too when they weren't at full strength as well. So it's not like he's been there with the...
And this year, the most games that he's played has been arguably their worst year on record,
Yes.
at least in the Bellamy area.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
Well,
hectic.
every other season that he's played, 2023 he played one game, they won 100% of those games. 2024 he played 14 games, they won 79% of those. The next year 7 games, they won 71% of those. This year he's played 15, they've only won 47% of them. So it's a huge drop.
Wow. Far out. That's incredible. That's incredible. I will say, like, the Storm have undercover somehow, some way, wrangled this season back into some sort of favour.
Yeah.
Because I said before the show started, I said, this is how, well the Broncos have kind of like managed the narrative around the season. Everyone agrees that the Bulldogs and the Melbourne Storm, we've all sat here essentially each week and said, it's been a disaster. I can't believe this has happened. Both the Melbourne Storm and the Bulldogs are above the Broncos on the ladder.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean,
Crazy.
The Storm also have a few like buys obviously left as well. We spoke the other week.
Storm are 1 win outside the 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you still reckon they miss?
Nah, I'm an idiot. I was wrong. Far out. Could this be like, obviously we had the Penrith Panthers situation last year, which is probably the greatest turnaround we've ever seen. But like if he manages to get him in the 8, it's got to be up there as one of the greatest turnarounds all time.
I think they have to win this weekend.
Okay?
I think this is you have a look after that. Play the they got the bye after that, then they play the Titans after Origin 2. Then they go Roosters, Bunnies, Bulldogs, Manly, Penrith, Brisbane, Cronulla. Some tough games coming up there. You got to win a lot of those back to back. That granted, some of those teams like the Brisbane Broncos, the Bulldogs, they're not in the greatest form right now, but you know that they can be good footy sides. You know that they can.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're not easy games.
Yeah. And they could just pull a one-off. They got the roster to pull a one-off big game.
And I think similar to South Sydney at the start of the year, I think a lot of these teams would be looking at Melbourne when they play them going, you fucking pricks have given it to us for 25 years. We can smell some blood in the water here.
But like, consider what has happened at that club over the last 12 months. Everything. Like, we're talking stuff that is totally out of their control, and they are somehow, some way, still in the running to make the 8. And we have such high standards, we'd go, yeah, that's a solid year. Honestly, any other club with all the stuff that's happened at their club, if it happened to them, they're a bottom 4 side. This just shows you the greatness of the Melbourne Storm organisation. Like, I say it, honestly, I might say it once a week. It's the greatest sporting organisation in the country, I think, in my opinion. Like, when you look at...
As a whole, yeah.
Yeah, as a whole. Yeah. When you look at the history over the last 25 years or 20 years or whatever, in a state that doesn't really support rugby league, but they've changed that.
Yeah.
And then everything that happened this year, like, I don't even need to... I will name it, though. The Katoa situation, Craig Bellamy's own personal stuff. Then you've got Pappenhausen, who left earlier in his contracts. Nelson Asafa-Solomona, he goes. Injuries happen. And they've still managed to find a way to fight their way to potentially be in the top 8. That's... And so that puts it to Bellamy has never missed a final series, essentially, outside of, 2012, which was the whole year. 2010, sorry. 2012, they won it, yeah. Jesus. It's unbelievable. All of these things happen to other clubs, brings the club to their knees.
Yeah, for
their
sure.
absolute knees.
Crazy.
Incredible.
A little bit of breaking news. Troll Med, it's confirmed that it's a calf injury.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, this game was good. Half time,
fuck.
I think it was 20-all in this one. Just points fucking galore all over the place. And then, I think the difference was realistically Harry Grant coming on the field and just blew it away from that point.
Yeah, the Xavier Savage intercept was a pretty big play too at one point. Like that's one of those ones you genuinely see. It's like a 12-point swing in terms of like Melbourne definitely score there. Even like they kick it dead on, like they concede back-to-back tries in back-to-back sets and then kick it dead on the full. Just killer for Canberra. But I mean, I feel like it's the same vibe we've been talking about Canberra the entire year. Like there's a lot to like. They're building nicely. I even like that first try for Tamale. Starling jumps out from 9 and he becomes the main playmaker. Sort of brings Strange and Huddy onto the front foot. Like they're going to be a very good side for a long time. I think this is just a year that they're just
I will say, like, I'm with you, and I've given Raiders the most grace. Essentially, we've given them a lot of grace this year. 15th right now is not good enough though. Sorry, 16th, and I know that technically they would be 15th, but this roster is better than 16th. Like yeah. Look, I know it's going to be a good footy side. I know now. Ricky Stewart, he moved Strange back to the left side, didn't he? This game.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. And he also started Paddy as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Which would suggest to me that even he's going, okay, the future can fucking wait. We need to get some wins here. And I actually thought Paddy was great at a dummy half initially. He brought a lot of energy to the team. He actually reminds me a little bit at times of Appy, where it's like, unless you're on his level, he can look a bit scattershot at times. But if you can get on his level, he actually is a bloody good number 9. But as I said, like, it's a weird one. I know I've been super gracious to him in regards to, like, look at the future, blah, blah, blah. But, mate, 16th is absolutely unacceptable for this Raiders squad.
It is. Mate, there's such a hard one to talk about because, like, you know, you look at guys, and, you know, sort of mentioned this in the preseason, that you look at this side and you go, oh, you know, they've got the KO Weekses, the Ethan Strange of the world, like those guys that played finals footy. They're all just so young and inexperienced still. And then you've got now Owen Paddy playing minutes at 9, which we wanted to see, doing good things there. You've now got Ethan Sanders in at halfback. I wonder, now that you move Strange over to the left and he's playing a little bit more there, means you either have to move Sanders over to the right or you just sort of have Strange running fucking all over the place. Kobe Black, who usually does play on the right-hand side. I watched him play New South Wales Cup on the weekend, had another really good game. He's had a fantastic month, to be fair. Do you start to have this conversation? Do you start to look around, or are we just sticking with Sanders?
Well, I do think Sanders is beginning to look a little bit fatigued, like that first year fatigue where they get to the back end of the season. Because he made 4 errors on the weekend.
Yes.
And I'm still satisfied with Sanders' year. Like, I really am. I don't think, has he set the world light? No, but I'm satisfied with his year. However, they're not making the 8, or, probably not making the 8. Is it good for team depth to go have a bit of a rest, Sanders, bring Black in to try a few things?
Yeah, because I think similar to, what's his name? Owen Paddy playing reserve grade. I don't think it's so much a dropping your sacked. It's just a
we're building your career here.
Work. We're building your career here. We're playing long term here.
And he does look a little bit tired compared to the start of the year, which is understandable. Like he's been put in there. He played 1 game for the Eels, I think, or 1 or 2. So it's essentially his debut year. It is only normal for debut years, unless you catch momentum, to feel a bit fatigued as a young player, in first grade. It happens all the time, unless you're just one of those lucky players that just get momentum kind of thing.
Yeah.
But still, you're feeling it. It just doesn't seem to hit you as quickly.
Yeah, to your point, Kempy, though, I reckon we're going to see this side. They'll probably finish somewhere, in my opinion, between 12th and 15th. I reckon you'll go back and you'll look at a lot of the games that they were absolutely in up to their eyeballs, like yesterday.
Yep.
And as I said, like, you get up, what was it, 16-0, 12-0? And then
16-0 Eagles.
Yeah, so you get to 16-0. You concede back-to-back tries in back-to-back sets. Kick it dead on the full. They go down and score. All of a sudden, you blink and it's 16-all again. Like, definitely a game they let slip yesterday. And you'd look at a score, and I can even remember a few of them from this year already where you eyeball the score. If you didn't watch the game, 42-20, you think, oh, Storm dusted them. But 19 minutes left, it's level. 20 all still. So, like...
Is that evidence of a young side not being able to stay with them for the last 20 minutes?
And that's where I think you're right. Like being 15th, not good enough in terms of the roster on paper, but got a lot of guys like Huddy Young doing a lot of heavy lifting at the moment.
What about Huddy Young's first try?
Crazy.
Holy shit! Like only Hudson Young's doing that.
Yeah.
Wrap around, fucking. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I get. As I said, I'm on your page in regards to young squad. I still think there is a threshold though of like how far you're willing to fall and go. this is unacceptable. I wonder whether he even just says to Sanders, have a week off. Just go refresh, mate. Because I do think you can, even the Raiders fans, the volume is turning up a little bit on negative Sanders chat. And the last thing you want is a poor bloke go into the back of the season, form dropping crazy, and then all of a sudden his confidence is a little bit rocked heading into the next year. And also, I just think it helps squad depth as well. If Kobe Black gets a bit of a run. Can't hurt healthy competition.
That can't hurt. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
And I agree with you too, Guru. I don't think it's a dropping by any stretch. No. Like you're sacked and you're getting dropped and you're out of favour. It's more just like, mate, this is what's best for the team. You're made for it. It might not be this week. It might be the week after. Give him a chance to bounce back. But anyway.
But I think it's also then, it's not a dropping. It's a go back to reserve grade. But then it's hey, we've got 3 trials next year. Here's the halfback jersey.
Yep.
Let's see who wants it.
I see. Honestly, I wouldn't even put him in reserve. I'd give him a full week off. Maybe the next week I'll put him in reserve grade, but I'd give him a week off footy.
What, and then bring him back into first grade?
See how Kobe Black goes, obviously. Then I'd make that call after it, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Just give him a week off and let him rest up. Big ask going in after minor premiership as a 7. Huge ask.
Huge ask, yeah.
Hudson Young, outstanding.
I mean, it's a huge ask for the young 5'8". Come back into this side after losing his experienced halfback as well.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Well, that's the situation they find themselves in.
Geez, I love the physicality of Strange.
Yes.
Stats-wise, it doesn't look like he set the world alight, but fuck, he was physical against the Storm. And that's just what you want. That's just what you want. Hudson Young came back. He just looks like he is honestly overflowing with confidence at the moment. Like, truly, I know I can impact a game. Tim Mokai had some good moments in attack, at least. Their defense is still such a worry for me on their edges, the Raiders. Like, it's never, even the Storm's right edge is a huge worry. But Raiders, for me, it's just like if they can fix that, a lot of their troubles would go away. So, anyway. Alrighty, guys, sorry we had to be short on that game. On to the next one, last one of the round. I got to say, I know he didn't get the chockies, and I know Sharks fans will be off him because he just didn't win, and maybe it affected his performance. But for me, this is the Mulatalo show. If Mulatalo doesn't play yesterday, I'm sitting there going, oh, fuck, another late Sunday show. It's just like he changed that game from, bit of footy, see where these two teams are at, they're mid top 8 sides, see who's better, to I couldn't look away. I'll talk about the contrary first. I want to be clear. Roosters win this game. I loved how much they just squeezed the life out of the Sharkies. But the one that I just cannot get around is like Teddy comes flying across and recklessly throws his body at Mulatalo. Now, I got no issue with Teddy trying to stop the try. But if you're going to throw yourself like that, bad things can happen. He elbows him clearly in the face. Now, if you want to say that's not an 8-point try all the time, I'll go with you. Like, I'll never forget, we had a big fucking, not a big argument or whatever, but a debate in our group text. Basically, Latrell Mitchell comes across, he goes to slap the ball, he hits Makasini across the face, and I was the one saying, mate, they let that shit go all the time. You boys were saying, mate, he hit him in the face. So I'm like, sweet, that's the standard. Teddy elbows him in the face. We see it on replay a million times. It's not an 8-point try. How does that make sense?
It doesn't. And I'm a Roosters fan, Kemby. Obviously, it went our way, but even you had that one. You had Marky Mark goes up and big challenge from the Roosters, but he goes up, out jumps Mulatalo, knocks it on. They then challenge, and because Mulatalo got out jumped and ends up with one hand in the air, they go with that stupid rule. And I haven't seen that stupid rule rear its head in a few weeks. But
Well, then, but what's crazy is you guys scored a try off Nwangini Tuwase going up with one hand.
Yeah,
and if he did touch it, it would have been a knock on. But he didn't touch it. I thought the rule was if you don't touch it, it's a fucking penalty.
What a dumb rule, though. Like, seriously.
Oh, bro. Seriously. But they use it when they want to, though.
No, yeah. Well, I hadn't seen it for a few weeks. I thought, okay, that was one of those things they carried on for a month. It was optics, and now we forget about it. But nah, like, he just got completely out jumped by Mark because Mark's a freak. Like, what do you want him to do?
Like, is the... Look, that one I can just look past or whatever, for sure. Because I can go, okay, he took him out for a fair opportunity to catch the ball. But at the same time, do you really reckon Mulatalo's sitting there going, all right, the plan is to fucking jump underneath him and cut him? Like, I don't... Anyway.
Yeah.
With that aside, the 8-point try for me drove me insane. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe, and people would defend it going, he didn't intentionally do it. But he still he threw his body in a reckless way.
Yeah, and if they got an 8-point try, if they convert both those goals there, all of a sudden it's 14-8.
It's a
when
different...
they've had no ball.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I say all that to say I actually really liked this Roosters performance. I thought they were clinical, hyper physical. I thought they showed that when their two front rowers are on, they are very hard to handle. Collins was outstanding. White was outstanding. Hopefully Tedesco's beak is okay because holy moly, absolute smash within this inch of its life.
Yeah.
I really liked this performance from the Roosters. I really do. I'll go to you first, mate.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kemby. Like, it was an important one for us. Like, we dominated field position earlier. I remember saying after about 31 minutes, Sharks had 0 tackles with the ball in our 20. So I think the Roosters did well to stay patient there. One thing I've been pretty critical of with them this year is last tackle options not being the best, especially in good ball. Where we kick the ball away too early or, give it away cheap. But I thought we did a really good job. It seemed this whole game, every kick that we had that was either midfield or in good ball was a contest, mainly for Mark, obviously to get up. But it just seemed like we did such a good job of putting Mulatalo under pressure in particular. They were patient. They didn't get frustrated. And in the end, obviously it was a bit of the Mark show, but we scored a lot of good tries. Forwards laid the platform. Robson and Teddy linked up a bit. I think that's definitely the blueprint for if we are going to compete with these top sides at the back end, that's how we should play, So
Well, I just think Marky Mark's when he's on, he's a cheat code. What do you do?
Yeah,
You can't knock
he's
more.
almost undefendable.
Yeah, what is Mulatalo supposed to do there? He just jumps higher and he's bigger. He weighs more. There's nothing you do about that. Whereas there's a lot of parts of rugby league systems can create it, but they're so strict on the escort rule these days that it's a one-on-one catch. What do you do?
Well, yeah, and when they're at full strength for other reasons, Tupu's the same.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's what's. If I'm the Roosters, it's all just about field position and completion because it's okay, yes, we might not skin them every time, but worst case scenario, we just cross-field kick to Tupou or Nwangani Tuase. We're going to score 50% of the tries if we need to.
Or Fluff, who might be the tallest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
and played AFL for the Swans Academy. Walked away from it to an NRL player. It's important.
Shout out to Lindsay Collins. He scored a try in Origin 2. He came off the field 2 minutes later. He scored in the 14th minute here. So in his last 17 minutes of rugby league, he scored 2 tries. One of them being in Origin, the other one being the first try for the Roosters.
And just all effort. Just all
From
ticker.
40 out too, essentially.
Yeah.
Just all ticker.
Freak.
I love it. I absolutely love it. 85% completion rate or 84, which I love to see with the Roosters. Funnily enough, when you actually look at the stats, I actually thought they'd be far more in the Roosters' favour. I think it's probably if you looked at the first half stats, that's where you would see the. Ironically, I know it's a 27-8 domination. Yes, I'm disappointed with the Sharks, but I'm not. I actually thought they were pretty tough for long periods. I actually thought they did relatively well to even be in the contest until the last. It was pretty much the last 15 where was it? Yeah, so 63 minute. It was 3 tries to 2 until the 63rd minute. And then those last 2 tries happened. Yes, still disappointing, but I actually thought the Sharks were pretty brave, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought they got the rough end of the stick in the first half on a lot of occasions there, which made life difficult.
For example, the Mulatalo rough up one.
Yeah.
Fucking, what the fuck? What?
There was a few in this game that I think went in the favour of the Roosters, but the Roosters played good footy.
Yeah.
They were the better team, don't get me wrong, but I just think life was made a little bit difficult for Cronulla. So, yeah, I don't walk away. There's been other losses this season from Cronulla that I've been much more disappointed with.
Yeah, I'm with you. How brave is Brayley? He broke his fucking arm, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, and they made a real point when they announced it of being it's a really bad one. He'll be out for a while. It's been 20 minutes.
And he didn't come back and play on the wing.
No,
Came back and played.
that would have been weird.
He played 80 minutes in the middle and 48 tackles.
It was 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks and 2 days.
Maybe they should try him on the wing to get a win. But that's crazy, bro. Yeah. What are we talking about here? That's Wolverine level fucking recovery.
I probably expected a little bit more out of AFB in this one. Came back from Origin, playing limited minutes, obviously going up against Lindsay Collins, a good forward pack there in the Roosters. Maybe he was just defended well in this game, but if AFB to go 80 run meters, I expected a lot more out of it.
Been a weird year for AFB,
Been a
hasn't it?
strange year.
Like, if you speak to me like 12, 16 months ago, I would say, mate, he is out and out in the top tier of forwards. And also he offers like late footwork that is very rare for a front rower. This year, if his name wasn't AFB, I would, he's a good solid first grader. Like, a bit more than that, sorry, a bit more than that. But not AFB levels. Been a bit of a quiet year.
Yeah, for sure. And like, we even had this conversation a few weeks ago. We were like, oh, maybe they need to sign an extra front row forward. It's like, we were saying that before he got there. Like, he was meant to be that missing jigsaw piece. He hasn't. There's been moments, to be fair. Like, there was moments throughout last year. I thought the final series last year it was good. I remember watching him in Vegas. His first game for Cronulla, he was unreal. But this year, it has been very hit and miss. I thought Teague Wilton was unreal in this game. Good
He
player,
flies
Teague.
under the radar, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's even though I thought Britton Nikota was great for Queensland in game 2, I think form-wise, Teague Wilton's probably the number one edge back row at the club at the moment, form-wise at
I
club.
think so, yeah.
And he doesn't really get the raps he deserves. So
Was the only one that's guaranteed at 80 minutes on an edge every week.
123 metres, 3 tackle breaks, a line break, 2 offloads, 42 tackles, no errors. Against a big forward pack too. Like, it's not an easy forward pack to get metres on, as we saw with AFB.
Yeah.
Still only 26, T. Wilton.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah. So love that. In regards to some other, look, it's a bit of a weird one because like the score would suggest you could sit there and you could tear apart how bad the Sharkies were, but if you actually watched the game, they just barely had the ball for the first 40 or whatever. And yeah, okay, in the second half they probably may have made some silly errors here or there, but I didn't look at them and say, geez, that's some bad footy they're playing at the moment. Like, I wasn't sitting there going, fuck me. Like, I just think the Roosters got the bounce of the ball and played good footy.
Yeah.
And it was just
Great.
hard to go with. So, yeah, look, I guess if you wanted to be hypercritical, like, Trindle didn't have as good a game as he usually does, and Nico's back. So, like, there's going to be that conversation about bringing the best out of both players when they're both on the field.
I mean, they did convert essentially back-to-back opportunities, the first 2 they got. Like, there was also, I said to you guys earlier today, but when Billy Burns at one point looked like he was going to take an intercept against a runner play and he dropped it, there was a chance there. Like, if he catches that, he scores.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like,
It's a different game.
yeah, they've scored without any football. And it's game on.
I mean, you could look for, like, okay, 8-point try, that moment. You know what I mean? Like, there were moments for them to kind of get back into it.
Roosters were great, and like, to be honest, probably a similar vibe to the Cows Wars game in terms of the score. Probably, like, if I say that flatters the Roosters, it probably sounds like I'm trying to take credit away from the Roosters. I'm not. Like, they definitely earned the right to sort of suffocate him out of the game, but it felt closer than 27-8.
like 20-12 or something. Like, that's probably
That's
where,
what it felt like.
what felt kind of like that. Just quickly, Britton Nikota coming back on an edge and making 43 tackles, 0 misses. Outstanding. Yeah, so it's hard to be too critical. Just quickly before we end it, boys, anything else on the Roosters? We didn't spend as long on them.
Probably one that I didn't expect to see, but Victor Radley played the full 80.
Yeah. I was a bit surprised at that, to be honest. Like, especially with how stacked the forward pack is.
Especially like Egan Butcher. He started the game, didn't he, Butcher?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing I found interesting, and I feel like this is the first time I've properly noticed it, Toya and Mark would switch sometimes in attack just to get Mark closer to the ball. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Getting him more ball back towards the middle.
Just Toya did a good job on Hero as well.
That was
As
a good
per
battle.
usual, but that was the battle, yeah.
Yeah, he's so fucking good, Toya. Okay. Bit shorter there, guys. Apologies, but we have to wrap the show up because we've got to get it out. Okay, it's time to face a bit of music brought to you by our friends over at Sportsbet. Go to my feed. Give me a follow, guys. It's time to get our tips in. Okay. Eels versus the Rabbitohs, and the line is 6.5.
Eels line for me.
I'll go Rabbitohs 1-12.
Yeah, I'm going Bunnies 1-12.
Yep, South 1-12, and Hammy is South minus line.
Okay. On to the next game. Titans v the Dogs. It's paying $1.90 Dogs. Titans $1.94. Wow. And the line is 0.5 point. I'm going to go Dogs 1-12.
So am I. Dogs 1-12.
Titans 13+.
That's the same as me and Hammy. Titans 13 plus.
Wow. Okay. It is the Brizzy Broncos versus the Roosters. Broncos 220 head-to-head, 222. Roosters 167. I'm going to go Broncos 1-12.
Give me Roosters minus 3.5.
Me too.
I assume we're not doing super margins, so I'll just go Roosters 13 plus.
Yeah, and Hammy's Roosters 13 plus as well.
Beautiful.
Okay, on to Dolphins versus New Zealand Warriors, a match of the round. The line is minus 3.5. Head to head is $2.35 the Warriors and $1.60 for the Dolphins. I might just go. I'll go Dolphins minus 3.5.
Give me Finns 13 plus.
Yeah, I'm going Finns 13 plus.
Yeah,
I think it'll be
so am
close
I.
and they'll kick away late.
Finn 13 plus, and Hammy's going Dolphins head to head.
Okay, Penrith Panthers versus the Cowboys. Cowboys 370, Panthers $1.28. I'm just going Panthers head to head.
Give me Panthers 13 plus.
Give me Cowboys line.
Panthers line, same as Hammy.
Okay. Manly versus the Storm. The line is 4.5. I'm actually going to go Storm 13 plus here. I reckon they're getting toey. Saw a few erections out there while they were playing last week, so
Give me Manly head to head.
it's kind of a bit crazy. That's all.
Storm 13 plus for me as well.
Manly 1-12.
Hammy is Manly head to head.
Okay. Raiders v the Dragons. Raiders $1.29, Dragons $3.66. I'm gonna go Raiders. Dragons 1-12. I like that. It's juicy.
Yeah, I'm the same. Dragons 112.
Yeah, I'm going to back my brothers in, and I'm going to go Dragons 13 plus.
Me and Hammy are both going Dragons with the line.
Okay. Knights versus Tigers. Knights $1.42. Tigers $2.88. The line is 7.5. I'm going for a big one here. Just Tigers 13 plus.
Knights 13 plus.
Nice to cover the line.
Knights to cover the line, and Hammy is Tigers head to head.
Okay, that's us done and deuced. Give Tommy Bomb a follow. Give Rue a follow. We will go and fuck ourselves.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.